Wang Han, a food delivery guy, speeds through the city on his red motorcycle. His phone buzzes and he answers the call. An unknown woman's voice says she's pregnant with his child and they need to talk. Busy with deliveries, Wang Han dismisses it as a scam, tells her he has no time, and hangs up annoyed. He then speeds off again, weaving through traffic. Wang Han arrives at the XX food delivery center, where his co-workers are gossiping outside. With a cigarette in his mouth, he asks a heavier-set co-worker what he's mumbling about. The co-worker explains that the prestigious Su family's daughter is marrying the city's richest man's son, a topic irrelevant to Wang Han. The co-worker then shows a phone picture of the beautiful Su family daughter, complaining it's a waste for a perfect girl to marry the rich man's son, whom he calls an ugly, useless sleazebag. As Wang Han glances at the photo, he is shocked to realize the woman looks familiar. His co-worker snatches the phone back, and Wang Han's memory clears. His co-worker asks if he also thinks it's a shame for a good girl to be wasted on someone so awful, but Wang Han recognizes her as a drunk girl who once tried to seduce him. A sudden realization hits him. She's the one who called him moments ago. He wonders if the call wasn't a scam after all. The scene flashes back to 1 month ago. The Su family's daughter is stumbling down a hotel hallway, dizzy. She suspects a man named Chin Hao put something in her drink. She heads to what she thinks is her room, 809, but in her disoriented state, she mistakes the number. She finds a door slightly ajar and wonders if she forgot to close it before entering. Inside that room, Wang Han is sitting on his bed, dejected and drinking heavily. He thinks about being told his aura was too intense for an opportunity and resigns himself to his delivery job. As he sits on his bed, drunk and dejected, the young woman, Su Qi, stumbles into his room and collapses onto his bed. Dazed and feverish, she looks up at him and asks who he is and if he can help her, complaining that her head is spinning and she feels incredibly hot. Drunk himself, Wang Han is captivated by her, thinking how stunning she is. As she gets closer and pleads for his help, he is flustered, wondering if he's dreaming. He clenches his fists, a spilled liquor bottle beside him, overwhelmed by the intense situation. Snapping back to the present, Wang Han is lost in this memory, staring at Su Qi's photo on his co-worker's phone. His co-worker, Fatty, notices him spacing out and calls his name. Fatty starts mocking him, reminding everyone how Han always makes up stories, like sleeping with an international movie star. He sarcastically asks if Han will now claim he hooked up with the Su family heiress. The other co-workers join in, laughing and recalling his other tall tales, like being an international arms dealer or the top dog of an elite Beijing family. Wang Han remains calm. He lights a cigarette and tells them they don't get it, cryptically stating that what he does is hiding in plain sight. Just as one of the guys dismisses his claims, their banter is interrupted. A sleek red luxury sports car pulls up in front of the delivery center, shocking all the drivers. The driver's side door opens, and a slender leg in a high heel steps out. The woman who emerges is Su Qi, looking poised and elegant. Wang Han's co-workers are mesmerized, their eyes turning to hearts as they gawk at her beauty, calling her a total knockout. As she walks towards them, one guy recognizes her from the photo. They realize with shock that the Su family heiress is standing before them and can't fathom why she would be at their humble delivery center. Su Qi approaches Wang Han, who is casually stretching, and asks why he hasn't been answering her calls. His co-workers, who were just mocking him, are completely stunned. They can't believe that Wang Han actually knows the famous Su family heiress. Wang Han plays it cool, pretending he didn't see any missed calls and calmly asks her what is going on. Cutting straight to the point, Su Qi looks him in the eye and states that she is pregnant and the baby is his. This revelation sends his co-workers into shock. They yell in disbelief, unable to process that this wealthy and beautiful woman is carrying their friend's child. One swears he will never again say Han is full of it. Wang Han himself is taken aback, rubbing his eyes as if in a daze, and asks if she is sure. Su Qi, her expression firm, tells him to come with her to the hospital to prove it. As she waits by her car, his co-workers frantically urge him to go with her. A stressed Wang Han decides to go and asks a buddy to cover for him. The two then speed off in her red car, leaving the astonished crew behind. Inside the car, the tension is thick. Wang Han asks if the baby is really his. Su Qi replies curtly, questioning why she would lie about something so serious. Looking resolute, Wang Han tells her that if the baby is his, he will take full responsibility for both of them. Su Qi gives him a skeptical look and scoffs at his promise, questioning how he'll take responsibility with his delivery job earnings. Unbothered, Wang Han leans back and confidently states there is nothing wrong with an honest living, and that supporting them won't be an issue. Su Qi reminds him of her status as part of the powerful Su family in Jiangning. Wang Han simply dismisses this, saying that status crap is the dumbest thing. Annoyed by his nonchalant attitude, Su Qi slams her foot on the accelerator, causing the car to jolt violently and throwing Wang Han forward. He yells at her, accusing her of doing it on purpose and asking what's so special about the Su family. The tense journey ends as they pull up in front of a large hospital. Su Qi parks and calmly tells him they've arrived. As they get out of the car, Su Qi warns Wang Han not to use the word responsibility so lightly. She reminds him of the serious consequences he would face if her family discovered a food delivery guy got her pregnant. This angers Wang Han, who passionately declares that it's not a joke to him. If the baby is his, he will absolutely take responsibility. Ignoring his outburst, Su Qi tells him to come inside. They walk down a hospital hallway. Su Qi leads him towards a door labeled operating room, and Wang Han stops, shocked, asking why they are going there. Su Qi looks back at him with a determined expression and states that she is going in, leaving him to realize her true intention, to terminate the pregnancy. In a panic, he grabs her arm to stop her. He pleads with her, acknowledging she probably thinks he couldn't support her and a child, but insists that money is not a problem, and he will find a way. Just then, a nurse approaches, informing Su Qi it is time for her procedure. Su Qi looks at Wang Han with a faint, unreadable smile, agrees with the nurse, and pulls her arm away. She walks into the operating room, leaving Wang Han calling after her in desperation. He stands outside the closed door, feeling powerless and frustrated, thinking he can't do anything to stop this determined woman. Inside the operating room, Su Qi is lying on the table in a patient gown. A surgeon asks if she is ready. As another surgeon prepares a syringe, telling her to relax, she closes her eyes. But at the last second, just before the procedure begins, she puts up her hand and tells them to wait. Meanwhile, Wang Han sits slumped in the waiting area. He has resigned himself to the situation, thinking if she is determined not to have the baby, he can't stop her. Suddenly, the operating room door swings open, and Su Qi walks out, unchanged. Wang Han is stunned. He jumps to his feet, bewildered, and asks how she can be out already, questioning if surgeries are that fast these days. Su Qi, seemingly unfazed, tells a baffled Wang Han she is tired and asks him to drive her home. Wang Han confidently agrees, putting an arm around her and bragging that he could even fly a fighter jet. He gets behind the wheel of her red sports car and drives away from the hospital towards an affluent neighborhood called Longwan. During the drive, while Su Qi rests, Wang Han receives a call. The person on the other end informs him of a bidding event that night at Jianye Tower, which the old man wants him to attend. The caller also mentions that Lin Qingyun, a chamber president, is on their side. Wang Han calmly acknowledges these instructions, hinting at a powerful, mysterious side to his life, unknown to Su Qi. They soon arrive at a large house in the Su family's estate. Wang Han announces their arrival, waking Su Qi. She gets out of the car and tells him to leave before her family sees him. Noticing she looks pale, Wang Han offers to walk her to the door, but she coldly rejects his concern, telling him to stay out of her business. However, as she turns away, her heel gets caught in a crack, causing her to lose her balance and cry out as she falls. With stunning speed, Wang Han lunges forward and catches her just before she hits the ground. As he helps her up, he chides her for being a klutz. Annoyed, Su Qi asks him to repeat himself, and he doubles down, calling her unbelievably clumsy. In a flash of anger, she pinches his side with all her might, causing him to shout in pain. The sudden exertion takes a toll on her, and she winces. Seeing her discomfort, Wang Han surprises her by sweeping her up into his arms. He carries her inside the lavish house and gently places her on a sofa. Opening a first aid kit, he begins to tend to her bare foot, which she twisted in the fall. She protests, telling him to go, but he firmly tells her to stop moving. Just as he is wrapping her ankle, they are interrupted by two women who have entered the room. The newcomers are Yang Huimin, Su Qi's mother, and Lin Shuifu, her best friend. Su Qi's mother looks at the scene in shock and demands to know what her daughter is doing. Wang Han and Su Qi simultaneously explain that she twisted her ankle. Then, looking at her stunned mother, Su Qi calmly announces that her boyfriend was just helping her apply some medicine. Wang Han is completely blindsided. Her mother, Yang Huimin, is even more shocked, pointing a trembling finger at the uniform-clad Wang Han and yelling in disbelief, asking if this man is really her boyfriend. Reeling from her daughter's announcement, Yang Huimin furiously demands to know what is going on and who this delivery guy is. After a moment of silence, Su-Qi backtracks, telling her mother with a forced smile that she was just joking. She explains that she twisted her ankle and the man simply helped her inside. Her flustered but relieved mother tells Su-Qi she scared her, reminding her that she is about to marry into the prestigious Qin family and cannot afford any mistakes. Wang Han, who has been silent, is offended by the mother's clear disdain and asks what's wrong with being a delivery guy. Yang Huimin scoffs, yelling that he is a low-class nobody trying to date out of his league and that he should keep dreaming. Her insult strikes a nerve and a furious expression crosses Wang Han's face. Before the situation can escalate, Su-Qi intervenes. She calmly tells Wang Han he can go now and thanks him for his help. He gives a short humph and turns to leave. As he walks away, Su-Qi's best friend, Lin Shuifu, watches him with a thoughtful expression. After he is gone, Yang Huimin tells Lin Shuifu to help Su-Qi to her room. With disgust, she orders someone to wipe the floor where the filthy delivery guy stood. Later, in her bedroom, Lin Shuifu helps Su-Qi sit on her bed and immediately asks about her real relationship with that man. Su-Qi initially claims there is nothing between them, but Lin Shuifu isn't buying it, insisting she can't be fooled because the way Su-Qi looked at him was clearly not nothing. Cornered by her friend's intuition, Su-Qi confesses the truth. She is pregnant with his child. Lin Shuifu is utterly flabbergasted, shouting in disbelief that she is pregnant. She questions Su-Qi's judgment, asking why, of all people, it had to be a delivery guy. Su-Qi explains that she drank too much that day and dismisses it as a fluke. Lin Shuifu presses on, asking what Su-Qi plans to do, reminding her that she can't hide the pregnancy forever from the powerful Qin family. To her friend's shock, Su-Qi firmly states that she has decided to keep the baby. Lin Shuifu thinks her friend has lost her mind. Su-Qi tries to reassure her, explaining that she spoke with the man, Wang Han, and he promised to take full responsibility. But Lin Shuifu is not convinced. She yells at Su-Qi to wake up, reminding her that she is the daughter of the Su family. She dismisses Wang Han as a delivery guy unworthy of her and warns of dire consequences if the Qin family finds out. Tired of the lecture, Su-Qi holds up a hand to stop her, saying she will figure it out. She changes the subject, asking why Lin Shuifu is back in town. Lin Shuifu explains her grandfather came to Jiangning to meet an important big shot and check out a bidding event that night, so she came along. Su-Qi's uninterested "oh" annoys her friend. Suddenly, Lin Shuifu's expression changes, and she announces she has a brilliant idea. Leaning in, she whispers a sinister plan to Su-Qi. If her secret gets out, she should just claim the delivery guy raped her. Su-Qi responds with disgust, remarking what an awful idea that is. Meanwhile, Wang Han has left the Su estate and is walking through the exclusive villa district. He pulls out his phone, muttering that there are no taxis in this area. Just then, a sleek black car pulls up beside him. Wang Han watches as a man in a sharp suit steps out. The older, silver-haired man approaches Wang Han and respectfully greets him as young master. He introduces himself as Lin Qingyun, president of the Julong Chamber of Commerce, and explains he is there to escort him to the bidding event. Wang Han, putting the pieces together, recalls the conversation and confirms his grandfather had told him about the arrangement, revealing a hidden connection to immense power that contrasts with his life as a delivery driver. Accepting the offer, Wang Han tells Lin Qingyun that before the bidding, he needs a shower and a change of clothes. Lin Qingyun respectfully agrees, promising to arrange everything as he opens the car door for his young master. They depart in a luxurious black limousine. The scene shifts to the bustling bidding event in a grand ballroom filled with wealthy guests. Wang Han arrives, now transformed. He has shed his delivery jacket for a sharp, tailored suit, looking powerful and confident as he surveys the crowd. As he stands near a window, his attention is caught by a familiar face. It is Lin Shuifu, Su-Qi's best friend, in a stunning white evening gown. She approaches him with disdain and asks what the delivery guy is doing at such an exclusive event. Before he can answer, she jumps to a conclusion, accusingly asking if he is working a part-time job. Before Wang Han can correct her, she grabs his arm and forcefully pulls him away, saying she needs to talk. In a more secluded spot, she confronts him, declaring that Su-Qi is her best friend and is pregnant because of him. She fiercely warns him that if he doesn't take full responsibility when the baby is born, she will make him regret it. Wang Han is completely shocked by this. He tells her he thought Su-Qi had gotten rid of the baby at the hospital. Lin Shuifu furiously informs him he is wrong, and Su-Qi decided to keep it. This new information stuns Wang Han, who exclaims her name in disbelief. He realizes she must not have gone through with the surgery. Lin Huifu, seeing his hesitation as a sign he might shirk his duty, repeats her threat, warning that if he tries to walk away, he will regret it. To emphasize her point, she forcefully grinds her stiletto heel onto his shoe, causing him to cry out in pain as she turns away with grim satisfaction. Just as Lin Huifu leaves, an announcer's voice cuts through the ballroom, informing guests the bidding is about to begin. Still processing that Su Qi kept the baby, Wang Han is filled with a new urgency. He can't believe it and resolves to finish his business quickly so he can go find her. At that moment, a woman in a business suit approaches and respectfully greets him as young master. She introduces herself as Liu Yue, his new assistant, assigned by Chairman Lin Qingyun. Acknowledging her, Wang Han states that it's time to go. The two walk towards the main event area with a powerful presence. As they find their place, a stout, flamboyantly dressed man makes his way to the front. He smugly announces to the attendees that the day's main bid, the new district project, is being claimed by the Qin family. Twirling his mustache, he warns everyone to show them respect or face the consequences. This arrogant man is Qin Lei, the eldest young master of the Qin family. Wang Han asks his assistant who the man is. Liu Yue explains he is from the Qin family, one of the richest families in Jiangning and their biggest rival for the project. With a dismissive air, Wang Han questions if a guy like that could compete with him. Liu Yue elaborates that the Qins plan to win the project and then leverage their marriage alliance with the Su family to help them out of some trouble. The mention of the Su family makes it all click for Wang Han. He remembers his co-worker's rant about Miss Su being married off to a trashy rich guy. He realizes this arrogant man, Qin Lei, is the fiancé Su Qi is supposed to marry. With a grim look, he now sees the full picture connecting Su Qi's engagement, her family's troubles, and this bidding war. The auctioneer presents the main item, Lot 053 in the new district. Without hesitation, Qin Lei raises his paddle and opens with a bid of 5 billion. The crowd erupts in shocked whispers, realizing the Qin family is dead set on winning. They murmur that with the upcoming Qin-Su marriage, no one would dare challenge them. Just as the auction seems decided, Wang Han calmly raises his bidding paddle and counters with 6 billion. The room is stunned into silence, then breaks out into frantic chatter. Guests wonder who this audacious man is, assuming he must not be a local to dare go against the Qin family. They believe the project was a sure thing for the Qins, and they won't let this slide. Across the room, Qin Lei's smug expression vanishes, replaced by pure rage. He clenches his fists so tightly his knuckles turn white. He glares furiously at Wang Han and yells across the room, demanding to know who the hell he is and accusing him of looking for trouble. The confrontation has begun. Facing Qin Lei's outburst, Wang Han remains composed. He calmly points out that they are at an auction where the highest bidder wins and asks if there is a problem. Qin Lei, his face contorted with rage, retorts, asking if Wang Han didn't hear him say that the Qin family wanted this project. With supreme confidence, Wang Han replies that he heard perfectly fine, but questions what that has to do with him. The surrounding guests are shocked, murmuring about who this mysterious man is, that he would dare to challenge the mighty Qin family. Not to be outdone, an enraged Qin Lei raises his paddle and shouts a bid of 700 million. Without missing a beat, Wang Han counters with 800 million. The bidding war continues and the tension thickens. Qin Lei storms over to Wang Han with his entourage, getting in his face and screaming that in Jiangning City, the Qin family is the law. He makes a final desperate bid of 900 million, daring Wang Han to keep bidding if he has a death wish. Wang Han simply laughs, a picture of calm amusement, and casually announces a bid of 1 billion. Having been utterly and publicly humiliated, Qin Lei finally snaps. He screams that Wang Han is asking for it and threatens to chop him up as he throws a wild punch at Wang Han's face. But Wang Han is impossibly fast. He easily dodges the clumsy attack and, with a single motion, delivers a powerful punch to Qin Lei's face. As Qin Lei is sent flying, crying out in pain, Wang Han contemptuously asks if he thought he could take him on alone. As Qin Lei lies dazed, his two bodyguards leap to their feet and charge at Wang Han. The ensuing fight is brutally efficient. Wang Han moves with incredible speed, effortlessly dispatching them with powerful kicks and strikes, leaving them defeated on the ballroom floor. Qin Lei struggles to his feet, holding his bruised face in disbelief. He screams at Wang Han, accusing him of having a death wish for daring to lay a hand on him. Wang Han, with a cold smirk, retorts that he is the one doing the hitting now. He launches another attack, sending one of Qinlei's men flying through the air with a powerful kick. The bodyguard crashes down with a loud thud directly on top of his boss, knocking them both out in an undignified heap. With the fight over in seconds, Wang Han stands calmly amidst the chaos. He turns to the stunned room and casually asks the terrified auctioneer if anyone else is going to bid. The auctioneer, stammering, quickly replies that there are no other bidders. Having won the auction, Wang Han's business is concluded. He turns to his assistant, Liu Yue, and instructs her to sign the documents and transfer the funds. Explaining that he has urgent business, he gives a final wave and confidently walks out of the ballroom, leaving everyone to process the shocking display of power they just witnessed. The story shifts to an opulent room where Lin Shuifu stands before her grandfather, who is the same Lin Qingyun who serves Wang Han. She asks why he called her there in a hurry, causing her to miss the auction. Her grandfather cautions her to be careful once their guest arrives, admitting he still hasn't figured out this person's temperament. Lin Shuifu scoffs, wondering what big shot could have her powerful grandfather acting so cautiously. Just then, an aide enters and informs the chairman that the auction has ended. Lin Qingyun asks if the Qin family won, but the aide reports that someone else was the victor. Lin Shuifu is stunned, exclaiming that it's impossible. She can't believe the project slipped through the Qin family's fingers and wonders who could be bold enough to snatch it away. Her grandfather calmly informs her that the person they are waiting for has arrived. Looking at her phone, likely at a news update, Lin Shuifu remarks that this person is way too arrogant. Deciding this news is too important to wait, she tells her grandfather she is stepping out to call her friend Nanan, Suki. As she walks down a hallway, she is absorbed in her thoughts and her phone call. She thinks about how the Qin family's failure jeopardizes their planned cooperation with the Su family. Determined to deliver this news to her best friend, she doesn't pay attention to where she is going. She walks straight into Wang Han, who is heading in the opposite direction. The collision is jarring, and she lets out a small cry as she bumps into his chest. Furious, she looks up and is shocked to see his face. She yells at him, demanding to know why it's him again and berating the stinking food delivery guy for not watching where he's going. However, her urgent call takes precedence. She quickly turns her back on the silent Wang Han and continues walking, speaking into her phone to tell Su Qi her important news. Wang Han simply watches her go with a quiet, unreadable expression. After Lin Shuifu leaves, Wang Han enters to meet with Lin Qingyun. The older man greets him respectfully. Wang Han confirms his business at the auction is done, and then casually asks about the woman he just ran into. Lin Qingyun introduces her as his granddaughter, Lin Shuifu, pointedly mentioning she is unmarried. He praises her, saying she greatly admires Wang Han and has always wanted to meet him. This attempt at matchmaking amuses Wang Han, who dismisses it with a weary, "Give me a break." Changing the subject, Wang Han sits and asks Lin Qingyun if he knows Su Qi. Lin Qingyun explains that she is the young lady of the Su family, the most outstanding talent of her generation, but has been kept out of the spotlight because the family favors sons over daughters. He confirms the Qin family intended a marriage alliance with the Su family after winning the project, but because Wang Han intervened, that plan is now delayed. Curious, Wang Han probes for more personal details, asking about Su Qi's daily life and romantic history. Lin Qingyun informs him that the Su family has a very strict upbringing and Su Qi has a stubborn personality. He states that she doesn't get involved with people easily and, as far as he knows, has never had a boyfriend. This new information brings a sly, knowing smile to Wang Han's face. Just then, his phone rings. The caller ID shows Su Qi's name, and he answers smoothly, telling her he was just thinking of her. On the other end, Su Qi asks if he has time and says she would like to see him. Wang Han immediately agrees and asks for her location. His urgent business now clear, Wang Han stands to leave. He tells Lin Qingyun he is leaving and that he can report back to the old man. As Wang Han walks out, Lin Qingyun makes one last attempt to promote his granddaughter, mentioning she graduated from the Royal Academy in London, just like Wang Han. Uninterested, Wang Han brushes him off, saying they can talk about it next time. The scene shifts to a park overlooking the city, where Su Qi is sitting alone on a bench, looking thoughtful. A moment later, Wang Han arrives on his red motorcycle, now back in his sharp suit. He walks over and takes a seat beside her. Putting an arm around her, he gets straight to the point. He tells her not to worry about the child, and that he will support both of them. He then makes a definitive offer, telling her that if she wants to get married, they can go register anytime she likes, solidifying his promise of responsibility. Despite his confident promise, Su Qi remains skeptical. With a wry smile, she questions his ability to afford such a commitment. Unfazed, Wang Han looks off into the distance and asks what he wouldn't be able to afford. To make her point, Suchi holds up her wrist, showing him her expensive watch and asking if he knows its cost. With surprising expertise, Wang Han correctly identifies the watch as a Pasha de Cartier, a 42mm 18K rose gold model, and correctly states its price of 352,000. Suki is visibly shocked by his detailed knowledge. She presses him, asking how much he makes in a year as a delivery guy and how many years he would have to work just to afford that one item. Wang Han reassures her not to worry about money and encourages her to have the baby. He confidently states he will definitely not let her or the child be short on material things, even boasting that providing for them wouldn't be a problem. Suki, rolling her eyes at his grand statement, dryly asks if it would kill him not to brag. Their conversation is interrupted when Suchi's phone rings. She answers, and her mother's frantic voice is on the other end. Her mother demands she come home quickly, informing her that Chin Hao is at the house waiting to discuss the wedding. Suchi quietly acknowledges the summons. Turning to Wang Han, she asks him to take her home. With a charming smile, he tells her it would be his pleasure. He helps her onto his motorcycle, and they speed off. During the ride, Suchi leans against Wang Han's back, a faint, peaceful smile on her face as she closes her eyes, seemingly content. They soon arrive back at the Su family estate. Wang Han walks her to the front door, and as they enter, Suchi announces to her mother that she is home. Her mother, Yang Huimin, immediately appears, annoyed. She scolds her daughter for being gone so long, telling her that Chin Hao has been waiting. In the background, a stout man in a suit sits on the sofa. Suchi simply states she went for a walk. Her mother then notices Wang Han behind her and disapprovingly asks why she brought someone back, reminding her that her wedding day with Chin Hao is approaching. The man on the couch stands and greets Suchi, confirming he came to discuss wedding matters. He gives a suave smile and introduces himself as Chin Hao, the second young master of the Chin family. Facing her fiancé, Chin Hao, Suchi tries to put their wedding on hold. She tells him that since the Chin family lost the new district project bid, their family's planned cooperation isn't finalized, and therefore their marriage should be delayed as well. Chin Hao, however, dismisses the lost bid as a small matter. With a sinister smirk, he insists they should get married first, and everything else can be negotiated afterward. His thoughts reveal his true intentions. He plans to get her into bed first and then decide later if he will give her family the money they need. Suki's mother, Yang Huimin, desperately tries to salvage the situation. She pleads with her daughter, reminding her that Chin Hao promised 1 billion to help the Su family as soon as they are married. But Suchi cuts her off with a sharp, "Don't say any more." With fierce determination, she declares that she will not marry him. Her refusal leaves both her mother and Chin Hao stunned. Taking a bold step, Suchi walks over to Wang Han, takes his arm, and announces that not only will she not marry Chin Hao, but she is also pregnant with Wang Han's child. Her mother shrieks in horror, grabbing her daughter and demanding if she understands what she is saying, pointing out that Wang Han is just a food delivery guy. Suchi pleads with her mother, insisting she doesn't want to be forced into marrying Chin Hao and promising that with some time, she can help the Su family through their crisis. Enraged by her daughter's shameful behavior, Yang Huimin raises her hand to slap Suchi. But before it connects, Wang Han's arm shoots out and firmly catches her wrist, stopping the blow. He looks at her coldly and asks what is wrong with being a delivery guy. He then turns the accusation of shame back on her, questioning if marrying her own daughter off to a scumbag for profit is considered having any shame. As she struggles in his grip, screaming at the stinking delivery guy to let her go, the situation escalates. Chin Hao, who has been watching the drama, finally explodes. He points an accusing finger at Suchi, his face twisted in rage, and calls her a slutty bitch he never expected to be so indecent. He rants about how she let a delivery guy ride her and then turns his fury on Wang Han, vowing to kill him. Suchi can only stand by, stunned and horrified. Before Chin Hao can act, Wang Han moves with lightning speed. He delivers a powerful slap across Chin Hao's face, sending him stumbling backward and crashing to the floor. Wang Han then pulls a stunned Suchi protectively behind him. He glares at the fallen Chin Hao and declares that she is pregnant with his child, which makes her his woman, and questions who gave him the nerve to try and hit her. Scrambling on the floor, Chin Hao howls in disbelief that Wang Han dared to hit him. His fury boiling over, he grabs a heavy ashtray from a nearby table and charges at the couple, screaming that he is going to kill them. With a calm, reassuring smile, Wang Han tells Suchi to stand behind him, and she nervously agrees. As Qin Hao lunges forward, swinging the ashtray, Wang Han effortlessly dodges the attack. In one motion, he lands a devastating punch to Qin Hao's jaw, sending him flying backward, the ashtray slipping from his grasp. As Qin Hao lies dazed, Wang Han stands over him and declares that he dares to touch his woman. Not finished, Wang Han gets on top of the beaten man, grabs him by the collar, and says that today he is going to teach him a lesson. He rains down a series of brutal punches on Qin Hao's face, ignoring his victim's agonized screams and desperate cries for help. Just as he raises his fist for another blow, Suchi calls out for him to stop. At the same moment, a powerful voice echoes, demanding to know who dares to act so presumptuously. A group of imposing figures has entered, led by an elderly, dignified man with a long white beard and a cane. Suki looks at the man with shock and fear and addresses him as Grandpa. The arrival of the family patriarch freezes everyone. Suki's grandfather, flanked by other family members, surveys the scene. Qin Hao beaten on the floor, Suchi with a strange man, and her mother in shock. The old man's expression is grim as he announces he heard everything. He turns his piercing gaze on his granddaughter and, striking his cane on the floor, demands to know if it is true that she is pregnant with this delivery guy's child. With quiet resignation, Suki confirms that it is. The confession sends the Su family into a panic. They cry out that the situation is outrageous and they cannot afford to offend the powerful Qin family. Her grandfather, his face contorted in fury, roars that the only solution is for the child to be aborted immediately. Qin Hao, however, struggles to his feet and disagrees. He yells that even if she aborts the child, a bitch like her will never set foot in his family's home, leaving the Su family aghast. The weight of the situation becomes too much. They begin to wail that everything is over, blaming each other for spoiling Suchi and lamenting that the Su family is now finished. Suchi stands silently amidst their accusations, her face a mask of sorrow. Finally, she snaps, telling them all to stop arguing. The emotional and physical stress takes its toll, and she cries out in pain, clutching her head as dizziness overcomes her. Before she can fall, Wang Han is there to catch her. He holds her steady and reassures her, telling her not to be afraid and that he will take her away. As he scoops her into his arms, her family, including her parents, rush forward, demanding the stinking delivery guy let her go and threatening to break his legs. Wang Han looks back at them with utter contempt and asks if they even call themselves human. Without another word, he turns and starts to walk out of the house, carrying the now fainting Su Qi. When her parents try to block his path, he effortlessly kicks them aside, sending them sprawling. He pauses at the doorway and turns back to the stunned and terrified family. With cold, unwavering determination, he declares that he is taking Su Qi with him and asks if anyone has a problem with that, leaving them utterly powerless to stop him. With Su Qi unconscious in his arms, Wang Han tells her stunned family that since no one objects, he is leaving. He takes her from the chaotic Su estate to his modern high-rise apartment. Inside, he gently lays the still unconscious Su Qi on his sofa. As he does, a card slips from her purse and falls to the floor. After making sure she is resting, Wang Han spots the card and picks it up. He examines it and is surprised to realize that today is her birthday. He feels a surge of pity for her, thinking that even though she comes from a wealthy family, it seems no one remembered her special day. Looking at her sleeping form, he resolves to show her what he is capable of, reaffirming that she is his woman. About 20 minutes later, Su Qi begins to stir. She slowly sits up, groggy and disoriented, rubbing her eyes and wondering where she is. Just then, Wang Han emerges from another room wearing an apron. He holds out a bowl of food, telling her she must be hungry now that she's awake. Su Qi walks over to the dining table, where Wang Han has laid out an elaborate meal he made especially for her. She is impressed by the delicious aroma from the various dishes, which include steamed delicacies, a fruit and cheese platter, and several drinks. Wang Han boasts that his cooking skills are so good that even a princess from Dubai would beg for a taste. Amused by his arrogance, Su Qi smiles and asks if it would kill him not to brag. As they sit down to eat, Su Qi becomes serious. She tells him that for today, he is forbidden from saying the word die, leaving Wang Han confused. Before he can ask, he reveals his surprise. He brings out a small pink cake with a single lit candle on it. With a confident smile, he presents it to the astonished Su Qi and wishes her a happy birthday. Completely taken by surprise, Suchi covers her mouth in shock and asks how he could have known it was her birthday. Wang Han just smiles smugly, asking if she thinks he's pretty amazing. Overwhelmed with emotion, Suchi is speechless as a tear forms in her eye. Noticing this, Wang Han playfully teases her, asking if she is moved to tears and telling her it's okay to cry. He then boasts that he can lend her his shoulder, something even international supermodels can't get. His absurd arrogance breaks the tension, and Suki lets out a genuine laugh. He then encourages her to try the food. She takes a bite and admits it tastes good, to which he confidently replies that of course it does. After they eat for a while, Wang Han tells her to make a wish on her cake. Suchi closes her eyes, puts her hands together, and quietly agrees. Once the moment passes, Wang Han gets serious and asks her what her plans are. Suchi looks at him earnestly and reminds him of his promise to support them, asking if he's going back on his word. Wang Han assures her he is not, but poses a challenge. He asks if she really dares to marry a delivery guy like him. Fired up, Suchi stands and declares she dares, adding that if he fails to support them, she will simply remarry. Hearing this, Wang Han decides and tells her they will register their marriage the very next day. With fierce determination, she agrees, stating that she is not afraid. Satisfied, Wang Han leans back with a smile and says that it's settled. Their plans are interrupted when Wang Han's phone buzzes. He tells Suchi he has to take the call, and she nods. He steps out onto the balcony to answer. The person on the other end, whom he calls Xiaohua, frantically warns him he is in danger. Xiaohua, who calls Wang Han boss, says an assassin named Hydra is coming to Jiangning City to kill him. Wang Han remains calm and asks if the source is reliable and if they can confirm Hydra's location. Xiaohua reports Hydra was last seen near the Lin family's villa. Lighting a cigarette, Wang Han coolly tells his subordinate he understands and will make time to take care of the assassin tomorrow. While Wang Han is on the balcony, Suchi sits on the sofa, talking on her phone and eating her cake. She is on a call with her best friend, Lin Shuifu, who wished her a happy birthday and asked if she was the first one. With an amused smile, Suchi tells her friend she was second. Lin Shuifu is shocked, immediately asking who was first and hoping it wasn't Qin Hao. Suchi, glancing towards the balcony, reveals that it was him. Her friend is furious, demanding to know how she got mixed up with that delivery guy again. As she takes another bite of cake, Suchi sighs and tells an astonished Lin Shuifu that it's a long story, but they have decided to register their marriage tomorrow. This news sends her friend into a panic, who asks if she has gone crazy for marrying a delivery guy and demands her location. Suki calmly replies that she is at his place. A worried Lin Shuifu tries to calm her down, promising to figure something out. She declares she will go and beg the mysterious big shot who won the auction, the one her grandfather knows, to help Suchi no matter what. However, the call suddenly cuts off, and Suchi is left wondering what happened. Meanwhile, on the balcony, Wang Han's tense conversation continues. His subordinate adds more worrying news, informing him that the eldest princess had asked about his whereabouts 2 days ago. Wang Han grows more serious, demanding to know if Xiaohua told her he was in Jiangning. His subordinate nervously explains he had no choice, as he knows the princess's temper and feared she would have castrated him if he hadn't complied. The news is so shocking that Wang Han is speechless and drops his lighter. He yells into the phone, furious that his trusted subordinate sold him out. Xiaohua tries to defuse the situation, suggesting the princess's family background makes her a great match for his boss, and he should just give in. Wang Han angrily cuts him off, demanding to know when she is arriving. Seeing his boss's fury, Xiaohua makes an excuse about a bad signal and abruptly hangs up, leaving Wang Han fuming. He is left alone on the balcony, crouching in frustration, thinking this is a very bad situation. Just then, his phone buzzes with a notification. Annoyed, he wonders who is bothering him now. He looks at his screen and sees a text from an unknown number. The sender introduces herself as Lin Shuifu, Lin Qingyun's granddaughter. In the message, she proposes a business partnership, suggesting that since he is new to the city, cooperating with the Su family on the new district project would be mutually beneficial. Desperate to help her friend, she makes a bold offer, promising that if he agrees, she will do anything he asks. Reading her brazen proposal, Wang Han smirks, thinking she certainly has some nerve. Almost immediately, his phone rings. It is Lin Qingyun, who has clearly learned of his granddaughter's text. He apologizes profusely for the trouble she has caused. Wang Han calmly tells him it's fine. Taking charge, Wang Han gives Lin Qingyun 2 clear instructions. First, he needs a sniper rifle and 2 bullets, which he will pick up tomorrow. Second, he orders Lin to give Su-chi full authority over the new district project, forbidding anyone else from the Su family from getting involved. Without hesitation, Lin Qingyun agrees to carry out his young master's commands. Later, while Wang Han is on the balcony, Su-chi is relaxing in his apartment, lying on the bed and reading. Her phone buzzes with a message from her best friend, Lin Shuifu. The text has exciting news. Lin Shuifu contacted the mysterious big shot who won the new district project. She tells Su-chi he has agreed to cooperate with the Su family, and more importantly, insisted that Su-chi be in charge. They are to meet the next day to discuss details. Overjoyed, Su-chi happily replies, confirming she will see her tomorrow. Just then, Wang Han walks back in and notices her happy expression, asking what has her in a good mood. Still seeing him as just a delivery guy, she dismisses it as a project matter he wouldn't understand. She then seems surprised he found her reading, and he teases that he didn't expect her to have a habit of reading books. He leans close, their faces inches apart, and whispers that there's a lot she doesn't expect about him. Flustered by his proximity, Su-chi blushes and stammers, asking what he is doing and reminding him that agreeing to marry him doesn't mean. But instead of making a move, Wang Han gently takes a pillow from the bed. He tells her that if she's tired, she should rest, and that he will sleep on the sofa. As he leaves, he nonchalantly adds that reading in bed isn't good for pregnant women, leaving a blushing and speechless Su-chi behind. Lying back, she's embarrassed, thinking she really thought he was going to do something. The next day dawns bright. On the apartment balcony, Wang Han is in the middle of a grueling workout, performing one-handed handstand push-ups. Su-chi, in pajamas, steps out and watches him. Amused, she jokingly asks if he is practicing toad style. He lands smoothly and corrects her, stating it's a technique called the dragon coiling hand, a name she's never heard. He explains it's not a flashy martial art, but a genuine killing technique, demonstrating a few swift movements. Curious, Su-chi asks why a simple delivery guy would need to learn something so dangerous. Wang Han stops and looks at her, sharing wisdom from his father. Use martial arts to stop conflict and protect your family. Su-chi is impressed and agrees his father's words were wise. Changing the subject, Wang Han says he has made breakfast and prepared toiletries for her. Touched, she remarks she never realized a big guy like him could be so thoughtful. With a confident smirk, he replies, there is a lot she hasn't realized about him yet. He then tells her that after they eat, she needs to come with him to her place. She is confused, asking why. He explains they need her household registration book, otherwise they can't register their marriage. He then playfully teases her, asking if she is really sure about marrying a delivery guy like him. Provoked, Su-chi gets angry, thinking he is backing out. She yells that she isn't scared and tells him to hurry up so they can register their marriage immediately. As they walk to his motorcycle, Su-chi brings up a practical matter, asking if they should meet his parents first. Wang Han dismisses it, saying there's no need and they can talk about it after the baby is born. Confused, Su-chi asks why they should wait. With a sly smile, Wang Han explains he is afraid his family won't approve of her. He figures that once the baby is born, his family will be forced to accept the situation. Hearing this, Su-chi, hands on her hips, sarcastically asks if he is implying he is marrying into her family. He playfully looks her over and compliments her looks, figure, and temperament, but then adds that her family background is a bit lacking. Offended, she asks if he thinks he is more than good enough for her. Wang Han laughs it off, telling her not to take it so seriously and to get on the motorcycle. With an annoyed, humph, she gets on behind him. He tells her to hold his waist tight, and they speed off down the road. Unbeknownst to them, they are being watched. From a hidden spot, Qin Hao and a muscular subordinate see them leave. The subordinate remarks with disgust that the bitch spent the night with a delivery guy and asks his young master what to do. His face dark with rage, Qin Hao gives a brutal order. He tells his man to kill the delivery guy and then take the bitch to a hotel for him. The subordinate cracks his knuckles and says he will take his men and follow them immediately. As Wang Han and Su-chi ride through the city, he notices in his rearview mirror that a white van has been tailing them. He realizes they are being followed. Thinking quickly, he leans back and tells Su-chi a change of plans. He says she should go home first to get her things, as he has an errand to run. Unaware of the danger, she agrees. Wang Han then accelerates, weaving through traffic to lose their pursuers. Following his plan, Wang Han drives Su-chi to a safe house. Once she is safely inside, he gets back on his motorcycle and speeds away, drawing his pursuers' attention. The white van immediately gives chase, following him into an affluent neighborhood. Wang Han leads them on a short chase before pulling up to a large modern villa, a deliberately chosen location. He halts his motorcycle and gets off, seemingly waiting. He glances at the villa's second-floor balcony and spots a man with spiky hair hiding there. confirming it's an ambush. The man on the balcony realizes he has been spotted. Undeterred, Wang Han calmly walks towards the villa, thinking that since his enemies are gathered here, it's time to take care of them all at once. He enters the lavish, empty house and walks upstairs. In a room, a sniper rifle case sits open on a table, exactly as he had arranged. He picks up the suppressed rifle, impressed by Lin's efficiency. However, his attention is suddenly caught by something unexpected. He looks up and notices a blue bra lying on the nearby bed, leaving him momentarily confused. Before he can process it, a woman wrapped in a towel walks out of an adjoining room. It is Lin Shuifu, Su Qi's best friend, who lets out a terrified scream upon seeing a strange man in her room holding a high-powered rifle. Recognizing him, Lin Shuifu furiously demands to know what the stinking delivery guy is doing in her home, reminding him he is trespassing in the Lin family's villa. But before their argument escalates, a red laser dot appears on her forehead. Seeing the sniper's laser, Wang Han instantly screams at her to get down. Without a second to spare, a bullet smashes through the window. Wang Han lunges across the room, tackling a terrified Lin Shuifu and knocking her out of the bullet's path just in time. They crash onto the bed and she struggles against him, yelling for the bastard to let her go. He holds her down firmly, his expression serious, and quietly warns her to stop yelling, telling her that if she makes another sound, she will be killed. Getting to his feet, Wang Han grabs the sniper rifle as a stunned Lin Shuifu asks what is happening. He ignores her, moving to the shattered window and taking aim at the villa across from them. He mutters a taunt that Hydra must not have 9 brains and fires a single, precise shot. The bullet flies across the courtyard and finds its mark, hitting the ambusher on the opposite balcony. The sniper is killed instantly, slumping to the ground with a bullet in his head. Wang Han lowers his weapon with a casual salute, remarking with disappointment that Hydra was taken care of so easily. Before he can celebrate, a frantic Lin Huifu grabs him, demanding an explanation for the gun in her house. But at that moment, Wang Han's senses flare as he detects another threat. A second bullet rips through the air, shattering another window from a different angle. Reacting with incredible speed, Wang Han again shouts for her to get down and throws himself on top of her, shielding her with his body. They crash to the floor as the bullet zips past where they had just been standing, impacting the wall behind them. Still on the floor with Lin Shuifu, Wang Han realizes there are more attackers outside. Thinking fast, he grabs a piece of her clothing from the bed and throws it into the air as a decoy. He mentally lists his opponents: the assassin Hydra, the thugs from the van, and this new sniper. He grimly concludes he has several guests to deal with today. The decoy works. As the enemy sniper fires at the movement, Wang Han takes aim with his own rifle, a terrified Lin Shuifu watching from behind him. He returns fire with his second and final bullet. The shot flies across the open space and strikes another sniper hiding in a different location, taking him out. Immediately, heavy suppressing fire erupts from a third location, as another assassin on a nearby rooftop unleashes a volley of shots at their window. Wang Han grabs Lin Shuifu and dives behind a sofa for cover as the wall behind them is peppered with bullets. Pinned down in a compromising position, she screams and calls him a pervert. Once the shooting stops, Wang Han calmly plucks one of the enemy's spent bullet casings from the wall. He examines it closely and recognizes a unique 6-pointed star insignia on the base. He identifies it as a special warhead from a notorious Eastern European assassin organization known as Ares. He turns to a shaken Lin Shuifu and asks when she managed to provoke such dangerous people. She can only stammer that she doesn't know. At that moment, Wang Han looks at his empty rifle and curses himself for being careless. He had only asked for 2 bullets and is now out of ammunition. He kneels, wondering what to do now that he is unarmed and surrounded. Suddenly, a memory strikes Lin Shuifu. She tells Wang Han she might know who is behind the attack. She recalls that a while ago, an Eastern European boss tried to buy research technology from her company, but she had refused his offer. This revelation provides a clear motive for the professional assassins now trying to kill her. As the hail of bullets continues, Wang Han's eyes narrow. He quickly pushes Lin Shuifu's head down, shouting for her to watch out as another bullet zings past them. Pinned down behind the sofa, they sit amidst the debris, waiting for a break in the gunfire. With no ammunition left, Wang Han needs another plan. His eyes fall on the shards of broken glass on the floor. Deciding on a desperate move, he picks up a sharp piece of glass. Seizing a momentary lull in the shooting, he leaps to his feet and, with incredible speed, flings the glass shard like a throwing knife towards the final sniper's position. The makeshift projectile finds its target, and the assassin cries out in pain. With the last sniper taken down, the immediate threat is over. Wang Han stands up and tells Lin Shuifu she can get up now because it is safe. Finally getting to her feet, she looks at him with suspicion and confronts him directly. She states his job as a delivery guy must be a cover and demands to know who he really is. Wang Han coldly dismisses her question, telling her she doesn't need to know his identity. Furious at his secrecy, she threatens to tell Suchi everything, but he quickly holds a finger to his lips to silence her. His expression turns serious as he warns her to be quiet, explaining that he hears a noise outside. A look of terror crosses Lin Zuifu's face as she asks if there are still more enemies. Panicked, she grabs onto him and asks what they are going to do. He calmly tells her not to worry and that he will go take a look. Meanwhile, downstairs, Qin Hao's 3 thugs have entered the villa, armed with large machetes. One of them recognizes Wang Han and wonders what a delivery guy is doing in a place like this. The leader scoffs, assuming that he must be a common thief. Just then, Wang Han appears at the top of the stairs. He looks down at the armed intruders and, with a casual wave, greets them. With a confident smirk, Wang Han calmly asks the 3 armed men if they are looking for him. The muscular leader points his blade at Wang Han, saying they are Brother Hao's men sent by Qin Hao. He accuses Wang Han of sleeping with their boss's woman, Su Qi, while another thug impatiently says to stop talking and just break his legs. Completely unfazed, Wang Han simply asks what they plan to do about it. Enraged by his arrogance, the thugs charge forward, screaming insults. The fight is brutally short. Wang Han moves with incredible speed, intercepting the first attacker with a powerful kick to the face that snaps his head back. In seconds, 2 of the thugs are unconscious, leaving only their stunned leader. The muscular thug stares in disbelief, wondering since when the standards for delivery guys had gotten so high and realizing his opponent is a trained martial artist. Refusing to accept defeat by a mere delivery guy, he lets out a furious yell and charges at Wang Han with his machete. Wang Han effortlessly leaps over the wild swing and, in a single motion, delivers a devastating kick to the man's arm. The blow sends the machete flying and knocks the thug to the ground. With all 3 attackers defeated, Wang Han stands amidst the scattered bodies. Lin Shuifu, who watched the fight from the top of the stairs, finally lets out a terrified scream. The sound alerts the downed leader, who, though beaten, is still conscious. Angered by her screaming, he struggles to his feet and sees an opportunity, lunging towards the defenseless Lin Shuifu. Before she can react, he grabs her and holds his blade to her throat, taking her hostage. He glares at Wang Han, threatening to kill her if he takes another step. A terrified Lin Shuifu warns him that her grandfather will not spare him if he dares to harm her. However, Wang Han remains utterly calm. He looks at the thug and, with a chilling lack of emotion, simply tells him to go ahead and do it. Ignoring the blade at Lin Shuifu's throat, Wang Han walks slowly towards the panicked thug, taunting him and asking why he hasn't acted on his threat. As Wang Han continues his relentless advance, he coldly asks if the man is too scared. The thug, sweating and terrified, screams at him to stop. In a blur of motion, Wang Han closes the distance in an instant. Before the thug can react, Wang Han catches the flat of the sword blade between his thumb and forefinger, stopping the weapon completely. He looks at the thug with contempt and asks if he really thinks he is skilled enough to brandish a sword in front of him. The thug is shocked by Wang Han's impossible strength, realizing with horror that he cannot move the blade at all. Wang Han continues to mock him, asking again why he doesn't just make his move. Then, with a simple flick of his fingers, he shatters the steel blade, sending shards of metal flying as the thug and Lin Shuifu stare in stunned disbelief. Before the thug can recover, Wang Han grabs him by the throat, lifting him off the ground. He asks if a stinking, rotten shrimp like him is even worthy of fighting him. Choking, the thug tries to save himself by gasping that he is a member of the powerful Black Dragon Society. Wang Han is unimpressed, dismissively asking, "So what?" before slamming the man's head into the floor, knocking him unconscious. However, the thug suddenly recovers and tries a new tactic. He scrambles to his feet, pleading with Wang Han not to go down a path of crime. This bizarre appeal has no effect. Wang Han delivers a brutal stomp to the man's face, causing him to scream in agony as blood flies from his mouth. Completely broken, the thug begs for mercy. He pleads for Wang Han to stop, making up a story about having an 80-year-old mother. In a final, desperate bid, he tells Wang Han he has important information to report. Standing over him, Wang Han gives the beaten thug 3 seconds for his last words. The man quickly reveals his crucial information. Brother Hao, Qin Hao, has already gone to find Su Qi, and if Wang Han doesn't hurry, he will be too late. This news shocks Wang Han. Furious that the thug didn't tell him this vital information sooner, he delivers one last vicious kick, knocking him out cold. Just then, they hear a loud knocking at the door. A voice from outside announces they are the police. Realizing he must leave immediately, Wang Han tells Lin Suifu he is going to find Su Qi and is leaving the situation in her hands. He gives her one final instruction, not to tell anyone he was there. As he runs out, she tells him to go, assuring him she knows what to say. A moment later, 2 police officers enter the villa. The lead officer shows Lin Suifu his badge and asks what happened. As 2 police cars pull up outside, she begins to explain that she was showering when 3 men broke in with knives. Following her statement, the police arrest the 3 unconscious thugs. An officer reports to his captain that they found 2 dead bodies, the snipers Wang Han had killed, in the villa across the street, and that they do not look like ordinary people. Shocked, the captain orders his men to take everyone and everything to the station for investigation. Meanwhile, Su Qi is being cornered in a bedroom by a furious Qin Hao. He reveals his sinister intentions, reminding her of the time he drugged her drink and gloating that he is going to force himself on her now. A terrified Su Qi tells him to get out, but he only becomes more enraged. He sneers that he has sent men to kill the delivery guy, and that when they are done, he will force her in front of him. With a final lunge, he vows that he is going to play her to death. Qin Hao is pinning a struggling Su Qi to a bed. She tells him to let go, but he taunts her, saying she can scream all she wants because no one will save her. He adds with a sinister grin that the delivery guy is busy with his own problems, and that today, he is going to force himself on her. Just as he leans in, a powerful slap cracks across his face, sending a tooth flying. Qin Hao is sent tumbling across the room, landing in a heap. In the doorway stands Wang Han, who looks down at the fallen man and coldly states that he must be tired of living to dare touch his woman. Struggling to his knees and holding his bruised face, Qin Hao furiously asks the delivery guy if he knows who his father is. Unimpressed, Wang Han tells him that no matter who his father is, he will pay for having a son like him. Enraged, Qin Hao gets to his feet, shouting that his father is Qin Gang, the richest man in Jiangning City, and that going against him is a death sentence. He then lunges forward to attack. Wang Han effortlessly sidesteps the clumsy attack and delivers a powerful kick, dismissing him as a loser. The blow sends Qin Hao flying into a piece of furniture, knocking him out completely. Wang Han then turns to a shaken Su Qi and gently tells her not to be afraid because it is all over now. He pulls her into a protective embrace as she tells him how glad she is that he came. He holds her close and reassures her that as long as he is with her, no one will ever dare to touch her again. Meanwhile, the beaten Qin Hao struggles to his feet and stumbles out of the room, shouting one last threat at the stinking delivery guy to just wait. With the immediate danger gone, Su Qi looks up at Wang Han and asks what time it is. Confused, he asks her what is wrong. She explains she almost forgot an important meeting at her company and asks if he would go with her. With a warm smile, Wang Han agrees without hesitation, promising he will accompany her anywhere. Su Qi and Wang Han arrive in a red sports car at a large, modern corporate building. As they get out, a person greets Su Qi, telling her that President Liu is already waiting in the conference room. They enter, and Su Qi apologizes to a woman in a business suit for being late. The woman, President Liu, is none other than Wang Han's assistant, Liu Yue. She is shocked to see him and almost addresses him as young master, but he quickly stops her with a gesture. Thinking fast, Wang Han puts an arm around her and pretends they are old classmates. This stuns Su Qi, who can't believe Wang Han and the powerful President Liu know each other. Su Qi remarks on the coincidence, and Liu Yue nervously agrees as she is invited to sit. With everyone seated, Liu Yue prepares to get down to business, and Su Qi agrees to begin. However, just as they are about to start, the door bursts open. Su Qi's grandfather, her father, and 2 other men from the Su family stride in, fawning over President Liu and expressing how honored they are. They insist that for such an important project, they couldn't possibly be careless. A shocked Su Qi asks her grandfather why he is there, and Liu Yue politely greets him. The grandfather explains he was so excited about the new district project that he rushed right over. His friendly demeanor vanishes when he notices Wang Han. He angrily asks Su Qi why she would bring an outsider to such an important meeting. Su Qi stands her ground, reminding her grandfather that since she is in charge of the project, it is her right to decide who she brings. This infuriates her father, Su Jianye, who yells at her, questioning when it became her turn to speak for the company. He belittles her, telling her she has no qualifications, and ordering her to give up her seat for her brother and go pour water for President Liu. At that moment, a smirking young man steps forward and introduces himself as Su Lei. He tells President Liu to discuss the project with him, dismissing Su Qi by saying she has no say. Su Qi tries to protest to her grandfather that the project was given to her, but her father cuts her off again, yelling at her to pour the water. Finally, Another man, Su Qi's uncle Su Jianzhang, delivers the final blow. He smugly tells Su Qi that from now on, all company matters should be handed over to Su Lei, reminding her that she will be getting married soon and should understand her place. As the Su family tries to push Su Qi aside, Wang Han finally speaks up. With his arms crossed and an intense look, he asks them what they think they are doing, reminding them the project was originally given to Su Qi. This infuriates Su Qi's grandfather, who yells at Wang Han to shut up and questions what right he has to speak. Su Le joins in with a smug look, mocking Su Qi for having a delivery guy as a boyfriend. He then tells his grandfather he heard she is also pregnant with this man's child. The revelation sends the grandfather into a rage. He points at Wang Han and orders Su Qi to get this low-class trash out immediately, declaring he and his dog are banned from the company. Su Qi leaps to Wang Han's defense, arguing it doesn't matter what he does because he earns his money honestly, and her grandfather has no right to insult him. Her defiance only enrages the old man further. Seeing the situation is hopeless, Wang Han stands to leave with Su Qi. He tells her family they are shameless and repeats his condition. The project can only be handled by Su Qi. The grandfather confronts him, demanding to know what right a mere delivery guy has to make demands. Instead of answering, Wang Han turns to a nervous Liu Yue. He smoothly addresses her as his old classmate and asks her to do him a favor. He states that Su Qi is his fiancée and the project must be given to her alone. Under his commanding gaze, Liu Yue reluctantly agrees. Su Lei is shocked and tries to argue, telling President Liu that Su Qi is irresponsible and knows nothing about the company, insisting he would be a better choice. But Liu Yue, following Wang Han's orders, ignores him and addresses the grandfather directly. She states her company will only work with Su Qi. If the Su family cannot agree, they will find another partner. The grandfather is stunned and asks to speak with her boss. Liu Yue delivers a final, crushing blow. She informs him she has full authority and that he, the patriarch, is not qualified to meet her boss. The harsh words leave the old man sweating and completely speechless, utterly defeated and humiliated in front of his family. Completely defeated, Su Qi's father, Su Jianye, quickly changes his tune. He tells President Liu not to be angry and assures her they will meet her demands, agreeing to put Su Qi in charge. His father-in-law agrees, saying that as long as they get the partnership, it's fine if Su Qi is the one to do it. Satisfied, Liu Yue states that they will sign the contract today. Now in control, Liu Yue stands beside Su Qi and dismisses the rest of the Su family. She informs them she and Su Qi need to discuss the contract details privately and that they can leave. With no power to object, Su Jianye can only agree, and he helps his stunned father-in-law out of the room. As the defeated men file out, Su Lei tries to protest to his father, but he is quickly silenced and ushered out. Once they are gone, Wang Han watches the door close with a smirk, thinking what a bunch of clowns they are and how they brought their humiliation upon themselves. Liu Yue then professionally hands the contract to Su Qi to review. Meanwhile, in an office elsewhere, an enraged Su Lei confronts his father, Su Jianye, demanding to know how he could let that bitch, Su Qi, be in charge. Su Jianzhang, sitting calmly at his desk, tells him not to worry, assuring him he has a plan. When Su Lei tries to ask their uncle, Su Jianzhang, to leave, his father stops him, stating they are all on the same side. He then reveals a shocking family secret. Su Qi is not his biological daughter. Both Su Lei and Su Jianzhang are stunned. Su Jianzhang asks if his sister-in-law cheated on him, but Su Jianye clarifies the truth. He explains that his wife, Yang Huimin, was unable to have children, so they adopted Su Qi. He then complains that she has now shamed the family by getting involved with a delivery guy. A thoughtful Su Jianzhang asks who Su Qi's biological parents are. Su Jianye dismisses the question, saying he doesn't know and assumes they are long dead, having left her nothing but a worthless jade pendant. Impatient, Su Lei interrupts, eager to hear his father's plan. With a sinister grin, Su Jianzhang reveals his scheme. He tells them to wait and let Su Qi take over the project for now. Once she has done the hard work, he has a way to snatch it away from her. Understanding the plot, Su Lei agrees with a confident, sly smile. Dressed in a suit with a cigarette, Wang Han approaches two security guards on duty and asks for a light. A heavier-set guard offers a lighter. Noticing Wang Han's formal attire, the guard assumes he is there for an interview, but Wang Han says no. Curious, the guard then asks what he is doing there. Very casually, Wang Han reveals he is a delivery guy. The two guards burst out laughing, one of them joking that delivery guys and security guards are lifelong enemies. Wang Han chuckles, but then he notices both guards grow serious and stand up straight, so he asks what is going on. Suddenly, the guards snap to attention. One tells the other that President Su has arrived. The heavier-set guard explains with admiration that President Su is the most beautiful woman in the company and that seeing her daily gives him the motivation to work. Wang Han scoffs at them for getting so worked up over a woman. Annoyed, the guard tells him not to act so high and mighty, reminding him that as a delivery guy, he is no better than them. At that moment, an elegant Su-Ki appears. The two guards greet her energetically and respectfully as President Su. She acknowledges their hard work and says she is going to get her car. As Su-Ki walks toward her red sports car, the heavier guard is ecstatic, boasting to his colleague that President Su spoke to him. Wang Han, watching this, asks if such a big reaction is necessary. The guard approaches Wang Han and puts an arm on his shoulder patronizingly. He offers some advice, telling him that even as a delivery guy, it's still important to have dreams. Just then, Su-Chi pulls up beside them in her flashy red sports car. From the driver's seat, she looks at Wang Han and tells him to get in. Wang Han bids the guards farewell with a smile, telling them he will remember their words and see them later. He then gets into the passenger seat of the luxury car. The two guards are left completely frozen, watching in disbelief as the sports car speeds away, unable to process that the humble delivery guy they were just pitying left with their beautiful and unattainable boss. As they drive, Wang Han notices Su-Chi's happy expression and remarks that things must have gone smoothly. Su-Chi agrees, explaining it was thanks to her friend, Lin Suifu, who found the mysterious big boss behind the new district project. She adds that she is determined to thank this person face to face. Amused, Wang Han tells her she should definitely thank him well. He then changes the subject, informing her he has already contacted the Civil Affairs Bureau, and they will register their marriage the next morning. Su-Chi calmly agrees to the plan, but lays out her conditions. She only wants the marriage certificate so their child will have a father. After the baby is born, she will give him a monthly payment of 30,000. A surprised Wang Han asks if she is trying to keep him as a paid companion. Su-Chi tells him he can think whatever he wants. With a confident smirk, Wang Han crosses his arms and retorts that if she really wants to keep him, 30,000 is far too little. His response infuriates Su-Chi. She tells him not to push his luck, questioning how much a delivery guy could possibly earn in a month and implying 30,000 is more than enough. In her frustration, she slams her foot on the accelerator, and the red sports car speeds down the city street. They soon arrive at the entrance of an upscale, modern residential complex. After parking, Wang Han gets out and leans on the door, teasing Su-Chi that she seems to know the route well and has already memorized the way to his home. Annoyed, she replies that with GPS, she can go anywhere. As they walk through the complex, Wang Han's phone begins to ring. He tells Su-Chi to wait a moment, as he needs to take the call. Wang Han answers, casually asking the old man on the other end what's going on. The person informs him a shipment has been seized by the Black Dragon Society, and he needs to handle it. The caller also mentions a card has been left at his doorstep to help with the problem. Wang Han confidently agrees, promising to take care of everything by noon the next day. The caller then abruptly changes the subject, asking if he heard correctly that Wang Han is getting married. This question startles and angers Wang Han, who demands to know who leaked the information. The old man reveals that Lin Qingyun told him and accuses Wang Han of trying to get married without permission. He continues his tirade, questioning why Wang Han would pass over countless wealthy heiresses for a girl from the minor Su family. Wang Han tries to de-escalate and explain. However, the old man cuts him off, saying there is no need for explanations. Instead, he informs a horrified Wang Han that his big sister will be coming to question him personally the next day, and he should prepare himself. Wang Han is thrown into a panic, begging the old man not to be so cruel and asking if he could even survive her visit, but the call abruptly ends. Furious and stressed, Wang Han hangs up, muttering a threat that he will get back at the old man. Noticing his agitated state, Su-Chi approaches and asks what happened. Quickly hiding his turmoil, Wang Han reassures her it's nothing. He puts a reassuring arm on her shoulder and tells her it's time to go home. They walk back to his apartment, entering the modern living room. Once inside, Su-Chi spots a white card on the coffee table and asks what it is. Wang Han casually explains it is just a gift card meant for someone else. Changing the subject, he takes off his jacket and suggests she must be hungry, offering to cook. Su-Chi quietly agrees. As he heads to the kitchen, Su-Chi sits on the sofa holding his jacket. A small, content smile forms on her face as she thinks that having a kept man at home is actually quite nice. In his apartment, Wang Han, wearing an apron, tells Suchi to have a seat and that he will be finished cooking soon. She thanks him. As he heads into the kitchen, he playfully remarks that it's no trouble for his wife and child, adding that he is, after all, a kept house husband. His comment leaves Suki speechless, and she sits on the sofa with a faint, amused smile. The next day, the scene shifts to the Jiangning Civil Affairs Bureau. Wang Han and Suchi walk out of the building, each holding a red marriage certificate. Wang Han proudly declares that from now on, he is officially a married man. Suchi playfully teases him, asking his plans for the day and if he is going to deliver food. Wang Han dismisses it, joking that now that he's in some nice clothes, he should go out and have some fun with a few young ladies. His response irritates Suchi. She calls him hopeless and complains that even as a married man, he still has a terrible temper. She turns and walks away in a huff, telling him to do whatever he wants. As she leaves, Wang Han's playful expression vanishes, replaced by a serious one. He thinks that before anything else, he needs to take care of the task the old man assigned him. His mission takes him to a towering skyscraper, the headquarters of the Black Dragon Group. He stands before the massive building, confirming it's the right place. He thinks about the group's origins, recalling that the Black Dragon Society was once a local gang that has since transformed into a seemingly legitimate corporation. However, he knows they are still involved in shady business like debt collection and loan sharking. With a cold and determined look, he resolves to see for himself just how capable they really are. Wang Han walks into the Black Dragon Group's lavish lobby. Two thuggish men at a reception desk confront him, asking his business. With his hands in his pockets, Wang Han confidently states he is there to collect a debt. The long-haired thug misunderstands, thinking Wang Han is a client. He says he has come to the right place, as debt collection is one of their services. Wang Han calmly corrects him, clarifying he is there to collect a debt from a man named Baldi Liu. This statement enrages the two men. They demand to know who this fool is and if he understands whose territory he's in, accusing him of having a death wish as they both charge. The long-haired man attacks first with a wild kick, but Wang Han dodges it with ease. The thug's momentum sends him stumbling to his knees. Before he can recover, Wang Han delivers a swift kick to his face. Seeing his partner down, the bald thug rushes forward, throwing a punch. He meets the same fate, as Wang Han's powerful kick sends him flying. With both men defeated on the lobby floor, Wang Han stands over the conscious long-haired thug. His expression is cold as he calmly asks if the man is now ready to take him to see Baldi Liu. The scene shifts to an opulent office where Baldi Liu, head of the Black Dragon Group, is relaxing. A woman with long purple hair is leaning over him intimately. She playfully licks a drop of red wine from his chest. He asks if it tastes good, and she replies that it has a lot of flavor. With a smug grin, Baldi Liu tells her that if she likes it, she can drink more, promising to feed her until she is full later. She playfully calls him naughty. Their moment is shattered when the office door bursts open. A tattooed man named Wen Long rushes in, panicked, and screams that someone has broken in. Enraged by the interruption, Baldi Liu yells at Wen Long for not knocking, asking if he couldn't see he was busy. He furiously declares this is his territory and questions who would dare to barge in. Wen Long stammers, trying to explain, but before he can finish, a body comes flying through the doorway. The man, one of the thugs from the lobby, crashes hard onto the floor in front of Baldi Liu's desk, leaving the boss and the woman stunned. His shock turns to rage. Baldi Liu leaps to his feet, pulling out a pistol. He points it at the door and screams, demanding to know what dog had the nerve to invade his turf. Following the thug, a black object flies through the doorway. It is a heavy, ornate card that embeds itself with a sharp thud into the desk in front of a stunned Baldi Liu. Still holding his pistol, he cautiously picks it up. His expression shifts from anger to pure terror as he recognizes the insignia and screams, identifying it as a black card from the 10 Greats Association. From the floor, the beaten thug Wen Long looks up in confusion, asking what the 10 Greats Association is and learning it is a terrifying organization of 10 powerful underworld bosses. At that moment, Wang Han steps into the office. He looks down with a calm, condescending expression and remarks that he is surprised they have even heard of the association. The sight of Wang Han triggers a horrified realization in Baldi Liu. He screams out the title, Ninth Young Master, finally understanding who has come for him. In shock, he stumbles backward, losing his composure. As Wang Han walks calmly into the office, he notes it's impressive someone still remembers his name, as he has been out of the underworld for many years. Without hesitation, Baldy Liu drops to his knees, bowing his head in total submission. He asks what orders the ninth young master has for him. In a stunning display of the power shift, the kneeling gang boss respectfully holds out a lighter for Wang Han, who calmly lights a cigarette. Taking a drag, Wang Han gets to the point, mentioning he heard Baldy Liu had recently seized a shipment of goods. Panicked, the kneeling man insists it must be a misunderstanding. Wang Han looks down at him with a cold expression, remarking that he admires his nerve for daring to steal from the Ten Greats Association. While feigning submission, Baldy Liu promises to return the goods immediately. However, he is secretly reaching for a pistol tucked into his waistband, preparing to make a desperate move. Aware of the deception, Wang Han remains unfazed. He looks at the gang boss and delivers a chilling warning, asking if he has ever heard the saying, "When the black card appears, even gods and ghosts will submit." Pushed to a desperate act, Baldy Liu springs to his feet, aiming his pistol at Wang Han. He screams that since the ninth young master won't give him a way out, he shouldn't be blamed for being ruthless. However, before he can fire, Wang Han moves with impossible speed. He flicks his still-lit cigarette through the air. The tiny object strikes the pistol as Baldy Liu pulls the trigger, deflecting the shot. Wang Han calmly states that he does not like having guns pointed at him. With the threat neutralized, Wang Han plucks the black card from the desk. He holds it up and delivers a cold proclamation, stating that everyone who had ever pointed a gun at him was now dead. In a single, fluid motion, he uses the sharp edge of the card as a blade, slashing it across Baldy Liu's throat in a swift, lethal strike. The gang boss collapses to the floor, dead. The gruesome scene leaves the purple-haired woman screaming in terror, while the tattooed thug, Wen Long, stares in shock at the body of his fallen boss. The commotion draws other gang members to the doorway. They freeze, shouting in disbelief that their boss has been killed. Ignoring the chaos, Wang Han grabs a terrified Wen Long. He presents him with two choices: hand over the goods and become the new boss, or hand over the goods and join Baldy Liu in death. Faced with this ultimatum, Wen Long makes his decision instantly. He and all the other thugs immediately bow their heads in submission, pledging unwavering loyalty to the ninth young master and disavowing any connection to their former boss's actions. Satisfied, Wang Han accepts their pledge and calmly orders someone to take him to his shipment, his mission now complete. Outside the imposing headquarters of the Black Dragon Group, a car pulls up. Qin Hao gets out, accompanied by a thug on crutches who is heavily bandaged. The subordinate nervously advises his boss to be cautious, warning that Wang Han is not to be taken lightly. However, Qin Hao, consumed by rage, dismisses the advice, declaring he will kill Wang Han today, no matter what. He storms towards the entrance, shouting that he is there to see the boss of the Black Dragon Society. With a face twisted in fury, he vows that as long as the gang's boss, Old Liu, gets rid of that stinking delivery guy for him, he is willing to pay any price. Meanwhile, inside the office, the new hierarchy is established. Wang Han stands before the assembled gang members and appoints Wen Long as the new leader. He declares Wen Long is now in charge of the Black Dragon Group and promises a prosperous future to anyone who follows him. The other gang members quickly accept this, addressing their new leader respectfully. Just as the new order is settled, Qin Hao bursts into the office, shouting for Old Liu. He looks around the room, now under new management, and angrily demands to know where the old boss is. Confronting the new leader, Wen Long, a furious Qin Hao dismisses him and insists he is there to see the old boss for a major business deal. From behind the desk, Wen Long calmly informs him that Old Liu is no longer around and that he is now in charge of the Black Dragon Society. Accepting the change, Qin Hao congratulates the new leader and gets to his offer. He wants them to kill someone for him, and he is willing to pay 50 million for the job. Intrigued by the enormous sum, Wen Long asks who the target is. Qin Hao reveals that the person he wants dead is a simple delivery guy. Wen Long scoffs at the proposal, thinking it's absurd to pay 50 million to kill a mere delivery driver, and telling Qin Hao he has come to the wrong place for a joke. Enraged, Qin Hao insists he is not kidding. He furiously explains that this delivery guy beat him senseless and stole his woman, and for that, he must die. Seeing a lucrative opportunity, Wen Long is amused that his first big deal as boss has arrived so quickly. He calmly tells Qin Hao not to get worked up over a delivery guy and agrees to take care of it. Qin Hao insists he must go with them, as he knows where the target lives and wants to witness his death. Wen Long readily agrees, promising to gather his men and handle the matter to Qin Hao's satisfaction. With a confident gesture, he rallies his men, announcing they are all going to help Qin Hao get his revenge. His subordinates respond with a loyal, "Yes, Brother Long." The scene shifts back to the XX food delivery center, where Wang Han has returned to his day job. Now in his uniform, he is greeted by co-workers who mention he has been gone for several days and the boss has been looking for him. Wang Han calmly tells them he will see the boss after finishing a few deliveries. He lights a cigarette as his co-workers drive off, bidding him farewell. He sits on his red motorcycle, exuding cool confidence. However, as he is driving, a black van suddenly swerves and cuts him off. The van's side door slides open, and an enraged Chin Hao emerges, wielding a heavy metal pipe. He glares at Wang Han, gloating that he bet he never expected to be found so quickly. Standing calmly, Wang Han looks at his vengeful pursuer and admits this confrontation is a bit unexpected. Blinded by rage, Chin Hao charges forward, swinging the heavy pipe. He screams that he is going to make Wang Han kneel and cry. However, Wang Han, with complete calm, effortlessly sidesteps the clumsy attack. As Chin Hao stumbles past, Wang Han flicks his still-lit cigarette with perfect aim, sending it directly into Chin Hao's open mouth. The sudden pain and shock cause Chin Hao to cry out. Before he can recover, Wang Han taunts him, asking if he was the one who wanted to kneel. He then delivers a powerful knee strike to Chin Hao's stomach, followed by a brutal elbow to his back, yelling that he will make him kneel. The series of blows is too much, and Chin Hao collapses to his knees in agony. Humiliated, Chin Hao screams at the tattooed gang leader, Wen Long, demanding what he is waiting for and reminding him he wasn't paid to just stand by. On cue, Wen Long and his subordinates emerge from the van. Lighting a cigar with a smug expression, Wen Long remarks that he is curious to see if all delivery guys are as tough as this one. From the ground, Chin Hao adds a cruel order, telling them not to kill Wang Han quickly. He wants him tortured slowly, to suffer a fate worse than death. Wen Long approaches Wang Han and puts a familiar hand on his shoulder, condescendingly calling him friend. However, the moment Wang Han turns his head, Wen Long's arrogant smirk vanishes, replaced by pure shock and terror as he finally recognizes who he is confronting. Reacting instantly, Wang Han furiously asks who he thinks he is calling friend. He grabs Wen Long by the head and brutally slams his face down onto his own lit cigar, burning him. Standing over the terrified and injured gang leader, Wang Han taunts him, asking if he has gotten arrogant after being the new boss for a few minutes. Clutching his burned face, Wen Long stammers in absolute fear, finally addressing Wang Han by his true title, Ninth Young Master. He frantically apologizes, swearing he never would have dared to show up if he had known who he was dealing with. Utterly bewildered, Chin Hao dismisses the title Wen Long used and tries to order him to attack Wang Han. Terrified of angering Wang Han further, Wen Long immediately turns on his former client. He viciously kicks Chin Hao, screaming that this is the fool who wanted to attack the ninth young master. The powerful kick sends Chin Hao flying, crashing painfully onto the pavement. Wang Han steps on the beaten Chin Hao and delivers a final cold warning. He tells him this is the last time and that if he values his life, he will never provoke him again. Through his pain, Chin Hao stammers that he understands. Wang Han then adds a more severe threat. He reminds Chin Hao that Suchi is his wife and warns him to stay far away from her. He states that this time he only broke his hand, but next time he will not be so fortunate. To emphasize his point, he grinds his shoe onto Chin Hao's bandaged head, causing him to cry out in pain. With the situation handled, Wang Han pulls out his phone and complains that he is going to be late again. Behind him, Wen Long and his men stand by silently and respectfully. As Wang Han prepares to leave, a dazed Chin Hao struggles to his feet. Still not understanding, he yells at Wen Long, demanding why he couldn't even handle one delivery guy. Wen Long turns back to face his former client with a grim expression. He tells Chin Hao that the man he calls a delivery guy is someone he can never afford to offend, trying to make him understand the immense power he just challenged. Continuing with his deliveries, Wang Han arrives at an old, run-down apartment building. As he walks down the dim, grimy hallway carrying a food package, he comments to himself on how dilapidated the place is. He finds the correct apartment and knocks on the door. The door is answered by a disheveled man with messy blue hair and a menacing look. Wang Han professionally tells him the total is 20 yuan and asks if he will pay with cash or a code. The man curtly replies that he will pay with cash. As the man fumbles for money, Wang Han's expression grows suspicious, sensing something is off. His suspicion is confirmed when he glances past the man into the dark apartment. He sees a terrified woman with torn clothes in the background, desperately trying to signal for help. She is being held captive. Before she can make a sound, another man strikes her across the head, knocking her down and telling her to be quiet. Witnessing this, Wang Han's demeanor instantly changes. The blue-haired man tries to pay him and get rid of him, angrily telling him to get lost and that what is happening is none of his business. He then slams the door shut. Inside, the two criminals panic, realizing the delivery guy saw everything. One asks what they should do, and the other replies without hesitation that they should kill him. Left in the hallway, Wang Han puts a hand to his head in frustration, muttering about the incredible bad luck of running into such a situation. His thoughts are interrupted when the door flies open again. The blue-haired man lunges at him with a knife, ready to attack. A surprised but ready Wang Han questions if they are really going to try and kill him. In response to the knife attack, Wang Han instantly kicks the blue-haired man, sending him flying and disarming him. Standing in the doorway, Wang Han looks annoyed, remarking to himself that even a simple delivery is forcing him to get his hands dirty. Inside, the second kidnapper realizes the delivery guy is a trained fighter. Enraged, he grabs a machete and charges at Wang Han, yelling for him to die. Unfazed, Wang Han effortlessly stops the attack, grabbing the man's wrist and mocking his pathetic skills. He then delivers a brutal elbow to his face, sending him to the floor crying for help. With both men neutralized, Wang Han kicks the door shut and turns his serious gaze toward the victim. He finds the terrified young woman tied up on a bed, weakly pleading for help. He approaches and begins to untie her, gently asking if she is able to walk. After she confirms she can, he kindly places his jacket over her shoulders. He tells her he has already called the police and offers to call her family to pick her up, to which she agrees. He then says he is going outside to tie up the two men to ensure they don't escape, leaving her with her phone. Wang Han stands over the two kidnappers, now tied up back to back on the floor. He tells the brats they got what they deserved for running into him. The rescued woman approaches, impressed that he handled both of them himself. She thanks him for saving her and introduces herself as Xiao Wanjing. Wang Han humbly replies that it was no trouble and introduces himself. As Xiao Wanjing holds her phone, presumably after calling her family, she looks at the screen with a surprised expression. It seems an incoming call has interrupted her, and she hands the phone back to Wang Han. He answers professionally, but a furious female voice on the other end scolds him, asking if he's become bold enough to get married without telling his family. A look of panic washes over Wang Han's face as he stammers, recognizing the caller as his big sister. The woman commands him to meet her in Jiangning that night and to bring his new fiancée. All he can do is nervously agree. After she abruptly hangs up, Wang Han looks exasperated and mutters about how that shrew always hangs up without warning. At that moment, the door bursts open and an older man, flanked by two police officers, shouts Xiao Wanjing's name. Overjoyed, Xiao Wanjing calls out to her father and runs towards him, while Wang Han stands calmly beside the subdued criminals. Her father pulls her into a tight, relieved hug, anxiously asking if she was hurt. Xiao Wanjing reassures her worried father that she is unharmed and points to Wang Han, explaining that this man saved her. As two police officers apprehend the tied-up criminals, a lead officer orders them to be taken away. Wang Han stands by, adding that he was the one who knocked them out. Xiao Wanjing's father approaches Wang Han, formally thanking him for saving his daughter and asking if he subdued the two thugs. Wang Han simply confirms that he did. The older man is impressed, thinking it's unexpected to find such a powerful hidden dragon working as a delivery man. He mentally assesses Wang Han's abilities, noting that based on his powerful aura, Wang Han must be at least a little grandmaster. He introduces himself as Jia Tianxiong and offers Wang Han his business card. He tells Wang Han that he is greatly in his debt and to call him if he ever needs help in Jiangning City. Wang Han accepts the card and, recognizing the name White Tiger Martial Arts Hall, politely promises to visit when he can. As Wang Han says he has other business and turns to leave, Xia Tianxiong tries to stop him, offering him a job at his martial arts hall for 50,000 a month, certain it pays better than delivering food. However, Wang Han politely declines. Watching him go, Xia Tianxiong remarks on the impressive talent in such a young man. Xiao Wanjing calls out after Wang Han, realizing he forgot his jacket, but he is already leaving. Down on the street, Wang Han walks back to his motorcycle as police load the kidnappers into their car. Getting on his bike, he thinks about how much trouble a single delivery caused him. With that handled, he decides it is time to go find Suki. He starts his motorcycle and speeds off. The story shifts to the towering Su Group skyscraper. Inside an office, Suki is at her desk when a man in a blue suit enters. He tells her he heard from Shuifu that she was in trouble and immediately flew back from overseas to help. The man, Lin Jingpeng, tries to reassure her, but Su Qi coldly rejects his offer, informing him the company already has a solution and his help is not needed. Undeterred, Lin Jingpeng continues his unwanted advances, declaring he will always be by her side. He confesses he rejected many women abroad because she is the only one in his heart. Annoyed, Su Qi stands and demands that he stay away and call her by her proper name, Su Qi. He ignores her and grabs her arm, desperately asking her to be his woman and promising her everything. Having reached her limit, Su Qi slaps him hard across the face. She tells him to respect himself and then reveals the shocking truth. She is already married and pregnant. A stunned Lin Jingpeng holds his cheek, refusing to believe her and accusing her of lying. At that exact moment, the office door opens, and Wang Han walks in with 2 containers of food. He looks at the scene and remarks to himself that it seems he has quite a few love rivals. Seizing the opportunity, Su Qi walks over to the stunned Lin Jingpeng and scolds Wang Han for not knocking, pretending to treat him like a disobedient employee. Wang Han plays along, asking what's wrong. Su Qi then walks over to Wang Han and takes his arm. She explains to Lin Jingpeng that Wang Han brought her food because she can't go hungry while pregnant. Then, looking at the shocked man, she formally introduces Wang Han as her husband. As she says the word husband, a warm feeling spreads through her, and she leans against him with a gentle smile. Lin Jingpeng is devastated. He points a trembling finger at the couple and asks in disbelief if this man is really her husband. Stepping forward protectively, Wang Han tells him where the door is, stating that he and his wife want to enjoy their lunch alone. As Lin Jingpeng tries to protest, Wang Han simply repeats his instruction, and the couple turns their back on him. Defeated, Lin Jingpeng storms out, vowing he won't give up. As he leaves, Su Qi tells Wang Han to instruct the front desk not to let irrelevant people in again, or they will be fired. With the unwelcome guest gone, Wang Han places the food on the table. He comments with amusement that his rival was quite weak, having run off before he even had to make a move. As they sit down to eat, Wang Han stands behind Su Qi, massaging her shoulders. She tells him that, strictly speaking, Lin Jingpeng isn't his love rival since there are no feelings between them. Wang Han just smiles and says he understands. As Su Qi begins eating, Wang Han playfully closes the lid on her food container. Annoyed, she asks what he is doing. He teases that since there are no feelings between them, he won't let her eat his food. Fired up, Su Qi retorts that he is the one who got her pregnant, so he is obligated to feed her. After a bite, she admits his cooking is excellent, and Wang Han looks pleased. She tells him that since his cooking is so good, he should quit his delivery job, and she will invest in a restaurant for him. However, he arrogantly replies that not just anyone is worthy of tasting his cooking. With a pout, Su Qi asks if he has cooked for many other women before. He assures her he has only ever cooked for one woman, but then corrects himself. He teases that since there are no feelings between them, he must have been cooking for the baby in her belly. Su Qi scoffs at his answer. Changing the subject, she asks why he isn't wearing his work uniform. The question makes Wang Han realize he left it behind. With a sly smile, he explains that on a delivery just before this, he had to rescue a sexy babe and lent his jacket to her. His casual comment immediately triggers Su Qi's jealousy. She furiously kicks him out, telling him to go find his sexy babe. A confused Wang Han wonders why she suddenly got so angry. As the door slams shut, he panics, realizing pregnant women shouldn't get upset, and tries to calm her down from the hallway. Inside her office, a still fuming Su Qi mutters to herself about the sexy babe, and tells Wang Han to just go deliver his food. Her anger is interrupted by a notification on her phone. It's a text from Wang Han. He has playfully saved his contact as the child's father and hers as the child's mother. His message tells her to enjoy her meal, that he is going out to earn money for baby formula, and to let him know what she wants for dinner. His message softens her mood, and a small smile appears on her face. She texts back, telling him she is going to her family's house for dinner and that he should accompany her. When he questions what his role would be, she replies firmly, as the child's father. Outside, Wang Han looks at his phone and thinks what a stubborn woman she is. He smiles, amused that she won't just call him her husband. He then gets on his motorcycle and speeds off. That evening, a red sports car pulls up to the Su family's modern home. Wang Han, now in a smart suit, walks in with Su Qi, who announces their arrival. They are immediately confronted by her mother, Yang Huimin, who angrily demands to know why Su Qi has brought that thing home again. Standing her ground, Suchi links her arm with Wang Han's and makes a stunning declaration. They are already married, so there shouldn't be a problem with her bringing her husband home. The news sends her mother into shock and rage. She points an accusing finger, yelling in disbelief that Suchi got a marriage certificate with a delivery guy and asking if she has lost her mind. With Wang Han by her side, Suchi fiercely retorts that she knows exactly what she is doing. The argument is interrupted by her father, Su Jianye, and brother, Su Lei. From upstairs, Su Jianye tells them to stop fighting during a family dinner. Surprisingly, Su Lei defends his sister, stating it is her freedom to marry whomever she chooses. With a welcoming smile, Su Lei turns to Wang Han, addressing him as brother-in-law and inviting him to sit, assuring him the food will be ready soon. Attempting to de-escalate the tension, Su Jianye tells his daughter to go upstairs to change before they eat. As Su Qi and Wang Han head up the stairs, the family watches with disapproval. Once they are out of earshot, Yang Huimin confronts her son, demanding to know why he is letting his sister marry trash. With a sly grin, Su Lei reveals his scheme. He has already called Qin Hao, who is on his way. His mother is delighted, and they both share a wicked smile, eagerly anticipating the moment the trash gets taught a lesson. A short time later, a guest arrives. Su Lei and his parents welcome him to the dinner table, addressing him as young Master Qin. The guest is Qin Hao, Su Qi's spurned fiancé. He seems annoyed and asks Su Lei why he was summoned so urgently, but Su Lei just tells him to be patient, promising a surprise. Just then, Su Qi and Wang Han come back downstairs. Seeing Qin Hao at the family table, Su Qi stops, confused as to why he is there. Her mother scolds her for being slow and asks if she cannot see their guest has arrived. Su Qi questions why he would be at a family dinner. Yang Huimin cheerfully ignores her and instructs her to sit next to Qin Hao. As they approach the table, Su Qi and Wang Han notice there is only one empty chair. Yang Huimin then delivers a deliberate insult, stating that not just any cat or dog is allowed at the Su family's dinner table. Unintimidated, Wang Han challenges her, asking why Qin Hao gets a seat, but he doesn't. Yang Huimin scoffs, telling him to look at himself and questioning how he could dare compare himself to young Master Qin. Impatient, Su Qi's father coldly tells everyone to eat, suggesting whoever doesn't have a seat can squat on the floor. In a gesture of loyalty, Su Qi turns to Wang Han and offers him the last chair, saying she will stand instead. Enraged by his daughter's defiance, Su Jianye slams his hand on the table. He yells at Su Qi, asking if she is rebelling and ordering her to sit down and eat with Qin Hao. However, Wang Han simply stands behind a visibly terrified Qin Hao, his intense gaze fixed on him. The silent pressure is too much. In a shocking turn, a sweating Qin Hao abruptly stands up. He nervously offers his own chair to Wang Han, respectfully calling him Brother Wang, and saying that he will stand instead. The entire Su family is stunned. Yang Huimin asks Qin Hao what he is doing, insisting he doesn't need to give up his seat because a person like Wang Han isn't worthy of their dinner table. Ignoring her, Qin Hao insists that if Brother Wang isn't worthy, then he is even less so. He pulls the chair out and urges Wang Han to sit. After taking the seat, Wang Han turns to Su Qi, who is still standing. He tells the child's mother to sit, reminding her she is pregnant and shouldn't be on her feet. He then serves her a piece of meat from his plate, telling her to eat more. The rest of the family can only watch in bewilderment, confused as to why their guest is acting so submissively. Seeing his plan has backfired, Su Lei steps in. He puts a hand on Qin Hao's shoulder and tells him he has a surprise for him, attempting to regain control. At the dinner table, Wang Han ignores the scheming pair and tells Su Qi to focus on their meal. They raise their glasses for a toast, and he gently reminds her to only drink a little of the wine. Meanwhile, a frustrated Qin Hao asks Su Lei what his surprise is, threatening to leave. With a sinister grin, Su Lei whispers his plan. He drugged Su Qi's wine, and once she drinks it, she will be unconscious for Qin Hao to take advantage of. This surprise horrifies Qin Hao. He furiously grabs Su Lei, realizing the plan is a trap that would get him killed by Wang Han, and curses at him. In a desperate panic, Qin Hao shouts across the table, warning Su Qi not to drink the wine because it has been drugged. The revelation shocks Su Qi. Terrified, Qin Hao immediately points at Su Lei, frantically exposing him as the one who wanted to drug her. Having been betrayed by her own brother, a furious Su Qi stands up and throws the entire glass of drugged wine into Su Lei's face, calling him shameless. Drenched and humiliated, Su Lei is left completely speechless. The attempt on his wife's safety awakens a terrifying rage in Wang Han. His eyes glowing red, he grabs the stunned Su Lei by his shirt, calling him a little brat, before delivering a single devastating punch to his face. Standing over his unconscious form, Wang Han issues a cold warning, vowing to kill Su Lei if he ever dares to touch his wife again. Disgusted by her family's treachery, Su Qi declares that the house is filled with filth. She and Wang Han turn and walk out, leaving the beaten Su Lei on the floor. As they leave, Su Lei's parents rush to their son's side, anxiously asking if he is all right. Later, as they are driving away from the chaotic scene, the silence in the car is broken. Suki turns to Wang Han and demands an explanation, finally asking the question that has been bothering her. Why is Qin Hao so terrified of him? In the car, Wang Han casually dismisses Su Qi's question. He gives a vague, arrogant answer, stating that some people are thick-skinned and only learn to behave after a good slap. Su Qi rolls her eyes, calling him a braggart again. She then turns serious, reminding him that given his background, it will be incredibly difficult for him to fit in with her family. Unfazed, Wang Han boasts that her family's rules are nothing compared to his own. Their conversation is cut short when his phone buzzes. His confident expression vanishes, replaced by pure panic as he mutters that he is done for. He looks at a text from a contact named Yao Rushuang. The message is a simple, terrifying command. "I've arrived. You have 10 minutes to appear." Wang Han realizes with horror that she is here. They arrive back at his apartment building. Noticing his panicked state, Su Qi asks who has arrived that could scare him so much. As they walk to the entrance, he warns her that his big sister is coming. He tells Su Qi not to say the wrong thing, explaining his family has many rules. Skeptical, Su Qi scoffs at the idea that his humble family could have any significant rules. He just tells her she will find out soon and repeats his warning to be careful with her words. They enter his apartment and find a woman already waiting. She is sitting on the sofa with her legs crossed, smoking a cigarette, with an aura of immense power and intimidation. Wang Han immediately plasters on a fake, cheerful smile. He greets his big sister with exaggerated warmth, telling her how much he missed her. The woman, Yao Rushuang, Wang Han's big sister, is completely unmoved. She ignores his greeting and, with a cold, commanding voice, utters a single word. "Kneel." To Su Qi's utter shock, the usually arrogant Wang Han immediately drops to his knees without hesitation. Yao Rushuang then turns her cold gaze to Su Qi and orders her to come over as well. Before Su Qi can react, the kneeling Wang Han quickly intervenes. He pleads with his sister, explaining that Su Qi is pregnant and cannot kneel. Hearing this, Yao Rushuang pauses and calmly puts out her cigarette, her expression unreadable. Yao Rushuang looks down at Su Qi's hand with a cold expression and confirms that she is pregnant. Suddenly, her calm demeanor shatters. She springs to her feet and delivers a powerful kick to the kneeling Wang Han, sending him flying across the room. She furiously scolds him, saying a few years abroad have taught him plenty of bad habits. As a stunned Wang Han sits on the floor, trying to plead his case, she looms over him and declares that he will first receive the family punishment before he is allowed to speak. Seeing this, Su Qi immediately rushes forward and stands protectively between them, her arms spread wide to shield Wang Han. She confronts Yao Rushuang, declaring that while she doesn't know their family rules, it is unreasonable to hit him without knowing what he supposedly did wrong. Yao Rushuang calmly explains that the Wang family rules are simple virtues like benevolence and integrity. Su Qi challenges her to name which rule he has broken. With cold precision, Yao Rushuang lists his 3 wrongdoings. First, getting married without informing his elders is disrespectful. Second, getting a woman pregnant before marriage is immoral. And third, finding a partner unworthy of him is unwise. The final insult enrages Su Qi. With her arms crossed, she demands to know what kind of person would be worthy of her brother. Yao Rushuang then begins to list the incredibly high-status women their family had arranged for him, all of whom he rejected. She mentions the daughter of the Chu family, the granddaughter of a military elder, and even the holy maiden of the Miao clan. Seeing the situation escalating, Wang Han nervously tries to intervene, pleading with his sister to stop provoking Su Qi, reminding her that she is pregnant. But Su Qi has heard enough. She suddenly tells them to stop their act. With a cynical laugh, she says she sees right through their childish performance. She accuses Wang Han of feeling insecure as a delivery guy and claims he staged this entire scene, inventing a powerful family and high-status fiancés just to feel better. Wang Han frantically denies that it's an act, but Su Qi doesn't listen. She tells them their behavior is too immature and that she doesn't want her child born into such an environment. With that, she declares she will contact him after the baby is born and walks out, leaving a desperate Wang Han calling her name as the door closes behind her. As Wang Han tries to go after Su Qi, his sister, Yao Rushuang, sharply orders him not to chase her. He pleads with her, reminding her that Su Qi is pregnant with his child. Yao Rushuang dismisses his concern, stating that Su Qi comes from a minor family and is too narrow-minded, suggesting a few days to cool off would be good. She then reveals she is in Jiangning on a mission from the old man. A curious Wang Han asks what kind of mission she means. In response, Yao Rushuang presents him with a small, round object, explaining that it is a keepsake. She tells him that years ago, the master of Chaofeng Valley lost his child in Jiangning City. The only thing the child had was a similar keepsake. Yao Rushuang reveals that Wang Han's is the dragon and the lost girl's is the phoenix, and that he has a prearranged marriage contract with her. A shocked Wang Han takes the golden dragon-engraved bead and questions the idea of a betrothal arranged before birth, reminding his sister that he is already a married man. His sister ignores his protest and gets close to him, her expression threatening. She asks if he dares to disobey the old man's direct order to find this person first. Intimidated, Wang Han quickly relents, nervously agreeing to find the girl. The scene then shifts to a modern villa at night. Su Qi has gone to her best friend's house. Lin Shuifu welcomes her, telling her to stay as long as she needs, and Su Qi thanks her. Later, in the bedroom, a distraught Su Qi sits in bed, telling Lin Shuifu she can't believe Wang Han is that kind of person. However, her friend is more skeptical and asks Su Qi if she has considered that Wang Han was just putting on an act. Su Qi finds the idea impossible, questioning why someone as important as the Holy Maiden of the Miao clan would ever be interested in a simple delivery guy. She concludes that Wang Han must have just hired some woman to play the part of his powerful sister to fool her. Lin Shuifu offers a different perspective, suggesting that if everything Wang Han's sister said was true, then his identity must be far from simple. She playfully reminds Su Qi not to judge a book by its cover, asking if she has ever heard of powerful bosses disguising themselves as delivery men. Su Qi is surprised by her friend's defense of Wang Han and asks why she is suddenly speaking up for him. Lin Shuifu gets flustered and quickly denies it. Su Qi doesn't believe her and playfully grabs her arm, demanding to know what she is hiding. The tense conversation turns into a playful tickle fight, with both friends laughing together. After their playful moment, Su Qi turns serious again and asks Lin Shuifu for an update on arranging a meeting with the mysterious Big Shot. Lin Shuifu explains that her grandfather has been secretive with his phone lately, but she promises she will find a way to get the man's contact information for Su Qi. As they are talking, a knock on the bedroom door interrupts them. Lin Shuifu opens it to find Lin Jingpeng standing there, and she asks what he is doing at her house. With a smug smile, Lin Jingpeng tells Lin Shuifu that he knows the Big Shot they were just discussing, and offers to arrange an introduction. A surprised Lin Shuifu asks if he truly knows the powerful man who spent 10 billion to win the new district project. From the bed, Su Qi also asks if he is telling the truth. Lin Jingpeng confidently confirms that his grandfather introduced them and he can easily arrange a meeting. The next day, Wang Han stands on his apartment balcony, frustrated. He thinks about Su Qi's stubbornness, as she is not answering his calls or giving him a chance to explain. His thoughts are interrupted when his phone buzzes with a notification. He hopes it is Su Qi, but is disappointed to see the message is not from her. The text is from Xia Wanjing, the girl he had rescued. She introduces herself, says she has washed his jacket, and asks for his address to return it. Wang Han replies curtly, telling her there is no need and that she should just throw the clothes away. With that handled, he focuses on his new mission. He holds the golden dragon bead his sister gave him and wonders where to even start looking for the girl he is supposed to find. His thoughts are interrupted again by another phone call. It is his subordinate, Xiaohua, with grim news. Their comrade, a man known as Ironhead, is dead. A shocked Wang Han demands to know what happened. His subordinate explains that Ironhead drowned after exhausting himself while saving several people from the water. The news leaves Wang Han utterly stunned and furious. Meanwhile, in her bedroom, Xia Wanjing sits wrapped in a towel, looking sadly at her phone after Wang Han's reply. She wonders aloud if this means she will never see her rescuer again. Her father, Xia Tianxiong, then enters her room, asking why she looks so unhappy. He tells her that the young master of the Zhou family is having a birthday party the next day, and he wants her to attend in his place. Xia Wanjing is annoyed, but her father clarifies that the party is to celebrate the young master's new life after being rescued from drowning a few days ago. The information enrages Xia Wanjing. She refuses to go, disgusted that the man who was saved never even said thank you to his rescuer and had instead called him a scumbag. She complains that her father is always trying to push her into these situations. Changing the subject, he asks if she has contacted the delivery guy who saved her. She confirms she did, but tells her father he didn't even want his jacket back. Xia Tianxiong looks disappointed, sighing that it seems there was no fated connection between them. The story shifts to the front of the impressive Taishun Grand Hotel. Wang Han arrives in a gray van and steps out, looking sharp in his suit. He is immediately greeted by 4 men who have been waiting. They are introduced as Lei Xiaohua, Blind Man, Smiling Buddha, and Agui. They respectfully greet him as boss. Wang Han tells them it is time to go in, and they follow him into the hotel. Just as Wang Han's group enters, a white luxury car pulls up. Xiao Wanjing gets out, accompanied by an older man. As she steps out, she catches a glimpse of Wang Han's back and thinks he looks incredibly familiar. Her companion asks her what is wrong, but she quickly dismisses it, telling him it's nothing, and she must have been mistaken. Inside, a large, lavish banquet is in full swing. The host stands on a stage and welcomes his guests, thanking them for attending his rebirth celebration. The man, Zhou Feiyu, arrogantly boasts that he survived his recent near-death experience purely because he is lucky. To celebrate, he has a massive 9-layer cake wheeled out for his guests. However, the celebration is interrupted when a female reporter from the Jiangning Daily steps forward with a microphone. She asks Zhou Feiyu if he has any comment on the man who tragically lost his life while trying to save him. The question instantly enrages Zhou Feiyu. He furiously screams at his security, demanding to know who let a reporter into his private party. He orders his bodyguards to seize her, and they quickly grab the woman. As his men hold her, a furious Zhou Feiyu viciously kicks the reporter, screaming that he only survived because he was lucky and questioning what nonsense she was talking about. From the back of the room, Xiao Wanjing and her companion witness the entire shocking assault. They are both horrified by what they have just seen. Her companion remarks on how disgusting Zhou Feiyu is for hitting a reporter. He then warns Xiao Wanjing not to get involved, reminding her they are only there to make a brief appearance, as her grandfather had instructed. Continuing his assault, Zhou Feiyu stands over the fallen reporter, stepping on her as he dares her to speak again. Enraged, he prepares to deliver another brutal kick, vowing to kill her. However, just as he swings his leg, another foot shoots out and intercepts his attack with impossible speed. A powerful kick sends a shocked Zhou Feiyu flying across the ballroom floor. He lands in a heap and looks up to see Wang Han standing there, flanked by his 4 subordinates and surrounded by unconscious guards. Wang Han coldly asks him who he was planning to kick to death. From the crowd, Xiao Wanjing is overjoyed, realizing it really was her rescuer she had seen earlier. Struggling to his knees, a humiliated Zhou Feiyu glares at the intruders and furiously orders his remaining men to kill them. The last of his bodyguards charge forward, yelling at the newcomers for daring to cause trouble on Zhou family territory. The ensuing fight is brutally one-sided. Wang Han's men move with incredible skill, easily dispatching the guards with a series of powerful kicks and strikes. With all of Zhou Feiyu's men defeated, Wang Han and his crew stand calmly amidst the chaos. A terrified Zhou Feiyu stammers, asking who they are. Wang Han calmly pulls up a chair and lights a cigarette, finally revealing his motive. He explains his brother was Iron Head, the very person who had sacrificed his own life to save Zhou Feiyu. He states that his group saves people without asking for anything in return. As he sits and takes a drag from his cigarette, he delivers his final, chilling statement. He is very unhappy that Zhou Feiyu dared to call his heroic brother a scumbag. Despite being beaten, Zhou Feiyu remains arrogant. He screams that because he has power, his life is more valuable than anyone else's and calls for more guards. On cue, another wave of men in black suits rushes into the ballroom, armed with batons. Unimpressed, Wang Han remains seated and calmly gives Zhou Feiyu an ultimatum. He states all lives are equal and that if Zhou Feiyu goes to his brother's grave, kowtows 3 times, and issues a public apology, he will let the matter go. He warns that this is the only chance he will get. Zhou Feiyu furiously rejects the offer and orders his new guards to kill Wang Han and his men. But before the guards can act, Wang Han moves with incredible speed. He stands, grabs a chair, and tells Zhou Feiyu he refused his chance. With immense strength, Wang Han smashes the heavy object directly into Zhou Feiyu's face. The devastating blow sends Zhou Feiyu flying into the massive 9-layer cake. Covered in icing and spitting blood, he kneels on the floor, cursing in pain. Standing over him, Wang Han coldly informs him that his chance is now gone. He then delivers another vicious kick to Zhou Feiyu's face, knocking him out cold. Wang Han looks down at the unconscious man with contempt, remarking what kind of trash would dare to be so arrogant. Just then, 2 imposing older men enter the room. One is identified as Zhou Xingwei. The beaten Zhou Feiyu recognizes the man as his father and desperately cries out for him to save him. Enraged, Zhou Xingwei points at Wang Han and furiously orders his companion, Old Song, to kill them all. The man agrees without hesitation. From the crowd, Xiao Wanjing's companion recognizes the new threat. He warns her that Old Song is a little grandmaster, a powerful martial artist, and that her friend is in grave danger. Panicked, Xia Wanjing pleads with her companion, Uncle Wu, to help Wang Han, reminding him that he saved her life. The martial artist, Old Song, leaps into action, calling Wang Han an arrogant junior as he lunges with a powerful glowing punch. However, before his attack can land, it is intercepted. Another hand firmly grabs his fist, stopping his momentum completely. Old Song is shocked to see his attack nullified so easily. The person who stopped him is Wang Han's subordinate, Smiling Buddha. With a calm expression, Wang Han tells his man he can play with the martial artist for a while. Smiling Buddha then unleashes a devastating attack, grabbing Old Song by the head and brutally slamming him face first into the ballroom floor. A stunned Zhou Xingwei can only watch in disbelief as his powerful bodyguard is defeated in seconds. The beaten Old Song struggles to his knees and recognizes the martial arts technique used against him, identifying it as the diamond palm of the ancient and powerful Gu family from Hong Kong. Realizing he is confronting a group with a formidable background, Zhou Xinghuai's arrogance vanishes. He becomes polite, suggesting that since they are friends from Hong Kong, they should negotiate a peaceful resolution. However, Wang Han is unmoved. He coldly reminds the older man that he already stated his demands and his son rejected them. Trying a different tactic, Zhou Xinghuai makes an insulting offer. He says he learned the deceased brother was just a simple car mechanic and offers 1 million yuan to settle the matter. This offer enrages Wang Han. He explodes with fury, kicking and shattering the chair he was sitting on. He screams that his brother's life is priceless and cannot be bought for 1 million yuan. He gets in Zhou Xinghuai's face, angrily questioning how much money the Zhou family could possibly have to dare act so arrogantly. Zhou Xinghuai laughs dismissively, stating the Zhou family has more than enough money and that buying a mechanic's life is a trivial expense. In response, Wang Han makes a bold threat, asking if he would believe that he could make the entire Zhou family go bankrupt right now. Zhou Xinghuai and his son find this hilarious and mock him. Unfazed, Wang Han calmly instructs his subordinate, Lei Xiaohua, to make a phone call. On the phone, Lei Xiaohua gives a single, chilling order. All of the Zhou family's businesses in Jiangning City are to be immediately shut down. Still completely unaware of the power he is facing, Zhou Xinghuai continues to laugh, assuming the young men are just putting on an act. Just as Zhou Xinghuai is laughing at the threat, his panicked assistant rushes in, shouting that something is wrong. The assistant whispers urgently that all their partners have terminated cooperation and their factories have been ordered to stop. He reveals the South China Lei clan, a family wealthy enough to rival nations, is behind the attack. Hearing this, Lei Xiaohua steps forward. He adjusts his glasses, winks playfully, and confirms that he is indeed Lei Xiaohua of the Lei clan. Realizing the immense power he has offended, Zhou Xinghuai's attitude instantly changes. He begins sweating and fawns over Lei Xiaohua, apologizing profusely for not recognizing him. Desperate to save himself, Zhou Xinghuai forces his son, Zhou Feiyu, to his knees. He begs Wang Han and his group for forgiveness, claiming it was all a misunderstanding. However, Wang Han isn't interested in excuses. He steps firmly on Zhou Feiyu's back, pinning him down. Terrified, Zhou Feiyu screams for his father to save him and call his second uncle for help. Zhou Xinghuai tries to negotiate one last time. He admits they were wrong, but suggests they compromise. He then plays his trump card, mentioning his younger brother holds a high position in the military and that tearing each other down would be bad for everyone. Wang Han remains calm, noting the military connection. He turns to his subordinate, Blind Man, and orders him to make a phone call. Blind Man immediately dials a number and orders an investigation into the Zhou family in Jiangning. Having made his move, Wang Han announces he is taking Zhou Feiyu with him. He challenges the Zhou family to come find him if they dare and walks away, leaving his men to drag the screaming Zhou Feiyu out. As he is dragged away, Zhou Feiyu frantically begs his father to call his uncle. Zhou Xinghuai promises to do so. Moments later, Zhou Xinghuai's phone rings. Seeing it is his brother, he smirks confidently, believing his military connection has saved them. He answers the phone, addressing his second brother, but is immediately cut off. On the other end, his brother is furious. He screams at Zhou Xinghuai, asking if he has a death wish. He reveals that Zhou Feiyu has offended a major figure in the Beijing military. The brother shouts that because of this, he is being suspended and investigated. Zhou Xinghuai stands in shock, realizing their last hope is gone and they are ruined. The scene shifts to a solemn cemetery. Wang Han and his group stand before a tombstone engraved with the name Iron Head. Wang Han orders Zhou Feiyu to kneel before the grave. Wang Han steps onto the stone platform and places his foot on Zhou Feiyu's head. Zhou Feiyu tries to resist, warning them that killing is a crime. Wang Han ignores him and stomps down hard, ordering him to kowtow and apologize to his brother. The force of the stomp smashes Zhou Feiyu's face into the ground. Finally, Wang Han, Lei Xiaohua, Blind Man, Smiling Buddha, and Agui stand in a row, holding incense and cigarettes in quiet prayer. In front of them, Zhou Feiyu remains forced into a deep kowtow. Wang Han speaks softly to the grave, telling Ironhead they brought the boy to apologize and asking his brother to visit him in his dreams if he needs anything. While Wang Han and his group are leaving in the distance, bidding farewell to their fallen brother, Su Qi arrives carrying a bouquet of flowers. She walks past them without noticing Wang Han, announcing to her late grandmother that she has come to visit. Su Qi kneels before her grandmother's tombstone. With a melancholic expression, she updates her on her life, confessing that she has married and is pregnant. She admits the father is a delivery guy, and her family disapproves, but she is determined to give birth to the child. Holding a jar of canned fruit, Su Qi continues to vent. She tells her grandmother she doesn't want the child's father to be a hypocrite. She complains that he hired actors to pretend he was a wealthy young master, agreeing with her grandmother's old saying that men are no good. However, she tries to lighten the mood, mentioning she met a noble person who helped her secure the project, unaware this was Wang Han. She places the jar of fruit and biscuits on the altar, telling her grandmother she bought her favorite snacks. Suddenly, a heavy rain begins to fall. Su Qi stands and apologizes to her grandmother, saying she needs to leave because of the weather, but promises to return. She walks towards the road where a black car is waiting. A voice calls out to eldest miss to get in quickly, and she agrees. Inside the car, Su Qi sits in the back, with her best friend, Lin Shuifu. In the front, Lin Jingpeng complains about the rain and orders the driver to speed up. He turns to Su Qi, demanding she be more polite since he is her cousin. Suddenly, the car screeches to a halt as they are cut off by a massive convoy of vehicles. Furious, Lin Jingpeng shouts, asking what reckless person dares to block his car. In the back, Lin Shuifu notices the luxury vehicles and remarks on them. Outside, a fleet of expensive black cars has stopped. Bodyguards in suits rush out with umbrellas. They run towards a man walking in the rain, respectfully addressing him as young master and shielding him from the downpour. The man is Wang Han. He walks with his core group, Lei Xiaohua, Blind Man, and the others. Wang Han instructs Lei Xiaohua that since Ironhead's wife died early and left behind a daughter, they need to make arrangements to take care of the girl. Lei Xiaohua immediately agrees. Back in the other car, Lin Jingpeng looks out, wondering which underworld boss has come to sweep a grave with such fanfare. However, Lin Shuifu spots something shocking. She points out the window and urgently tells Su Qi to look, asking if that man isn't Wang Han. Su Qi looks through the rain-streaked window, her expression turning to total confusion. She recognizes him but can't understand why her delivery guy husband is surrounded by such power and respect. Lei Xiaohua respectfully opens the car door for Wang Han amidst the pouring rain. Inside the blocked car, Lin Shuifu points out the window, asking Su Qi if she sees who is opening the door for Wang Han. In the front seat, Lin Jingpeng is visibly shocked and sweating. He stammers that the man serving Wang Han looks like Lei Xiaohua, the crown prince of the powerful South China Lei clan. The cars eventually separate and drive through the rain. Inside his vehicle, Wang Han instructs his team to go to Ironhead's house first. Meanwhile, in the other car, Lin Shuifu rationalizes it must have been a mistake, questioning why the Lei heir would open a door for a delivery guy. She suggests Su Qi call him to check. Su Qi, looking annoyed, refuses to call, believing there is no possibility that what they saw was real. The group in Lin Jingpeng's car decides the heavy rain caused a visual error and agrees to head back. Lin Shuifu then asks Lin Jingpeng about meeting the mysterious big shot. Lin Jingpeng regains his composure and smugly flashes an OK sign, assuring them everything is arranged. He promises to take Su Qi to meet the important figure the day after tomorrow. The scene shifts to a humbler part of the city. An elderly bald man is sleeping on a bench as Wang Han's luxury car pulls up. Wang Han and his 4 subordinates step out, confirming this is the location. Wang Han approaches the sleeping man, wakes him, and politely asks if this is Ironhead's home. The old man is confused by the nickname Ironhead. Wang Han clarifies he is looking for a man named Chen Qiang. Realizing who they mean, the old man points to room 326 on the 3rd floor. He cynically asks if they are there to divide up his property or see his daughter, but Wang Han assures him they are just friends. As Wang Han's men enter the building, the old man sits back down, muttering sadly. He laments that Zi was a good man who died young and reveals his house has been seized by his greedy cousin and cousin-in-law. Wang Han's group walks down the apartment hallway and sees a small child squatting on the floor alone. Lei Xiaohua is disgusted that someone would seize Ironhead's property. Wang Han approaches the little girl and gently asks if this is Chen Chang's home. The girl, who has a visible bruise on her face, looks up timidly and says her father isn't home and has gone to a faraway place. Lei Xiaohua is shocked to realize this neglected child is Ironhead's daughter. Wang Han pats her head and asks why she isn't inside. The girl sadly explains that her eldest uncle and aunt won't let her live inside. She points to a cardboard box in the hallway, revealing her aunt told her the box is her home now. Hearing this, Lei Xiaohua becomes furious, cursing the relatives for making a child live in a doghouse. Enraged, he kicks the apartment door open. Inside, a heavyset man and a woman enjoying a luxurious feast are startled by the intrusion. The fat man bangs his fist on the table and demands to know who they are. Wang Han's group stands in the doorway with the little girl, looking at the couple with contempt. Wang Han asks when this became their home. The fat man points at Wang Han, yelling the house is his now, and threatens to call the police if they don't leave. Wang Han calls the man a beast and delivers a crushing knee strike to his stomach. The blow sends the man flying backward, crashing into the dining table and scattering the food, while the woman screams. Wang Han calmly holds the girl's hand to protect her and orders Maitreya, Smiling Buddha, to teach them a lesson. Smiling Buddha and Agui step forward with menacing grins, cracking their knuckles. Smiling Buddha unleashes a powerful punch on the fat man, who screams for his life. After the beating, the relatives plead for mercy, admitting their mistakes. Wang Han ignores them and turns to the child, gently asking her name. She looks up at him and replies that her name is Guoguo. Lei Xiaohua expresses his concern to Wang Han, stating that Guoguo is pitiful and might be abused to death if left in that house. Wang Han bends down and kindly asks Guoguo if she would like to come and live with him and his uncles. The little girl quietly agrees. Wang Han then suggests that Lei Xiaohua should be the one to raise her. Lei Xiaohua panics and refuses, exclaiming he is good at killing but has no idea how to care for a child. He insists that since the child feels close to Wang Han, he should do it. Wang Han looks hesitant, but Guoguo tugs at his jacket with puppy dog eyes. Lei Xiaohua pushes the issue, arguing that since Wang Han is married, he will have to raise a child eventually anyway. He encourages the girl to call Wang Han Godfather. Guoguo immediately hugs Wang Han and happily calls him Godfather. Wang Han is speechless, thinking to himself that he has become a father only a few days after getting married. The next day at a modern apartment building, Wang Han, wearing an apron, serves breakfast to Guoguo. He tells her to eat plenty because he will take her to school afterward. While they eat, Wang Han takes a picture of the food. He sends the photo to Su Qi, messaging, "Child's mother, come home for dinner." Su Qi replies coldly, "Not eating." He offers to bring her food, but she refuses again, texting him not to look for her until their child is born because she is very busy. Wang Han sighs, remarking on her temper. Guoguo then announces she has finished eating. Wang Han smiles and says he will change and take her to school. They arrive at a prestigious-looking school campus. In the hallway, Wang Han explains to Guoguo that Uncle Lei arranged this school for her, noting it is the best in the district, and tells her to study hard. They enter an office where a man greets them, welcoming Mr. Wang. The man introduces himself as Principal Duan and the female teacher next to him as Teacher Jia. The teacher turns around and is revealed to be Jia Wanjing, the woman Wang Han rescued previously. She looks shocked to see him. Wang Han is surprised the teacher is Xia Wanjing, the woman he saved. Xia Wanjing is delighted to see her savior again, exclaiming that it really is him. Wang Han realizes she is a teacher there. Xia Wanjing then notices the little girl next to him and asks if she is his daughter. Wang Han gently pats Guoguo's head and confirms she is his daughter. Principal Duan, observing them, remarks with surprise that Mr. Wang already has a daughter. He suggests that since Mr. Wang and teacher Xia know each other, she should take the child to the classroom. Xia Wanjing agrees. Wang Han tells Xia Wanjing he is leaving Guoguo in her care as he has to work. Xia Wanjing assures him he can rest easy. As they walk down the hallway, Wang Han waves goodbye. Guoguo waves back, calling out, "Goodbye, Godfather," while Xia Wanjing smiles. Wang Han turns back with a warm smile and promises Guoguo he will pick her up after school. Once Wang Han has left, Xia Wanjing asks Guoguo if he is not her biological father. Guoguo explains he is her godfather because her real father went to heaven and won't be coming back. Understanding, Xia Wanjing realizes the truth. She tells Guoguo she is a good girl and leads her to class. Outside, Wang Han sits on his red motorcycle and lights a cigarette. He reflects that after a busy morning, being a father isn't as easy as it seems. Suddenly, his phone rings. He answers politely, but a woman on the other end aggressively calls him a bastard and asks if he has missed her. Wang Han is shocked. He addresses the woman as eldest princess and asks how she got this number. On the other end, a red-haired woman smokes a cigarette and tells him that since he is being stubborn, she needs to come and soften him. She announces she will be in Jiangning City tomorrow to find him. Wang Han tries to stop her, stating he is married, and his wife would be very unhappy if she came. Furious, Wang Han yells into the phone about her threats to interfere with his life. Before he can finish, she hangs up on him, leaving him sweating and muttering in frustration. The next morning, Wang Han drops his adopted daughter, Guogu, off at school. As he walks away, he decides to warn Su Qi about the eldest princess arrival, not wanting to agitate her during her pregnancy. He texts her that if a woman with a ponytail looks for him, she should ignore her. Su Qi skeptically asks if he hired another actor. Wang Han tells her to treat it as an act if she wants. Sitting on his red motorcycle, Wang Han lights a cigarette, sighing that women are difficult to handle. He checks his schedule and realizes a delivery is about to be overdue, so he speeds off. By noon, his route takes him to a wealthy district where he stops in front of a massive, European-style mansion. Looking up at the impressive architecture, he casually notes that it is quite a mansion. He rings the doorbell, announcing the food delivery. The door opens, and both are stunned to see each other. It's his wife, Su Qi. Sweating, Wang Han forces an awkward smile and remarks on the coincidence. Inside the house, where a social gathering is taking place, a woman in a blue dress asks Su Qi who the man at the door was. Su Qi, trying to protect her reputation, replies that he is just a delivery guy. Wang Han hands the food to the woman. When she asks if he and Su Qi know each other, Wang Han quickly lies, claiming they were junior high classmates. This lie immediately backfires. The woman, Huo Xitong, is confused, thinking to herself that she was also Su Qi's junior high classmate, yet has no memory of this man. Wang Han invents a fake identity, Zhang Wei, claiming he had a low presence in school, which is why Huo Xitong doesn't remember him. However, a man in a suit scoffs, remarking that he doesn't recall any classmate named Zhang Wei either. The man looks at Wang Han with disdain, questioning how a former classmate of theirs could end up delivering food. The arrogant man turns to Su Qi, asking why a big boss like her would associate with a delivery guy. He lectures her, stating that the gap between social elites and the bottom of society is too wide, and knowing this kind of person will only bring trouble. To humiliate Wang Han, the man pulls out his wallet and hands him 200 yuan as a tip, treating him like a beggar. Suppressing his anger, Wang Han takes the money while the man demands to know why he hasn't left. Wang Han forces a smile and thanks the boss. Suddenly, a voice calls out, asking if the pizza has arrived. The arrogant man's face changes to a fawning smile as he addresses his goddess Wan Ying. However, the woman, who turns out to be Xia Wanjing, ignores him and looks at the delivery man in surprise. She exclaims, "Big brother Wang, it's really you," leaving the arrogant man confused. Wang Han greets teacher Xia awkwardly. Xia Wanjing excitedly explains to the shocked group that she knows him and that he is her savior. She enthusiastically grabs Wang Han's arm and invites him inside, while Su Qi watches with a complicated expression. Wang Han tries to decline, saying he has more deliveries. The arrogant man interjects again, rudely asking why they should delay a delivery guy. This angers Xia Wanjing, who snaps back at him. Wang Han uses the moment to excuse himself and walks away. Xia Wanjing chases after him, asking for a ride since she didn't drive. The arrogant man rushes to offer his Porsche instead, claiming Wang Han's bike is too dangerous. In the doorway, Su Qi stands silently, watching her husband get attention from the beautiful teacher. Wang Han glances at Su Qi, who turns her head away coldly. "If you want to give her a ride, just do it," she says, "and don't look at me for approval." Outside, Xia Wanjing gets on the back of Wang Han's motorcycle and tells Su Qi and Huo Xitong she needs to return to work. With them gone, the arrogant man, Yuan Bo, turns to Su Qi with a bright smile, inviting his goddess Su inside to eat. However, Su Qi completely shuts him down. With a flushed, annoyed expression, she lies that she has an urgent matter at her company and leaves immediately. Yuan Bo is left stunned as she walks away, coldly rejecting his offer to drive her. Meanwhile, on the road, Wang Han speeds through the city with Xia Wanjing holding on to him. He asks if he is driving too fast. Xia Wanjing, leaning her head against his back with a shy blush, softly replies that it isn't too fast and feels nice. Their moment is interrupted when a red sports car aggressively swerves in front of them, forcing Wang Han to brake hard. It is Su Qi, She rolls down the window and firmly tells Xia Wanjing to get into her car. Realizing he shouldn't provoke his pregnant wife, Wang Han quickly agrees. He lies to Xia Wanjing, claiming he suddenly has other business and suggests she go with Su Qi. Before getting in the car, Xia Wanjing thanks Wang Han again and asks if he is free on the weekend so she can treat him to a meal. He nervously stammers that he has to work. When she presses him, he vaguely replies that they can arrange it later and excuses himself to deliver more food. Wang Han speeds away on his motorcycle while Xia Wanjing waves goodbye. As he drives off, leaving the two women behind, Wang Han breaks into a sweat, thinking to himself that dealing with women is truly too difficult. Later that same day, Wang Han walks Guo Guo home through the apartment complex. He holds her hand and asks if she is hungry, saying he will cook once they get inside. Guo Guo happily says she loves the food her dad makes. When they open the door, Wang Han freezes. A pair of women's high heels sit on the floor. Guo Guo points at them. Steam drifts from the bathroom, showing someone just showered. Suddenly, the door opens, and a woman in only a white towel steps out. It is the eldest princess, Jiang Tang. She looks at Wang Han with a teasing smile and says, "Darling, why are you back so late?" Wang Han panics, covers Guo Guo's eyes, and yells at Jiang Tang to get dressed. She stays calm and jokes that he has seen it all before. Wang Han reminds her there is a child here. Jiang Tang finally notices the girl and asks who she is. Still covering Guo Guo's eyes, Wang Han says she is his daughter. He uses this to remind Jiang Tang that he told her he was married, but she never believed him. Jiang Tang sits on the sofa, crosses her legs, and brushes off his anger. She pets Guo Guo's head and playfully says, "Come, call me mom." This pushes Wang Han over the edge. He yells, asking what nonsense she is saying. She stays calm. Jiang Tang then leans close to Guo Guo and says that since that bastard is her dad and she is his wife, she must be her mom. Knowing he can't argue in front of the child, Wang Han gives Guo Guo her backpack and gently tells her to go to her room and do homework. As she leaves, the tension rises between him and Jiang Tang. The situation gets worse. While Wang Han scolds her, Jiang Tang suddenly grabs him by the crotch and calls him a bastard for marrying behind her back. Wang Han jumps away, yelling at her to watch it. Jiang Tang then kicks at his head, asking if he missed her. Red with anger and embarrassment, Wang Han shouts at her to put clothes on. She sits again, crossing her legs, saying he dared to marry another woman and that she will deal with him later. He covers his face and hands her a jacket, begging her to stop and reminding her he is married. Jiang Tang puts on the jacket and lights a cigarette. She says she already checked his background and knows he married Su Qi because of the pregnancy. She adds that if she had known he would marry for a child, she would have given him one herself. Trying to change the topic, Wang Han asks how long she plans to stay in Jiangning. Jiang Tang says she is here for two things, to find him and to discuss a business deal with Lin Suifu. Wang Han feels a bit relieved. At least she is not looking for Su Qi or his wife would go crazy. He tells her he knows the woman she wants to meet. But Jiang Tang keeps teasing. She corners him near the wine cabinet and touches his face. She asks why he acts like a monk around her when he clearly can't control himself around other women. She mocks him for becoming a stay-at-home dad. She moves toward him again, making Wang Han flinch as he asks what she is doing now. She keeps stroking his face. The moment is broken when Guo Guo runs in, saying she is hungry. Wang Han grabs the chance to escape. He tells Jiang Tang to stop and that they should eat. Guo Guo giggles and covers her eyes. Wang Han changes into a suit, takes Guo Guo's hand, and calls back to Jiang Tang that if she doesn't come, they'll leave without her. Left alone, Jiang Tang blushes and touches her lips, whispering that this smelly man will be hers sooner or later. The scene moves to a high-end commercial building. The three walk through the lobby with a waiter. Guo Guo thanks Auntie Jiang for the meal. Jiang Tang stops her and says she should call her godmother. The girl agrees happily. They enter a VIP dining room. Jiang Tang says it is fine. She then makes a teasing comment about being a godmother, making Wang Han scold her for talking nonsense in front of the child. In the hallway, a waiter greets new guests. Among them is Su Lei, Su Qi's brother, speaking to Qin Lei, the eldest young master of the Qin family. Inside their private room, Qin Lei says he still cannot find who took the project from the Qin family, only that they are tied to Lin Qingyun. They talk about Su Qi. Qin Lei heard she now controls the project. Su Lei complains that she planned this for a long time and kept them from interfering. Qin Lei then suggests a dirty plan. Since Su Qi married a delivery man, they should use the media to smear her reputation so they can steal the project back. Su Lei loves the idea. Qin Lei then notices someone walking past their door. He turns, shocked, saying the man looks like the one who bid against him at the auction. Su Lei checks and sees it is the delivery guy, Su Qi's husband. Confused why he is here, Su Lei decides to look. He peeks into Wang Han's room and sees him eating with a beautiful woman and a child. They look like a happy family as Wang Han and Zhang Tang feed Guogu chicken legs. Sule hides and smirks, thinking he has found perfect dirt to use against Su Qi. Later that evening, the three leave the restaurant. Zhang Tang asks Guogu if she is happy, and the girl thanks her godmother. Meanwhile, outside Wang Han's apartment, Su Qi waits quietly, thinking he is not home. Then the elevator opens and Wang Han appears with Zhang Tang and Guogu, telling the girl to do her homework. They run right into each other. Su Qi freezes, stunned to see her husband with the same beautiful woman, while Wang Han realizes he has been caught in a terrible moment. The tension is palpable outside Wang Han's apartment. Zhang Tang steps forward and directly confronts Su Qi, confidently asking if she is Su Qi. Zhang Tang shyly introduces herself as Wang Han's companion. Seeing the disaster about to unfold, a visibly nervous Wang Han jumps in immediately, awkwardly explaining that Zhang Tang is his aunt's daughter, his cousin, and that she's only in Jiangning on business. Not believing a word and feeling betrayed, Su Qi turns around coldly, saying she was only passing by and has other matters to attend to. She starts walking away, leaving Wang Han and Zhang Tang behind. Desperate to stop her, Wang Han suggests she at least stay for a meal before leaving. Enjoying the chaos, Zhang Tang pours fuel on the fire. With her arms crossed and a mocking smile, she asks why, if they're husband and wife, they don't live together, openly doubting their relationship. Provoked, Su Qi stops and spins around, furious. With newfound resolve, she orders Wang Han to open the door. She has decided to stay for dinner. Pleased, Zhang Tang backs her up immediately. Trapped between the two women staring daggers at him, Wang Han feels incredibly stressed, thinking to himself that having them both in the same place is a battlefield. Once inside, trying to escape the tension, Wang Han announces he'll go to the kitchen to cook. Sensing the atmosphere, Guogu says she'll go to her room to do her homework, leaving Su Qi and Zhang Tang alone in the living room. Standing, Su Qi asks Zhang Tang, who is comfortably sitting on the sofa, since when Wang Han knows how to cook. Internally, Su Qi remembers he once promised to cook for her, realizing he had been telling the truth. Out loud, Zhang Tang declares that she also wants to try his cooking. From the kitchen, Wang Han shouts that she just ate a ton and should not be hungry. Zhang Tang switches to a coquettish tone, blushing and whining that she's hungry again. Exasperated, Wang Han yells at her to act normally. Maintaining her cold composure, Su Qi approaches Zhang Tang and offers her a bottle of water, referring to her sarcastically as Wang Han's cousin, and commenting that she must be thirsty after eating so much. The two women exchange a hostile stare. Su Qi thinks that based on Zhang Tang's looks, she should be calling Su Qi older sister, but Zhang Tang cuts her off first, remarking with a hint of malice that Su Qi does not look older than her at all. Zhang Tang returns to her playful attitude and shouts toward the kitchen, calling Wang Han "Big Brother" and asking when the food will be ready. He replies impatiently that it will be done soon. Wang Han comes out of the kitchen with a bowl of freshly made noodles, announcing that dinner is ready. He sets the steaming bowl in front of Su Qi, who looks at it with a softened expression, clearly impressed by the gesture and the appearance of the dish. Seeing this, Zhang Tang immediately makes her move. Acting cute, she asks him to make noodles for her too, calling him "Big Brother." Annoyed, Wang Han snaps at her to shut up. Su Qi ignores their argument and starts eating. After the first bite, she seems pleased and tells Wang Han the flavor is really good and his cooking skills have improved. Then, in an unexpected gesture of truce, she tells him to go prepare a bowl for Zhang Tang as well, but to bring her the vinegar first, reminding him that pregnant women often crave sour foods. Wang Han nods and goes to get it. While his back is turned, Zhang Tang tells Su Qi she could eat any amount of noodles he makes for her. At that moment, Guogu walks into the room holding a book. Cheerfully, the girl announces she's finished her homework and asks if she can read a storybook. Seeing an opportunity to take the lead again, Zhang Tang calls Guogu over, telling her to come to Mommy, saying she'll read her a story. Guogu approaches and politely thanks her, calling her Aunt Zhang, but Zhang Tang corrects her immediately, insisting she call her Mom. Stroking her hair, she promises to buy her candy if she does, but the girl hesitates and calls her Aunt Zhang again. Intervening calmly, Su Qi asks her cousin not to make things difficult for the girl. Then she calls Guogu over to her. With a gentle yet firm look, she asks the child to call her Mom. Guogu goes silent, completely confused between the two women. Instinctively, she turns to look at Wang Han, who gives her a subtle nod, granting her permission. With her godfather's approval, Guogu turns to Su Qi and in a clear little voice calls her Mom. Su Qi, visibly delighted, tells her she is a good girl and says she'll take her to the room to read her a story. As they walk away, Su Qi bids farewell to Zhang Tang, telling her to take her time eating, and leaves. With Su Qi and Guogu gone, Wang Han and Zhang Tang are left alone at the table. Wang Han serves her the bowl of noodles he promised, telling her to eat. Despite her obvious frustration at losing the small battle for Guogo's affection, she agrees and begins eating. While she eats, Wang Han lights a cigarette and asks if she's not planning to sleep soon since it's getting late. Without looking at him, Zhang Tong says she'll sleep on the sofa and he can use the other room. She provokes him again, curiously asking why they don't sleep together if they're supposedly married. Visibly irritated, Wang Han sits down and tells her she talks too much, urging her to finish eating and go to bed. Right then, Suchi appears at the bedroom door and orders Wang Han to come in and sleep. He obeys without hesitation. From the table, Zhang Tong watches in disbelief, muttering to herself that she has never seen him be so obedient to anyone. The next morning, sunlight shines over the apartment building. Out on the balcony, Wang Han is in the middle of an intense workout, doing one-handed handstand push-ups. Suchi steps outside and watches him with her arms crossed. Finishing a rep, he notices she's awake and tells her breakfast is on the table. However, she refuses, saying she won't eat because she has to go straight to the office for the project preparations. Wang Han offers to take her, but she coldly refuses, telling him his priority should be taking Guogo to school. He insists, asking if he can pick her up at night, but she declines again without even looking at him before leaving. As he watches her go, Wang Han smiles to himself, thinking his wife definitely has a strong personality. Meanwhile, Suchi is driving to work when she receives an urgent call. She's hit with two disastrous pieces of news. Someone has paid unscrupulous media outlets to smear her, and as a result, her project has been shut down by the authorities. Shocked, she asks how the project could be halted. The person on the phone tells her to check the news link they just sent. The article is a media bomb. The headline accuses the Su family heiress of being the mistress in a relationship with a delivery man. To support the lie, the article shows two key photos. One of her with Wang Han and another from the previous night's dinner, where Wang Han, Zhang Tong, and Guogo look like a happy family, with Zhang Tong feeding the child. Furious and confused, Suchi wonders who on earth could be behind such a malicious attack. Meanwhile, back in the apartment, Zhang Tong has just seen the news on her phone. She jumps up and yells at Wang Han, who is calmly eating breakfast, that his wife is in trouble. Wang Han, not understanding, defensively replies that she shouldn't talk nonsense. Zhang Tong then reveals that his wife is the one in trouble. With a smug grin, she tells him that if he doesn't believe her, he should see for himself. Wang Han grabs the phone, and the moment he sees the defamatory article and photos, his expression hardens. Cursing, he grows furious that someone dared to mess with him and his family. Without hesitating, he makes a call and tells Wenlong he needs a favor. The scene shifts to a luxurious hotel room. Su Lei is in bed with a purple-haired woman, clearly celebrating something. The woman asks why he's so happy. He smugly replies that of course it's good news and that he feels amazing. Leaning over her, he explains that since that bitch, Su Qi, is about to lose control of the company, they should celebrate together. Right then, the door bursts open with a violent kick, startling Su Lei. Wenlong and two of his men step inside, their expressions cold and imposing. Su Lei's arrogance vanishes instantly, replaced by sheer terror as he recognizes the new leader of the Black Dragon Society. Stammering, he asks why Boss Wen is there. Wenlong calmly orders him to get dressed because someone wants to see him. Still confused, Su Lei asks who would want to see him so urgently. Losing patience, Wenlong roars at him to get dressed and stop asking stupid questions. Moments later, Wenlong and his men escort a fully dressed Su Lei to the door. Wang Han is waiting outside with a cold expression. Wenlong informs him that the man has been captured. Su Lei looks at the person who orchestrated his capture and is stunned when he recognizes his brother-in-law. Recovering from the shock, his fear turns into rage. He yells at Wang Han, calling him an idiot and asking why he's there instead of delivering food. With pure contempt, he demands to know what Wang Han is doing in his room. Without saying a word, Wang Han answers Su Lei's insolence with immediate and brutal action. He grabs a vase nearby and smashes it straight into Su Lei's face, shattering it on impact. Su Lei stumbles back, blood dripping from the cuts, shouting in disbelief and fury, asking Wang Han if he has a death wish for daring to touch him. Before he can recover, Wang Han slaps him with full force, sending him flying backward until he crashes onto the floor. But the beating isn't over. Wang Han walks up to the injured Su Lei and yanks him off the ground by the collar. Face inches from his, he roars, asking if this is how he treats his own sister, Su Qi. With a sneer, Su Lei replies that that bitch doesn't deserve to be his sister. That answer unleashes a terrifying rage in Wang Han. His eyes glow with a deep red as he clenches his fist, calling Su Lei a heartless creature and questioning whether he even deserves to be called human. He then delivers a devastating punch that knocks Su Lei unconscious. Despite the beating, Sule tries one last desperate move. He drops to his knees, not to beg Wang Han, but Wenlong. He offers him double whatever he was paid to kill Wang Han for him. This insolence infuriates Wenlong. Screaming at Sule for disrespecting his boss, he kicks him brutally in the face, proving his unshakable loyalty and crushing any remaining resistance. With Sule broken on the floor, Wenlong turns to Wang Han and asks what they should do with him. With calm indifference, Wang Han gives his orders. Sule must contact every shady media outlet he hired, make them delete all the fake news immediately, and issue a public statement explaining the truth. Wenlong crouches down, grabs the trembling Sule by the hair, and warns him that he heard the orders and better do exactly what he's told. Even in his state, Sule still doesn't give up and begs Wenlong again to kill that delivery boy for him. Fed up with his insolence, Wenlong punches him again, yelling that he doesn't want to hear another word and that he should rethink what he's saying. At last, Sule's spirit breaks. Sitting on the floor, he raises his hand in surrender and begs them to stop hitting him. He promises to make the media back off immediately and issue the required clarification. Satisfied, Wenlong crouches in front of him with a mocking smile, commenting how much easier things would have been if he had been this obedient from the start. The scene moves to the towering headquarters of the Su Group. Inside her office, Su Qi receives bad news from an assistant. The woman tells her that the media claim they'll delete the articles only if they're paid 800,000. Outraged, Su Qi shouts that it's daylight robbery. At that moment, the door bursts open and her father, Su Jianye, enters with her grandfather. Furious, the grandfather yells that he can believe she did something like this, accusing her of dragging the family's honor through the mud. Su Qi tries to defend herself, insisting that things are not the way they look, but they ignore her. Her grandfather outright calls her the other woman, who breaks up families, while Su Jianye adds that he already called chairwoman Liu Yue, who is on her way to handle the matter. Su Qi jumps to her feet, insisting she knows perfectly well she isn't a homewrecker and someone must have framed her. Her grandfather ignores her, pointing his cane at her and ordering her to fix the problem immediately, no matter what it takes. That's when Su Jianye reveals his true intention. He tells her there is a way to solve the scandal. They can handle everything, but the condition is that she gives up her authority and control over the project. Su Qi realizes this was their goal all along. Su Jianye adds disdainfully that the project should have been theirs from the start, and she only got it by pure luck, so she should learn her place. Even under intense pressure, Su Qi refuses to yield. Firmly, she tells them they can forget about taking her power. She has a clear conscience, and the truth will come out. Enraged by her defiance, her grandfather strikes the floor with his cane. He tells her she's too young and naive if she thinks Chairwoman Liu would trust such an important project to someone whose reputation is in ruins. He gives her an ultimatum, saying this concerns the Su family's honor, and she has no choice but to hand over the authority, whether she likes it or not. The heated family conflict is interrupted by a knock on the door. It's Liu Yue, Wang Han's assistant, entering with a professional air. Su Jianye and her father immediately drop their aggressive posture and switch to a servile one, respectfully greeting Chairwoman Liu as she approaches. Seizing the chance, Su Jianye apologizes profusely on behalf of the family, lamenting the shameful scandal. Behind him, a distressed Su Qi speaks up, promising Liu Yue she'll find a way to quickly resolve the negative press. Her grandfather mocks her promise, shouting and asking where she plans to get millions to silence the media. He demands she give up and hand over the project already, but Su Qi stands her ground and declares that she'll solve it, even if she has to take out a loan. Right then, Su Qi's assistant returns to the office. She hands her a tablet and reports that all the negative media articles have already been handled. Su Qi takes the tablet, completely confused. She can't believe what she's hearing and wonders how the problem disappeared so fast. Her father and grandfather are equally stunned. Checking their own phones, they confirm that every defamatory article has been deleted, leaving them in shock as they wonder who could possibly have enough power to intervene. Refusing to give up, the grandfather turns to Liu Yue, arguing that despite everything, Su Qi has proven to be a problem and shouldn't be trusted with such an important project. But Liu Yue firmly cuts him off. She turns around and makes it clear that her boss came to the Su family for the sole purpose of working with Su Qi, and the rest of them should stop trying to take that away. With the matter settled, Liu Yue announces she has other things to attend to and prepares to leave, ignoring the grandfather's attempts to stop her. Su Qi, still trying to process how quickly everything was resolved, calls out to her, asking her to wait. With the project settled, Su Qi stops Liu Yue as she is about to leave. Curious about the mysterious and powerful person who helped her, Su Qi asks if it would be possible to meet Liu Yue's boss. Liu Yue turns back with a polite but mysterious smile, explaining she cannot make that decision herself, as her boss's personality is unpredictable. After accepting the answer, Suchi watches as Liu Yue waves goodbye, leaving her alone with her defeated father and grandfather. As they turn to leave, her father, Su Jianye, warns her not to get complacent. Her grandfather adds with disgust that the family business is being ruined in her hands. Angered by their audacity, Suchi retorts that everyone knows who is truly destroying the family. Once they are gone, she sits down, still pondering who could have solved the media crisis so quickly. Just then, she looks at her phone, and her expression turns to shock. A news headline announces that the delivery man involved in the scandal has been fired from his job. The scene shifts to the food delivery center, where Wang Han pulls up on his red motorcycle, unaware of the news. He greets his co-workers and asks his heavier-set friend to borrow a power bank for his dead phone. His friend looks at him, stunned, and informs him that he is in the news. Wang Han casually dismisses it as boring gossip, but his co-worker bluntly tells him that he has been fired. Confident as ever, Wang Han scoffs, questioning who would possibly dare to fire him. At that moment, a man in a suit appears, whom the delivery men greet as the station chief. The man approaches Wang Han and, with a serious expression, informs him that due to the negative impact his affair has had on the company, they have decided to fire him. Wang Han argues back, stating that the news was fake and the media has already published clarifications, questioning the basis for their decision. The station chief tries to soften the blow, explaining he has no power to overturn a decision made by the main company. In a gesture of goodwill, he offers to help Wang Han find a new job, mentioning his cousin is a manager at a security company. The chief lights a cigarette for him and offers some advice, telling him that while it's normal for men to like beautiful, wealthy women, a man must ultimately rely on himself. He then hands Wang Han a business card for his cousin. A slightly stressed Wang Han accepts the card and thanks him. As Wang Han walks away, his co-workers say they will miss him but can't resist teasing him about his habit of bragging, advising him to tone it down at his new job. Wang Han just smiles, thanks his friends, and offers them a smoke. Just then, a woman's voice calls out, asking if anyone there is named Wang Han, surprising his co-worker. A moment later, Xia Wanjing appears. Pleased she has found him, Wang Han is surprised to see teacher Xia there. She explains his phone was off when she tried to call, so she had a friend find out where he worked. Wang Han asks if she needs something, his co-workers looking on with great interest. Xia Wanjing explains that her father wishes to see him, and since it is not a good place to talk, she asks if they can go somewhere else. Seeing as he was about to leave anyway, Wang Han agrees. As the two ride off on Wang Han's motorcycle, his former co-workers watch them go, speculating that the beautiful woman must be looking for him to be her kept man. Their gossip is interrupted when the station chief suddenly kicks the heavier-set man from behind, yelling at them to stop envying Wang Han and get back to work. Their attention is quickly diverted when a sleek black car pulls up. The two delivery men are confused, wondering why so many luxury cars have been showing up at their humble station recently. Jiang Tang steps out of the car, confidently asking them where she can find Wang Han. The two delivery men are completely mesmerized by the stunning woman who has just arrived, blushing as they ask what her relationship is to Wang Han. Jiang Tang coolly states that she is his wife and she is there to take him home. This revelation sends the delivery men into shock. They can't believe Wang Han now has another beautiful wife, exclaiming how impressive he is. Recovering slightly, the heavier-set man tells her that Wang Han just left with someone else and points her in the direction they went. With a look of annoyance, Jiang Tang crosses her arms and mutters to herself that the bastard is certainly fast at running away. Meanwhile, Wang Han is driving through the city on his motorcycle, with Xia Wanjing riding behind him. She gives him directions, telling him to turn left, up ahead. They soon arrive at an impressive, traditional building with a sign that reads, White Tiger Martial Arts Hall. Wang Han comments that the hall is quite large. As they walk into the courtyard, Xia Wanjing tells him that her father is upstairs. Inside, they are greeted by a muscular man in a white t-shirt who seems surprised to see Xia Wanjing. She addresses him as Senior Brother Kong and explains she has brought Big Brother Wang to see her father. The man looks at Wang Han and assumes he must be a new student. To avoid complications, Xia Wanjing quickly claims that Wang Han is not a student, but a new instructor her father has just hired. The man, Kang Hongzhe, scoffs at this, looking Wang Han over with disdain. He mocks his slender physique, telling Xia Wanjing she must be joking, and that this man couldn't withstand a single slap from him, questioning if her father's judgment is failing. Annoyed by his disrespect, Wang Han brushes the man's arm off his shoulder. Xia Wanjing tells her senior brother to watch his attitude and announces they are going to see her father now. Kang Hongzhe tries to block their path, claiming her father is busy with an important guest. He then attempts to charm her, offering 2 concert tickets. However, she flatly rejects him, stating she already has plans with Wang Han for the weekend. Taking the lead, Xiao Wanjing takes Wang Han's hand and firmly asks Kang Hongzhe to step aside. She leads him towards the stairs, leaving the muscular man staring after them with a furious expression. As they walk up the stairs, their hands remain intertwined. Left alone, Kang Hongzhe clenches his fist in a rage, vowing to tear apart the man who is trying to steal his woman. On the second floor, Xiao Wanjing announces their arrival to her father, who is at a tea table with another man. Xia Tianxiong immediately stands and greets them with a warm smile, playfully scolding his daughter for not saying she was bringing an important guest, as he would have come down to welcome him. He then turns to Wang Han and shakes his hand, inviting him to sit. As their hands clasp, Xia Tianxiong senses a powerful energy from Wang Han, confirming the young man's skills. Impressed, he compliments Wang Han on his considerable strength, which Wang Han humbly accepts. Xia Tianxiong then introduces Wang Han to his companion, an older man he calls Old Liu, explaining that Wang Han saved his daughter's life. Getting straight to the point, he offers Wang Han a job as an instructor at the martial arts hall. To make the offer more appealing, he promises that after 1 year, he will give Wang Han 5% of the company's shares. Xiao Wanjing tries to interject, telling her father that Wang Han does not need the money, but Wang Han immediately corrects her. He states that he needs money, as he just lost his job and has a child to support. Delighted by his straightforwardness, Xia Tianxiong offers him a monthly salary of 50,000. Standing up decisively, Wang Han accepts the offer, to Xiao Wanjing's visible pleasure. The other man congratulates his friend on finding such a fine new instructor. Eager to proceed, Xia Tianxiong offers to show his new employee around the facility, and Wang Han agrees. The scene shifts to a large, modern training hall. Xia Tianxiong calls all the students to gather around. Standing before the disciples, he proudly presents Wang Han as the new instructor and invites him to say a few words. With a calm demeanor, Wang Han introduces himself, expressing his hope that they will all get along and can discuss fighting techniques together. The students are not impressed, murmuring among themselves that Wang Han's physique doesn't look like a master's and questioning if he is any good. Kang Hongzhe steps forward as their representative, asking Wang Han what style of fighting he has studied. With an air of confidence, Wang Han replies that he knows a little of many different styles. Kang Hongzhe mockingly asks him to elaborate and perhaps teach him a thing or two. Unfazed, Wang Han calmly lists an impressive number of martial arts styles, including Hongquan, Tai Chi, and Wing Chun. This irritates Kang Hongzhe, who accuses Wang Han of being a jack of all trades but a master of none. Wang Han retorts that he has a big appetite and strong teeth, implying he can handle everything he claims. The other students agree with Kang Hongzhe, convinced Wang Han is all talk. They demand he stop talking and give them a demonstration. Xiao Wanjing steps in, scolding Kang Hongzhe for being so hostile to a new colleague. However, Kang Hongzhe argues that since Wang Han is there to teach, they can't have a weakling in that position. The other students eagerly agree, urging him to fight Wang Han to test his skill. Sensing the mood, Xia Tianxiong suggests that perhaps Wang Han should give a demonstration. Wang Han calmly agrees, saying he has no problem with that. Stepping into the training area, Kang Hongzhe smirks and warns Wang Han that he is a heavy hitter, but reassures him that he won't actually kill him. Cracking his knuckles, Wang Han coolly replies that, coincidentally, he also strikes hard. Wanting to make things more interesting, Kang Hongzhe proposes a wager. He declares that if he wins, he will take Xiao Wanjing to the concert on the weekend, daring Wang Han to accept. Wang Han cleverly deflects, saying it would depend on whether teacher Xia agrees. Annoyed, Xiao Wanjing retorts, asking what will happen if Wang Han loses. Supremely confident, Kang Hongzhe laughs and states that if he loses, they can make any demand they want. Seizing the opportunity, Xiao Wanjing declares the terms. If he loses, he must hand over the concert tickets, and she will go with Wang Han. Her father and Wang Han watch her set the stakes, and Wang Han calmly agrees. Kang Hongzhe turns to his master, Xia Tianxiong, and asks what should happen if the new instructor gets seriously injured. Xia Tianxiong tells him not to be so arrogant and to keep it to a light spar. Fired up, Kang Hongzhe orders everyone to clear the floor so they can watch. He warns Wang Han one last time that he won't hold back, but Wang Han simply tells him to make his move when ready, prompting an intense glare from his opponent. With a powerful shout, Kang Hongzhe charges forward, determined to test Wang Han's abilities. The fight is over before it begins. With blinding speed, Wang Han effortlessly intercepts the attack, delivering a precise chop to Kang Hongzhe's throat that stops him in his tracks. The force of the blow lifts the muscular man off his feet. Before he can recover, Wang Han grabs the back of his neck and drives a devastating knee into his stomach, causing him to cry out in agony. With his opponent neutralized, Wang Han releases his grip, letting the defeated man collapse. He calmly critiques Kang Hongzhe, telling him his speed was decent but his power was lacking, and advises him to go back to training. As Wang Han walks away, leaving Kang Hongjae groaning on the mat, a clearly impressed Xia Wanjing exclaims how amazing he is. Watching from the sidelines, Xia Tianxiang's friend, Liu Yangping, remarks that Wang Han only used about 30% of his strength. He adds that if he had used any more, Xia Tianxiang's prized disciple would have surely ended up in the hospital. Utterly humiliated by his quick defeat, Kang Hongjae glares from the floor, muttering curses. Refusing to accept his loss, he suddenly lunges from the ground in a desperate sneak attack, aiming for Wang Han's back as Xia Wanjing cries out a warning. He manages to grab Wang Han from behind, yelling for him to die, prompting a shocked reaction from Xia Wanjing. He effortlessly flips Wang Han over his shoulder and slams him hard onto the training mat. Outraged, Xia Wanjing scolds Kang Hongjae for launching a sneak attack after Wang Han had already won and shown mercy. Kang Hongjae, however, simply smirks, shamelessly stating that being merciful to an enemy is being cruel to oneself, and questioning how Wang Han can be an instructor if he does not understand that principle. As he gets to his feet, Xia Wanjing complains to her father about his behavior, while Liu Yangping remarks that his friend's disciple seems to lack any sense of martial virtue. Ignoring them, Kang Hongjae arrogantly raises his foot, declaring that in a fight, the winner is king. He brings his foot down in a powerful stomp, intending to crush Wang Han while he is on the ground and telling him to eat dust. But with incredible agility, Wang Han easily leaps away, leaving Kang Hongjae stunned that he missed. The shock on his face quickly turns to a mocking sneer as he taunts Wang Han, asking if all he knows is how to run and dodge. He then charges forward once more, throwing a wild punch. Wang Han easily dodges Kang Hongjae's wild punch, calmly telling him his attack is too slow. Seeing his opponent's lack of skill, Wang Han decides to teach him a lesson. He explains a key principle of martial arts. In fighting, only speed is unbreakable, and those who rely on brute force are destined to fail. Kang Hongjae grows more furious with each word. Enraged, Kang Hongjae tells him to stop talking and leaps into a flurry of attacks. He throws a series of punches and kicks, but Wang Han, with fluid movements, dodges every blow. After evading another punch, Wang Han mockingly asks if this is all he has, again commenting on how slow he is. Pushed to his limit, Kang Hongjae screams in frustration, questioning how Wang Han dares to act so superior after his own 15 years of training. Vowing to take his life, he lunges forward with a powerful and lethal elbow strike. From the sidelines, Liu Yangping and Xia Tianxiang recognize the dangerous technique as a killing move. Xia Wanjing looks on in horror, her face pale as she calls out Wang Han's name in fear. However, Wang Han is completely unfazed. He easily leaps over the incoming elbow strike. As he passes over his opponent, he reminds him of his earlier lesson, stating that he is simply too slow. Before Kang Hongjae can react, Wang Han delivers a single, devastating knee strike that sends him crashing to the floor, knocked out cold. The entire hall falls silent. The other students stare in disbelief that their powerful senior brother was defeated with a single kick. Xia Wanjing, however, is overjoyed, celebrating his victory. She rushes to his side, exclaiming how amazing he is. Looking on, Liu Yangping states that with such strength, Wang Han must be at least a little grandmaster. Xia Tianxiang agrees, marveling that while it took him half a lifetime to reach that level, Wang Han has achieved it in his 20s. Liu Yangping congratulates his friend, telling him he has found a true treasure for the White Tiger Martial Arts Hall. Walking over, Wang Han politely apologizes to Xia Tianxiang, saying he is sorry he couldn't hold back and injured his disciple. Xia Tianxiang laughs it off, telling him not to worry, as his arrogant student deserved it. He then asks Wang Han who his master is, curious about such extraordinary talent. Remaining humble, Wang Han deflects the question about his master, vaguely stating he has no formal lineage and simply trained with family elders as a child. Respecting his privacy, Xia Tianxiang drops the subject and invites him upstairs. As they walk away, he orders his students to carry the unconscious Kang Hongjae inside. However, Wang Han intervenes, showing concern for the man he just defeated. He warns the students not to move him, as it could cause further injury, and tells them to call an ambulance instead. Just then, his phone chimes. Checking the time, he sees it's 11:37 a.m. and remembers he needs to bring lunch to his wife. He is surprised by a message from Suki. In the text, she informs him she heard he lost his job and offers to arrange a new one for him with a monthly salary of 15,000. Feeling proud, Wang Han quickly texts back, boasting that he has already found a new job that pays 50,000 a month. His response is met with skepticism. Suchi texts back, asking if he can't be more realistic for once. Annoyed that she still doesn't believe him, Wang Han takes out his new employment contract, snaps a photo, and sends it as proof. After a pause, Suchi replies with a simple, "Very good." Pleased, Wang Han then offers to bring her lunch, but she declines, explaining she has a meeting with a very important person. This news immediately piques Wang Han's curiosity and a hint of jealousy. He texts back, asking if the person is a man or a woman. Su Qi tells him to get his mind out of the gutter, explaining she is going to meet the big shot, who gave her the project to thank him in person, and then promptly ends the conversation. Standing by his motorcycle, Wang Han freezes. A look of dawning horror crosses his face as he realizes the truth. He is the one who gave her the project. This means his wife is on her way to meet an imposter and is likely walking into a trap. Without a second's hesitation, he jumps on his motorcycle and makes an urgent call, asking the person on the other end to find Suki's current location. The voice on the line is Zhang Tang, who playfully refuses at first. Wang Han furiously insists he is not joking and needs the information immediately. Zhang Tang relents and agrees to check. A moment later, from a room where she is tracking events on her laptop, Jiang Tang gives him a chilling update. She tells him that his little wife is currently having drinks with another man. She then adds a sinister detail. The man is not a good person and has just drugged Su Qi's drink. The news sends a shockwave of pure rage through Wang Han. He curses aloud, his face contorted in fury. He revs his engine and speeds off into the city streets, vowing that he will kill the man who dared to harm his wife. The scene shifts to a large, luxurious hotel. Inside a room, Su Qi is lying unconscious on a bed, one of her high heels on the floor. Standing over her is Lin Jingpeng, who reveals with a smug expression that since she refused alcohol, he simply drugged the water he gave her instead. Rubbing his hands with a lecherous look, he gloats that she can no longer escape his grasp. His sinister plan becomes clear as he pulls out his phone to record a video of the helpless Su Qi. He muses aloud that even though she is usually so proud, she has ended up in his bed. He plans to use the video to blackmail her, imagining how her delivery man husband would die of anger if he saw it. With a wicked laugh, he declares that the show is about to begin. However, his moment is shattered by a deafening crash as Wang Han kicks the hotel room door clean off its hinges. Startled and angry, Lin Jingpeng yells, asking who is there and if they couldn't see the "Do Not Disturb" sign. He turns and sees Wang Han in the doorway, his eyes fixed on the scene. For a moment, he is frozen in shock, unable to comprehend how Wang Han could be there. Seeing his wife unconscious on the bed, Wang Han is filled with a cold fury, cursing the man before him as a beast. Without another word, Wang Han charges forward. With a furious roar, he delivers a powerful slap across Lin Jingpeng's face, the force sending him flying across the room and crashing hard against the wall. Dazed but defiant, Lin Jingpeng tries to fight back, throwing a wild punch, but Wang Han easily dodges the clumsy attack. He then counters with a brutal elbow strike to Lin Jingpeng's back, sending him sprawling onto the floor. Wang Han stands over his beaten opponent, his expression cold and unforgiving. Lying on the floor, battered and crying, a desperate Lin Jingpeng tries to use his family's name to save himself. He pleads with Wang Han to stop, offering him money and revealing a shocking connection. His grandfather is Lin Qingyun. Despite the beating, Lin Jingpeng's arrogance persists. Spitting blood, he threatens Wang Han, warning that he will have his entire family killed. Unimpressed, Wang Han plants a foot on Lin Jingpeng's chest and coldly tells him to be more concerned with whether he himself will survive the day. The threat shatters Lin Jingpeng's bravado. He pleads, offering any amount of money and frantically trying to bargain for his life with 1,000,000 yuan. Wang Han simply applies more pressure, causing Lin Jingpeng to cry out in agony. Just then, Su Qi begins to stir on the bed, muttering about how hot she feels as the drug takes effect. Seeing his wife's distress, Wang Han's face hardens with renewed fury. Calling Lin Jingpeng a beast one last time, he delivers another vicious kick to his face. With his attacker dealt with, Wang Han goes to his wife's side and helps her sit up, trying to comfort her. Recovering against a wall, a desperate Lin Jingpeng makes a frantic phone call, crying for his grandfather to save him from someone trying to kill him. As he pleads into the phone, a large shadow looms over him. He looks up in shock to see Wang Han, who swiftly kicks the phone from his hand. The scene shifts to a different hotel room, where Wang Han sits calmly, while the beaten Lin Jingpeng kneels on the floor. A moment later, an elderly man with a cane enters. It is Lin Qingyun. He approaches Wang Han with utmost respect, addressing him as young master. Taking a drag from his cigarette, Wang Han looks at the kneeling man and then at the newcomer, asking with cold sarcasm if this is his grandson. Lin Qingyun immediately bows his head in apology, stating it is his fault for failing to discipline his family. Seeing his powerful grandfather so subservient, Lin Jingpeng is confused. He points a trembling finger at Wang Han and yells for his grandfather to get someone to kill him. Clinging to his grandfather's leg, his face swollen, he asks in disbelief if his grandfather really came alone, failing to understand the power dynamic at play. Enraged by his grandson's insolence, Lin Qingyun screams, asking if he is trying to get him killed, and strikes him with his cane. As Lin Jingping cries out, still blaming the delivery guy, his grandfather hits him again, yelling at him to shut his mouth. With his grandson beaten and on the floor, Lin Qingyun turns to Wang Han with a grim expression. He asks his young master how he wishes to deal with the beast, leaving the final decision in his hands. Hearing his grandfather call the man young master, the situation's gravity finally dawns on a terrified Lin Jingpeng. Wang Han takes a final drag from his cigarette and looks at Lin Qingyun, coldly reminding him that he knows the rules of their organization. With grim resolve, Lin Qingyun recites the brutal law. Those who defile women shall be punished by castration. Wang Han then gives his final order, telling him to carry out the punishment himself. A trembling Lin Qingyun turns to his grandson, his voice filled with fury and despair, telling him he has brought utter shame upon the Lin family. He raises his heavy cane high, and with a final desperate scream from his grandson, he brings it down with full force, carrying out the brutal sentence. The agonized scream echoes through the hotel, awakening Suqi. She sits up, groggy and confused, wondering how she got there. Just then, the door bursts open, and her best friend, Lin Suifu, rushes in. She explains with relief and anger that she had asked her grandfather about the meeting, only to discover Lin Jingpeng had lied and didn't know the big shot. She then demands to know where the bastard is. Seeing her friend's distress, she asks if he hurt her. Suqi, still dazed, replies she can't remember clearly, only that someone burst in and beat Lin Jingpeng up. Relieved, Lin Juefu tells her they should leave immediately, and Suqi agrees. As they get up, Lin Juefu notices a small dark bead with a golden pattern on the sheets and asks what it is. Suqi picks it up, and Lin Juefu remarks that it looks familiar, asking if the person who rescued her might have left it. Looking at the intricate golden dragon on the bead, Suqi agrees it probably was. Holding the mysterious dragon bead, Suqi is filled with a new resolve. She tells Lin Suifu to help her find out who her rescuer was, vowing she will settle the score with Lin Jingpeng later. Back in the other hotel room, Wang Han watches from the doorway as the two women leave, thinking they must have been thoroughly scared. With the crisis over, he adjusts his jacket and turns his thoughts to his other responsibilities, reminding himself to get on with the task his grandfather assigned him. However, a sudden realization strikes him. He frantically pats his pockets, a look of panic on his face, as he realizes the precious dragon bead is gone. He worries he might have dropped it during the fight, knowing that losing it would be a huge problem. Meanwhile, at the Su family residence, the grandfather and father question a badly beaten Su Lei, asking how he could have been thrashed by a mere delivery man. Su Lei explains that Wang Han is not as simple as he appears, revealing his connection to the Black Dragon Group. Just then, Qin Lei, the eldest young master of the Qin family, enters with a dismissive smirk, stating that the Black Dragon Group is nothing. Seeing an opportunity, Suqi's grandfather asks Qin Lei if he has a plan. Qin Lei proposes a dark solution. If Suqi were to die, control of the project would naturally fall back into their hands. A shocked Su Lei asks him to clarify. Qin Lei's expression turns menacing as he declares that anyone who stands in the way of the Qin family must die. He reveals he knows Suqi returns home at 8:30 every night and suggests they send an assassin. Eager for revenge, Su Lei adds that they must kill the delivery guy as well. His face contorted with rage, Qin Lei agrees it is best to act quickly. Touching his own bruised face, Su Lei declares he will arrange for the assassination that very night, as he cannot wait another day for his revenge. Later that day, Wang Han brings his adopted daughter, Guoguo, back to his apartment. Inside, Zhang Tang is waiting. Wang Han tells Guoguo to start her homework while he cooks dinner. With a warm smile, Zhang Tang offers to help the little girl with her schoolwork, affectionately calling herself godmother. While Jiang Tang is occupied, Wang Han pulls out his phone, his thoughts turning to his wife. He worries about Suqi, thinking she must have been terrified by the day's events. He sends her a text, telling her he has cooked her favorite dishes and offering to bring them over. However, Suqi replies curtly, declining his offer and stating she will eat at home. Reading her response, Wang Han concludes she is understandably not in the mood. Just then, his phone rings. He answers and is surprised to find Suqi's brother, Su Lei, on the other end. In a complete reversal, Su Lei speaks with a respectful and apologetic tone, addressing Wang Han as brother-in-law. He admits his actions were wrong and invites Wang Han to a family dinner that evening to resolve their issues. He asks if Wang Han can arrive before 8:30 p.m., and Wang Han agrees. With his face still visibly bruised, Su Lei ends the call by politely saying he will see him that evening. After hanging up, Wang Han looks at his phone with a suspicious expression. He finds it incredibly strange that Sule has suddenly become so reasonable and cannot help but feel that something is not right. Under the crescent moon, Wang Han speeds through the city on his red motorcycle, thinking he should be able to make it on time. He stops at an intersection just as he sees a woman and her young son crossing the street. Suddenly, a black car barrels toward them at high speed, pursued by a police car. Annoyed by the reckless driving, Wang Han wonders if the driver has a death wish. The black car doesn't stop. It swerves and screeches to a halt directly in front of the mother and child, blocking their path. The door flies open and a large, bald man emerges. Without warning, the man grabs the frightened boy who screams for his mother. The horrified woman shouts at the man, asking what he is doing. The kidnapper pulls the boy into the car as the mother desperately cries for help, begging for her son to be let go. Wang Han watches the scene unfold, confused by the brazen kidnapping. The black car speeds away. With a look of cold determination, Wang Han decides the kidnappers were unlucky to have run into him and gives chase. Wang Han immediately gives chase, his motorcycle roaring as he pursues the black van. He pulls alongside them, and the blonde driver angrily shouts at him, calling him a meddler with a death wish. Unfazed, Wang Han retaliates by kicking the side of their vehicle. Inside, the bald kidnapper urges his partner to ignore Wang Han, reminding him the police are catching up and their priority is to escape. The driver yells a final insult at Wang Han, promising to deal with him later as they speed away. Determined not to let them escape, Wang Han thinks them foolish to challenge him to a race. He expertly maneuvers his bike, cutting in front of the van and forcing the driver into a sharp turn. The driver curses as he loses control, crashing the vehicle directly into a wall. With the van stopped and smoking, Wang Han parks his bike and calmly walks over. He taunts the blonde man, asking if he still feels like running. Furious, the driver emerges from the wreck with a knife and charges at Wang Han. Wang Han easily dodges the wild swing and, in a flash, appears behind the man, delivering a swift chop to the back of his neck. The kidnapper is knocked unconscious, collapsing to the ground. Wang Han now stands before the open van door, where the terrified but safe little boy looks out. Wang Han kneels and calmly reassures the terrified boy, telling him not to be afraid because his mother will be there soon. Just then, the second, bald kidnapper scrambles out of the wrecked van and runs for it. Wang Han watches him go, wondering if the man really thinks he can escape as police sirens wail in the distance. He corners the thug in a narrow alley, who looks trapped but defiant. The chase continues as the kidnapper darts into a nearby apartment building, with Wang Han in hot pursuit. They race up the stairs and down a hallway until the thug disappears into a room at the end. Wang Han follows him inside, only to find the room empty. He sarcastically asks if the man wants to play hide-and-seek, then his eyes catch a woman's bare legs on a bed. He is surprised to see a scantily clad woman lounging there. With a seductive smile, she beckons him closer, holding a riding crop and offering to take care of him. Suddenly, the bald kidnapper, who was hiding behind the door, tries to sneak away. At the same time, the woman gets off the bed and approaches Wang Han, asking if he is not satisfied with her. She tries to block his path with her leg, offering him her services at a discount. Annoyed, Wang Han pushes her leg away, telling her he's not there for her and to step aside. The standoff is interrupted when a female police officer suddenly kicks the door open and storms in. She points her gun at them, ordering everyone to freeze with their hands up. The woman on the floor immediately recognizes the officer and stammers that she wasn't conducting any business. Wang Han tries to explain, but the police officer ignores him and orders the woman to put her hands on her head and squat down, which she does immediately. Suddenly, the officer hears a sound from behind a closed door. She spins around, aiming her weapon at the door and demanding to know who is there, while Wang Han puts his hands up. She then cautiously approaches the door and announces that the police are outside, warning the person inside not to resist. As she reaches for the handle, Wang Han seems to notice something is wrong. The moment the door opens, the bald kidnapper lunges out, swinging a heavy object at the officer's head. The surprise attack works, and the officer drops her gun in shock as the man brings his weapon down. Just as the kidnapper's weapon is about to strike, Wang Han shouts a warning and pushes Officer Yang out of harm's way. Confused by the shove, the officer realizes she was just attacked. She recovers immediately and, with expert skill, tackles the bald kidnapper, swiftly incapacitating him. Watching her fierce display, Wang Han sweats nervously, thinking to himself how tough she is. While holding the criminal down, Officer Yang radios in, reporting she has 2 suspects under control. Hearing this, Wang Han looks confused. He quickly tries to explain, telling the officer he was the one who helped her catch the bad guy, and that he is a model citizen of Jiangning City. Unimpressed, Officer Yang scoffs that everyone they find in places like this claims to be a model citizen. She pulls out handcuffs, glad she brought an extra set, and orders him to hold out his hands. Wang Han protests in disbelief, but she ignores him, saying he can explain everything at the station. She handcuffs him, stating that while it might be a misunderstanding, the police won't wrongly accuse a good person or let a bad one go free. Later that night at the police station, Wang Han is handcuffed and asks Officer Yang for a drink of water. She retorts, sarcastically asking if he thinks the police station is his home. Just then, a senior male officer enters, praising Little Yang for a job well done. He reveals the two criminals were drug traffickers they had been searching for a long time, and congratulates her for catching them single-handedly. Officer Yang stands and addresses her superior as Bureau Chief Zhang. She modestly clarifies that when she arrived, one man was already captured and the other injured, explaining she simply took advantage of the situation. Bureau Chief Zhang asks Officer Yang if she knows who subdued the criminals before she arrived. Flustered, Officer Yang says she doesn't know, claiming she didn't get a clear look due to heavy traffic. Wang Han, still in handcuffs, raises his hand to interrupt, declaring that it was him and his motorcycle is still outside. Annoyed, Officer Yang sharply tells him to shut up. Bureau Chief Zhang looks at Wang Han curiously and asks Officer Yang about him. Trying to save face, she dismissively claims Wang Han was a prostitute's client she arrested while she was there. A shocked Wang Han protests, insisting he was there to catch the criminals. Just as he suggests they check the surveillance footage, another officer runs in with a file, excitedly telling them he has identified the person who captured the traffickers. The file has a photo of Wang Han clipped to the top. The officer points to it, confirming the man's name is Wang Han. The other officers are stunned. Bureau Chief Zhang asks if he is certain, and the officer confirms the system is never wrong. The chief then orders a surprised Officer Yang to immediately uncuff Wang Han. Embarrassed, she unlocks the handcuffs from his wrists. Once free, Wang Han rubs his wrists and looks at Officer Yang, remarking that he told her the truth. He then mutters under his breath that she is all brawn and no brains. Overhearing the insult, she blushes furiously and asks what he just said. Ignoring her, Wang Han checks his phone and panics. Realizing he is running late, he rushes out of the station, leaving a fuming Officer Yang watching him go. As he disappears, she vows to herself that she will get even with him. Now in a taxi, Wang Han urges the driver to go faster, explaining he is in a hurry. The driver replies he can't, as they are in the city and must prioritize safety. In response, Wang Han pulls out a thick wad of cash, offering the driver 1,000 yuan to speed up. The bribe works. The driver slams on the accelerator, shifts gears, and tells Wang Han to hold on tight, boasting his family owns a tofu shop and promising to get him to his destination by 8:30. The scene shifts to a massive fire raging against the night sky. A large modern house is engulfed in flames. Firefighters are battling the blaze as a crowd of onlookers watches, wondering how such a huge fire could have started so suddenly. Just then, Wang Han's taxi pulls up. He gets out and is stunned to see the burning building, realizing it's the Su family home where he was supposed to have dinner. As a firefighter asks a distraught woman in the crowd if anyone is still inside, she tearfully confirms that Miss Su is almost certainly in the house. Hearing this, Wang Han is immediately alarmed. The woman explains that Suchi comes home at this time every evening. The realization that his wife is trapped inside fills Wang Han with horror. He urgently grabs the woman's attention, asking her to confirm if she means Suchi is still in the villa. Without another thought, Wang Han throws off his jacket and sprints directly toward the inferno, shocking the onlookers. A firefighter shouts at him not to be so impulsive, while the woman begs him to come back, reminding him he has no protective gear. Another bystander speculates the maids must have set the kitchen on fire. As he disappears into the flames, a firefighter alerts their captain that a civilian has entered the fire. The woman who spoke to Wang Han clasps her hands together in praise, lamenting the terrible situation. Amidst the chaos, as onlookers pray, Su Chi arrives at the scene, getting out of her car. She asks a distraught woman what happened, and the woman is shocked to see her. The woman becomes panicked, realizing her mistake. She explains she thought Suchi was inside, which means the young man who just ran into the fire did so for nothing. Confused, Suchi asks what young man she is talking about and if someone else is trapped in the burning villa. The woman quickly explains that a tall young man heard she was inside, took off his jacket, and rushed into the flames. The news leaves Suchi utterly stunned. Realizing it must have been Wang Han, she screams his name and tries to run toward the fire herself. The woman and a firefighter grab her, holding her back and warning her it's too dangerous and the house could collapse at any moment. Helpless and overwhelmed with grief, Suu-Chi continues to cry out Wang Han's name as tears stream down her face. The woman next to her continues to pray, morbidly suggesting that the fire is so intense, his bones will likely be burned to ash. As firefighters battle the blaze, a grief-stricken Suu-Chi collapses, crying out Wang Han's name and asking how he could leave her. Suddenly, a figure leaps from a second-story window of the burning house. It's Wang Han. He lands hard, his clothes smoldering. Firefighters rush to his side with extinguishers, shouting for him to come over so they can help. They quickly put out the flames, leaving him covered in foam. He curses, complaining about how hot it was inside. Seeing he is alive, Suu-Chi cries his name in relief and rushes toward him. She throws her arms around him in a tight hug, calling him a fool and asking if he has a death wish. Clinging to him and crying, she asks what she and their child would have done if he had died. Wang Han gently holds her, stroking her hair and reassuring her that he is perfectly fine. Suu-Chi pulls back, still upset, and lightly hits his chest, asking if it was worth risking his life. He smiles and tells her there is no question of worth when it comes to saving his wife and child. She anxiously checks him for injuries, while the woman from before and a firefighter suggest he go to the hospital. Wang Han, however, insists he is uninjured and doesn't need to go. Together, they watch the firefighters douse the flames, and Wang Han wonders aloud how a fire could have started so suddenly. His expression hardens as he comes to a grim conclusion, stating with certainty that Sule must be behind it. Deciding they shouldn't linger, he tells Suu-Chi he will take her home. She agrees, tenderly draping a shawl over his shoulders. Later that night, Wang Han has taken Suu-Chi to his apartment. While they eat, he asks if it was her brother, Sule, who called her for dinner. She confirms it was, explaining that something came up on the way, which is why she was delayed. He remarks how unbelievable it is that they would stoop to such a level. Filled with cold fury, Suu-Chi tells him she had security cameras installed at her house. She pulls out her phone, stating that if the footage proves it was him, she will personally send him to prison. She finds the video, which clearly shows Sule and two accomplices arriving with canisters. Seeing the undeniable proof, Suu-Chi grits her teeth and vows to make her brother pay. Wang Han gently tries to calm her down, calling her the child's mother and telling her to eat first, promising they will settle the score the next day. Still seething, Suu-Chi clenches her chopsticks and declares that she will not forgive them. The next morning, Wang Han arrives on his motorcycle at the White Tiger Martial Arts Hall for his new job. As he is about to park, a small red sports car suddenly screeches to a halt right in front of him, nearly causing a collision. A young woman with short brown hair leans out of the driver's window, smiling apologetically. She explains she is a new driver and not very skilled. However, her smile vanishes and is replaced by utter shock as she recognizes him. It is Officer Yang. Wang Han gets off his bike and greets her, sarcastically remarking on the coincidence and how she couldn't help but run into him. Now in a yellow tracksuit, she gets out of her car and asks what he is doing there. He replies that he works there. Suspicious, she says she is a student at the hall and comes every week but has never seen him. Wang Han explains he just started yesterday as they walk inside. Just inside the entrance, two students in white uniforms see Wang Han and respectfully greet him as Master Wang. Hearing this, Officer Yang looks at him in complete disbelief, questioning how he could possibly be a master. Unfazed, Wang Han simply asks her what the problem is. Officer Yang points an accusatory finger at Wang Han, shouting in disbelief that a man she so easily arrested could possibly be a master. As Wang Han turns to walk away, she challenges him, declaring that she doesn't believe his title and wants to fight him to prove it. As she gets closer, she angrily warns him not to stare at her inappropriately. Wang Han calmly replies that he never fights women. Ignoring his refusal, she lunges at him, but he easily evades her attack. Now looking serious, Wang Han asks if she truly wants to fight. He then makes a provocative offer, stating he will fight her with one hand tied behind his back, but if she loses, she must run naked in front of him. Enraged, she calls him a pervert and launches a powerful kick toward his head. Wang Han effortlessly blocks the kick with one arm, a smirk on his face. He taunts her, asking if that's all she has, and commenting on how weak her kick is. He pushes her leg down, and she stumbles back into a fighting stance. Her eyes glow with renewed determination as she prepares for another attack. She leaps forward with a powerful high kick, but Wang Han easily ducks underneath it. As she lands, Wang Han, now casually sitting on the floor, looks up at her with a smug expression. He mockingly asks if this is the extent of her skill and questions if she only became a police officer because her family pulled some strings. Infuriated by Wang Han's taunt, Officer Yang tells him to shut his mouth and attacks with another powerful kick. Wang Han effortlessly flips away, landing gracefully a short distance away. He calmly warns her that if she doesn't have any real killer moves, he's going to fight back. Undeterred, she tells him not to get cocky and charges at him again, managing to land a punch on his chin. However, Wang Han immediately counters, grabbing her arm and pulling her towards him. In one fluid motion, he spins her around and traps her in a hold, pinning her arms behind her back with her body pressed against his. Completely immobilized and flustered, she calls him a pervert and struggles against his grip, demanding he let her go. Wang Han releases her, and she stumbles forward, a look of shock and humiliation on her face, on the verge of tears. Standing before a defeated Officer Yang, Wang Han calmly asks if she admits defeat. Annoyed but honor-bound, she concedes that his skills were better. With a sly smile, Wang Han reminds her of their bet. To his shock, she agrees to the terms, stating that it's just a naked run and she'll do it. Panicked, Wang Han insists he was only joking and she shouldn't take him seriously. However, Officer Yang is determined, declaring that a martial artist must keep their word. She grabs her jacket zipper, ignoring Wang Han's frantic pleas to stop. With a defiant shout, she pulls her jacket open, promising to give him a good look. Completely flustered, Wang Han covers his eyes, exclaiming he is a married man. He then quickly flees up the stairs, saying he has other business to attend to. Watching him run, Officer Yang zips her jacket back up with a smug, triumphant smile, thinking he's just a coward who dared to challenge her. In an upper room of the martial arts hall, Xiao Wanjing is playing a grand piano. Kang Hongjae stands beside her, fawning over her playing. Xiao Wanjing stops, clearly annoyed by his flattery, and sarcastically asks if he even understands classical music, telling him to just be quiet. Just then, Wang Han enters, applauding her performance. He remarks that he didn't expect teacher Xia's piano skills to be so high. Xiao Wanjing looks up, pleased, and greets him. Annoyed by the interruption, Kang Hongjae confronts Wang Han, condescendingly asking if he can even understand the piece. Wang Han calmly replies that teacher Xia is playing Nocturne, a very beautiful piece. Delighted, Xiao Wanjing asks if Wang Han also likes the song, explaining that Nocturne is her favorite. Wang Han replies that it's a good piece, but jokes that he prefers a different song. Blushing, Xiao Wanjing shyly asks if he knows how to play and if he would like to try. Before he can answer, Kang Hongjae scoffs, declaring it is impossible for someone so rough-looking to know how to play the piano. Wang Han calmly replies that he knows a little. Ignoring Kang Hongjae, Xiao Wanjing takes Wang Han's hand and eagerly encourages him to play a song. Wang Han agrees and sits at the piano, deciding to play Nocturne again, much to Xiao Wanjing's delight and Kang Hongjae's annoyance. As Wang Han begins to play, his eyes are closed in concentration, and beautiful music fills the room. Xiao Wanjing listens with a blissful, amazed expression, thinking how wonderful it sounds, while a sullen Kang Hongjae can only watch in disbelief, forced to admit the man can indeed play. When Wang Han finishes, Xiao Wanjing rushes to his side, praising his incredible performance. Wang Han modestly tells her that her own playing is good, she just needs to correct a few minor flaws. This enrages Kang Hongjae, who furiously accuses him of being arrogant enough to critique Xiao Wanjing just because he can play a little. Their argument is interrupted by the arrival of an elegant, older woman. She approaches Xiao Wanjing, asking if she was the one playing Nocturne, and compliments her, remarking she is surprised at how much her skills have improved. Seeing an opportunity to get rid of his rival, Kang Hongjae smugly tells Wang Han that Xiao Wanjing's piano teacher, Teacher Ren, has arrived so he can leave. Wang Han agrees and begins to walk away. However, when the teacher compliments Xiao Wanjing on the beautiful music, Xiao Wanjing clarifies that it was Wang Han playing. As Wang Han heads for the door, Teacher Ren looks at his back thoughtfully. Suddenly, she calls out, asking him to wait and questioning if he is Professor Wang. Wang Han turns and denies it, telling her she has the wrong person. Xiao Wanjing looks on in confusion, while Kang Hongjae scoffs at the idea, telling the teacher that Wang Han couldn't be a professor since he used to be a food delivery guy. Ignoring Kang Hongjae, the teacher reintroduces herself as Ren Jingjing, explaining she was his student at the Berklee College of Music and he had personally guided her. Recognizing her, Wang Han confirms her identity, noting it has been several years. He then checks his phone and excuses himself, saying it's getting late and he needs to go home to cook. Ren Jingjing respectfully sees him off, again calling him Professor Wang. After he leaves, Kang Hongjae and Xiao Wanjing ask Ren Jingjing what kind of professor Wang Han is. She explains he is an incredibly famous honorary professor at Berklee, and that whenever he lectured, the hall was always packed, with even professors from other prestigious schools coming to listen. The revelation leaves Kang Hongjae completely stunned, stammering in disbelief. Ren Jingjing firmly states she couldn't be wrong, as she would never forget his distinct musical style. She then turns to a bewildered Xiao Wanjing and asks why she would need another teacher when she has someone as brilliant as Professor Wang to guide her. Xiao Wanjing is left utterly speechless, unable to process the truth about the man she thought she was just helping. Inside her office at the Su Group building, Su Qi is eating lunch when Wang Han arrives with food. She asks why he came, reminding him she told him not to bring her meals. He replies that a pregnant woman shouldn't always eat takeout. She asks how his new job at the martial arts hall is going, and he says it's pretty good. Suddenly, his phone rings. He sees it's his grandfather, the old man. Wang Han walks to the window to take the call. On the other end, his grandfather scolds him for taking a job at a martial arts hall when he was supposed to keep a low profile. The old man then threatens to send Wang Han's big sister to deal with him. Panicked, Wang Han quickly backpedals. The grandfather ignores his excuses and informs him he has already spoken with Xia Tianxiang, forbidding Wang Han from working there any longer. He orders him to find a stable job that doesn't involve fighting. Defeated, Wang Han reluctantly agrees. The grandfather then gives him a new mission. A group of thieves known as Qiang Ren has stolen a Buddha head from the museum and plan to sell it abroad. Wang Han's task is to retrieve it. He accepts the order. His grandfather elaborates that the Qiang Ren are a notoriously unhinged and dangerous organization. He also reminds Wang Han to continue his search for the girl with the matching phoenix bead his sister gave him. After hanging up, Wang Han thinks to himself that he must find that bead soon, or he'll be in big trouble with his grandfather. Noticing his serious expression, Su Qi asks if something is wrong. He reassures her it's nothing and says he has to meet someone that afternoon. She tells him to be careful as he turns to leave, and he agrees before walking out. That afternoon, Wang Han arrives on his motorcycle at an upscale apartment complex for his new security job. He meets a manager, introducing himself as the person his former station chief recommended. The manager acknowledges him, compliments his bike, and tells him to wait while he gets things arranged. While Wang Han waits, a security guard approaches, recognizing him as the delivery guy from the news involved with the Su family's heiress. Wang Han, smoking, tries to deny it, but the guard is sure it's him. Other guards gather, pressing him for the story. The first guard persists, offering him a cigarette and encouraging him to talk. Wang Han accepts the cigarette and tells them a version of the truth. He is married to the Su family's heiress, but her family disapproves because he is poor and is using the media to smear them. The guards are unconvinced, pointing out their different social statuses and questioning why he'd be a security guard if he were married to someone so wealthy. The lead guard tells Wang Han to stop bragging and reveals that Su Qi has bought an apartment in this very complex and is renovating it. He playfully warns Wang Han that he might tell her about his bragging, leaving Wang Han shocked and speechless. The guards mock him, pointing out that if he were really married to Su Qi, he would have known she bought a house there. Just then, Su Qi's red sports car pulls up. The lead guard snaps to attention, saluting her as President Su. Annoyed that Wang Han is just standing there, the guard urges him to go to his supposed wife. Su Qi gets out and asks Wang Han why he isn't at the martial arts hall. He stammers that something came up and he had to resign. Su Qi sternly tells him to come with her. As Wang Han follows, the mocking guard watches with an amused grin, remarking that this will be a good show. Before walking away, Wang Han discreetly gives the guard the middle finger. As they walk, Su Qi asks how long he planned on deceiving her. He explains he just found out about the apartment and asks why she moved out. Su Qi angrily retorts that a strange woman appeared at his place, making it impossible to stay. With a determined look, Su Qi tells him to quit his new security job. Wang Han protests, but she offers him a job as her personal driver for 10,000 yuan a month. She adds that since he lost his last job because of her, she feels responsible and tells him to be ready in the morning. Wang Han quietly wonders if he's now being kept by his wife. The next day, Wang Han drives Su Qi to the Su Group headquarters. In his new role, he pulls up to the entrance and professionally opens her door. Su Qi informs him she has arranged a small office for him upstairs. As they walk toward the building, two guards salute President Su. One guard watches them, smirking and thinking their relationship is clearly not ordinary. Inside an office, a manager leans over a female employee's desk. He mentions upcoming layoffs, threateningly suggesting her life would become difficult if she lost her job. The woman acknowledges she needs the work, but refuses his implied request. He then makes his disgusting proposal explicit, mentioning her mother's hospital bills and offering her 30,000 a month to be with him. The woman stands up in anger, telling him she will not sell her body. Enraged, he lunges towards her, telling her to stop pretending. The manager, President Sun, corners the employee, Lily, who pleads with him to let her go. At the same time, Wang Han is walking down the hall, bored. His thoughts are interrupted by shouts from a nearby office. He hears Lily cry out as President Sun yells at her. Curious, Wang Han stops at the door. Inside, President Sun rips Lily's blouse open. Terrified, she screams for help. To silence her, he slaps her. Just then, Wang Han enters, casually asking if they are busy. Startled, President Sun demands to know who he is and screams at him to get out. Without a word, Wang Han responds with a powerful kick, sending him flying across the room. Struggling on the floor, President Sun scoffs that Wang Han would dare engage in workplace bullying. He gets to his feet, enraged, and threatens to call the police and have him jailed. He then turns on Lily, falsely accusing her of seducing him. A distraught Lily denies the claim. President Sun smirks, confident the police will believe his word. However, Wang Han calmly pulls out his phone, showing he has been recording the entire incident. The manager's confidence shatters into terror. In a desperate attempt to destroy the evidence, he lunges for the phone. Wang Han easily dodges and delivers another powerful slap. Standing over him, Wang Han coldly asks if the man thinks he wouldn't dare kill him. Completely broken, the manager begs Wang Han to stop, promising not to call the police. Lily, frightened by the violence, also pleads with Wang Han to let it go. Wang Han holds up his phone, telling the manager he will keep the recording as insurance and warning him to behave. The manager frantically promises he will never cause trouble again. With the situation resolved, Wang Han tells Lily they should leave. She gratefully follows him out of the office, leaving the beaten and humiliated President Sun on the floor. Once in the hallway, Wang Han notices her torn blouse and asks if she has other clothes. She confirms she does and thanks him again. She introduces herself as Lily and asks which department he works in. Wang Han explains that he is new and works as President Su's driver, and his name is Wang Han. Lily expresses her gratitude once more, offering to treat him to a meal whenever he is free. Wang Han politely declines, saying it was no trouble and that he enjoys helping people. He tells her that if President Sun bothers her again, she should come find him. He then says he is leaving and walks away. Outside the Su Group building, Wang Han lights a cigarette, muttering to himself that the company has a toxic atmosphere. He approaches a security guard to ask for a lighter. The guard looks at him with familiarity before his eyes widen in recognition. He excitedly asks if Wang Han is who he thinks he is, then happily introduces himself as Dachun. Wang Han recognizes him as well, confirming the man is Han Dachun. Dachun is overjoyed, saying he has missed him dearly, and asks where he has been. Overcome with emotion, Dachun gives Wang Han a big hug. He explains that years ago, his grandmother had told him Wang Han was destined for greatness and urged him to follow him, but they lost contact. Wang Han laughs, remarking that the grandmother had good judgment. Their reunion is interrupted by another security guard with green hair and tattoos. He rudely yells at Dachun, calling him a fool and ordering him to go buy cigarettes. Dachun turns his back to Wang Han and asks him to wait a moment. He then approaches the tattooed man, He Dong, and tries to reason with him, explaining that Wang Han is a long-lost friend and asking for a little respect. He Dong scoffs at the request, asking why a fool like him deserves respect and again orders him to buy the cigarettes. Desperate to avoid trouble, Han Dachun tries to quietly de-escalate the situation. He discreetly offers He Dong 50 yuan, asking him to accept it for cigarettes and not to make a scene. He Dong condescendingly grabs Dachun's head, but takes the money, remarking that he is a sensible fool. With a smirk, he agrees to let it go, and a relieved Dachun turns back towards Wang Han. However, the exchange does not go unnoticed. Before He Dong can move, Wang Han places a firm hand on his shoulder. With a cold glare, he orders the bully to return the money. Furious, He Dong demands to know who Wang Han is and tells him to let go. Without another word, Wang Han delivers a powerful punch, sending the tattooed man sprawling. Standing over the beaten bully, Wang Han issues a chilling warning. He declares that Han Dachun is his brother and that if He Dong ever dares to bully him again, he will personally kill him. Stunned and enraged, He Dong scrambles to his feet and runs away, shouting threats for Wang Han not to run away. A worried Dachun tells Wang Han he shouldn't have gotten into a fight, explaining that He Dong is not easy to deal with. Unconcerned, Wang Han states that scoundrels like him don't understand reason and only respond to a good slap. The confrontation escalates as He Dong returns with other security guards, pointing at Wang Han and demanding his captain stop him. Seeing his friend outnumbered, Han Dachun shows incredible loyalty. He steps protectively in front of Wang Han, apologizing to the guards and offering to take the beating himself. He Dong angrily rejects the offer and threatens to beat Dachun up as well. However, before things escalate, the security captain, Captain Liu, intervenes. To He Dong's surprise, Captain Liu forcefully shoves him aside. The captain's allegiance becomes clear as he turns to Wang Han with a subservient attitude. He offers Wang Han a pack of cigarettes and apologizes on behalf of his subordinate, asking Wang Han to forgive the newcomer. A stunned Hedong can only stammer, asking what is happening. The captain turns his fury back on Hedong, kicking him and scolding him for being a troublemaker. He yells at him, pointing out Wang Han's connection to President Su and questioning how he could dare to pick a fight with him. With the bully subdued, Captain Liu respectfully lights a cigarette for Wang Han. Wang Han calmly states that Dachun is his brother, and he does not want to see him bullied. The captain quickly agrees, declaring that Wang Han's brother is now his brother. Wang Han thanks him, and the captain humbly replies that having a man like Wang Han acknowledge them is an honor. At that moment, Lily walks out, having changed her clothes and now carrying a drink. The other security guards are captivated by her beauty, exclaiming how gorgeous she is. Wang Han scoffs at them for staring, but one guard shares Lily's tragic story. He explains she has had a difficult life. Her gambling addict husband died, leaving her with huge debts, and her mother is sick, leaving Lily to care for her child alone. As Lily passes, she gives the guards a polite smile, which sends them into a state of adoration. To the utter shock of the other guards, Lily walks directly up to their group. She kindly hands a cup of coffee to Wang Han, explaining she bought it for him and advises him to smoke less. A slightly surprised Wang Han accepts the drink and thanks her. After her kind gesture, Lily turns and walks away. The remaining guards are left in complete awe. They exclaim that Wang Han is a true god, completely blown away by what they just witnessed. The captain asks how the coffee tastes. Wang Han takes a sip and casually replies that it's just average and a little bitter. The captain finds this hard to believe, insisting a coffee from her must be incredibly sweet. His friends gather around him, full of admiration. Dachun boasts that his friend has always been popular with women, and the captain jokingly asks Wang Han to accept him as a disciple. Their conversation is cut short when an expensive black car screeches to a halt in front of them. A beautiful and imposing woman with long purple hair steps out, her expression annoyed. The security guards assume this is yet another beautiful woman who has come for Wang Han. However, their assumption is wrong when the woman glares at the group and yells a name, Han Dachun, declaring she has finally found him. The other guards are stunned, whispering in disbelief that Dachun knows such a wealthy-looking woman. A nervous Dachun recognizes the woman. She strides up to him, leans in close, and disdainfully covers her nose, complaining that he stinks and asking how long it has been since he last bathed. Insulted by Song Qian, Han Dachun is about to react when she explains why she is there. Their old class monitor, Ding Jing, is getting married tomorrow, and she is contacting all former classmates to attend. Song Qian then turns to Wang Han, remarking that he looks familiar. Before he can answer, Han Dachun proudly introduces him as his good friend and asks if she remembers him. After a moment, her memory clicks. She points at Wang Han and exclaims that she remembers him from school, mostly because he was constantly being reprimanded during the school-wide assemblies every Monday. Unfazed by the embarrassing memory, Wang Han sips his coffee and remarks that a hero doesn't dwell on his past glories. Noticing his expensive suit, Song Qian asks what prestigious job he has. Wang Han vaguely replies that he does small engineering projects. Intrigued, she calls him a big boss and asks for more details. With a straight face, Wang Han gives his job a ridiculously long and important-sounding title, High Intelligence Biological Kinetic Transportation Engineering. Impressed, she leans in and asks what that actually means, to which he reveals the punchline: he is a driver for his boss. The nearby security captain can't help but stifle a laugh at the joke. Getting back to business, Song Qian asks Wang Han if he will attend the wedding. She points out that the groom is a senior executive at his company, and his own boss will be there, making it a good opportunity to make an impression. Wang Han agrees and tells her to send the details to Dachun. She confirms the wedding is tomorrow at the Taifeng Grand Hotel and tells them not to be late, then gets into her car and drives away. Once she is gone, a nervous Han Dachun asks his friend for a favor. He asks if Wang Han could get him an Audi A6 for the wedding, explaining that he wants to make a good impression on his old classmates. Wang Han tells his friend to think bigger and confidently promises to arrange a true luxury car for him. Overjoyed, Dachun thanks his friend, saying he is the most capable person he knows. With his break over, Wang Han says it's time to head back inside. He bids farewell to the group as Dachun happily calls out that he will wait for him the next day. Later that day, at a modern apartment complex. When Wang Han arrives at his apartment, he finds Jiang Tang waiting, freshly showered and wrapped only in a towel. She stretches and asks why he is home so early, and he retorts by asking why she is always showering when he returns. She teases him flirtatiously, asking if he is upset that she did not wait so they could shower together. Ignoring her advances, a flustered Wang Han tells her to stop the nonsense and asks if he can borrow her car the next day. Continuing her seduction, Jiang Tang lounges on the sofa and makes a provocative offer, telling him he doesn't have to wait until tomorrow and can drive her right now. Growing angry, Wang Han reminds her he is a married man and tells her not to mess around. He throws her clothes at her and orders her to get dressed. Jiang Tang, however, is undeterred. She tells him she sees through his relationship with Su Qi and proposes that he divorce his wife and marry her instead, claiming she can offer him everything Su Qi has. To emphasize her point, she sits up, now wearing only her lingerie, and gives him a confident, seductive smile. She then gets up and embraces a stressed Wang Han, declaring that she is determined to have him and will have a showdown with Su Qi when the time is right. Wang Han forcefully pushes her away, angrily reminding her to stop causing trouble, as his wife, Su Qi, is pregnant. Seemingly defeated, Jiang Tang sits back down and dangles her car keys. She informs him that her car has problems and is in the repair shop, explaining it won't be ready until the next afternoon. Frustrated, Wang Han tells her that won't work, as he needs a car in the morning. With her arms crossed, Jiang Tang gives a short, unhelpful reply. Deciding to handle it himself, Wang Han calls Lin Qingyun, respectfully asking old Lin to arrange a Rolls-Royce Phantom for the next morning. Lin Qingyun agrees without hesitation, as Jiang Tang watches from the background while Wang Han effortlessly solves the problem. Walking through an office hallway carrying a slipper, Wang Han reflects on how his life has become boring now that he is an office worker. His quiet walk is interrupted when he rounds a corner and finds a young boy bullying a crying little girl. The boy cruelly taunts her, saying she doesn't have a father and calling her a bastard. Wang Han is confused, wondering where the children came from and what is happening. Seeing the boy raise his hand to hit the girl, Wang Han immediately intervenes, grabbing the boy's wrist and demanding to know why he is hitting someone. Wang Han warns the boy to stop, but the child struggles defiantly, telling him to let go and then spitting at him. Having lost his patience, Wang Han uses the slipper in his hand to smack the boy's head, causing him to cry out in pain. The commotion attracts the boy's mother, who rushes in, demanding to know who made her son cry. The boy, sitting on the floor, points at Wang Han and tells his mother that he was hit. The woman becomes furious, clenching her fist and yelling at Wang Han, questioning why he would hit her son. With a calm but condescending tone, Wang Han explains her son is poorly raised and he was simply teaching him a lesson, so she doesn't need to thank him. Enraged, the woman retorts, asking who he thinks he is to discipline her son. She then cruelly defends her son, stating the girl really doesn't have a father because he is dead, so her son wasn't wrong. Hearing this, Wang Han looks at her with contempt, remarking now he sees why the boy is so ill-mannered. The commotion draws Lily out, who rushes to her crying daughter, asking if she is all right. Kneeling to comfort the girl, Lily listens as her daughter points at the boy and tearfully explains that he said she had no father and spat on her. The bully's mother, Manager Song, remains unrepentant. With arms crossed, she condescendingly tells Lily her daughter is too spoiled, twisting the story to claim her son was just playing with her. This blatant lie enrages Wang Han. Lily, however, tries to de-escalate the situation by apologizing profusely to Manager Song on her own and Wang Han's behalf. Ignoring Lily, Manager Song glares at Wang Han, demanding to know his department. Wang Han glares back and declares that he is President Su's personal driver. She scoffs at his position, questioning what a mere driver can do, and arrogantly threatens to have him fired that same day. As she storms off, a panicked Lily urges Wang Han to apologize, explaining the woman is the powerful finance manager and they cannot afford to offend her. Wang Han, however, remains completely unfazed. He waves off her concerns, telling her to let the manager complain to President Su, as he's curious to see how his boss will react. Despite his confidence, Lily is left with a look of deep worry, convinced she has gotten him into serious trouble. In Su Qi's office, the situation unfolds. Just as Lily feared, Manager Song is loudly complaining to Su Qi. She viciously attacks Wang Han's character, falsely accusing him of hitting children and being too dangerous to drive. She ends her tirade by recommending Su Qi fire him immediately, just as Wang Han walks into the office. Wang Han calmly tells Manager Song her son was poorly raised, and he was just helping her teach him a lesson, even joking he wouldn't charge for the service. He then casually sits at his wife's desk, crossing his legs confidently. Enraged by his arrogance, Manager Song complains to Su Qi, insisting his behavior is that of a shameless street thug, not a proper employee. However, Su Qi remains composed. She looks at Manager Song and coldly tells her that she understands the situation and the manager can now leave. Taken aback, Manager Song tries to press the issue, but Su Qi cuts her off, snapping her book shut with finality. She repeats that she understands and pointedly asks if there is any other business, making it clear the conversation is over. Defeated, Manager Song says she will leave Su Qi to her work. As she walks out, Su Qi adds one final command, telling her to remember to close the door. Once they are alone, Wang Han's demeanor softens. He walks over to his wife's desk and gently chides her for wearing high heels while pregnant. He then reveals the slipper he was carrying and kneels before her, taking off her shoe to replace it. The unexpected gesture leaves Soo-chi flustered. She blushes, thinking how this man can be so infuriating one moment and so caring the next. Noticing her foot is swollen, he offers to give her a massage. A flustered Soo-chi tries to refuse, but Wang Han gently insists, telling her to hold still as he begins to massage her foot and ankle. As he massages her foot, she is overcome with emotion, never imagining he would do something so tender for her. Their intimate moment is interrupted when Suki's assistant walks in, announcing the arrival of a delegation from France. She stops mid-sentence, immediately blushing and closing her eyes in embarrassment as she stammers an apology for intruding. Wang Han stands up, and Soo-chi, regaining her composure, turns to her assistant and asks what is wrong. Her assistant reports the French delegation has arrived, but the company's French translator is stuck in a traffic jam. A panicked Soo-chi asks if anyone else speaks a foreign language, but the assistant explains all their translators are for English, and the French experts only speak French. Soo-chi then suggests using a translation device, but the assistant explains it wouldn't be accurate enough for the many technical terms. As Soo-chi wonders what to do, Wang Han steps forward and offers to give it a try. A surprised Soo-chi asks if he speaks French. He casually replies that he spent time wandering around France and knows a little of the language. With time running out, the assistant urges a decision. A worried Soo-chi asks Wang Han if he is truly capable, warning him that he cannot mess it up. With a confident smile, he simply replies that he should be able to handle it. With no other choice, Soo-chi agrees and tells him to come with her. In the conference room, Soo-chi professionally shakes hands with the head of the delegation, welcoming Mr. Chatham. Standing beside her, Wang Han smoothly translates her greeting into perfect French. When Mr. Chatham replies in French, Wang Han immediately translates for Soo-chi, telling her the man is very pleased to meet her. Soo-chi looks at her husband with shock and admiration, thinking that he is truly a man of hidden depths. The meeting continues, and the assistant informs the room that Mr. Chatham would like to bring in 2 other experts via video conference. A moment later, 2 men appear on the screen. One of them begins speaking in Japanese, introducing himself. This new development throws Soo-chi into another panic. She turns to her assistant, asking why no one told her Japanese experts would be involved. While she worries, Wang Han once again steps in, calmly translating the man's introduction. He explains to Soo-chi that the man's name is Yamamoto Ichiro. He is the head of their company's East Asia region, and he is happy to share his experience. Completely shocked her husband also speaks Japanese, Soo-chi asks if it's true, while her assistant exclaims how amazing he is. Wang Han simply explains he picked it up from his time wandering abroad. Putting his skills to the test, Soo-chi asks him to translate an introduction of their project for the Japanese expert. Wang Han immediately begins speaking fluent Japanese, addressing Yamamoto Ichiro directly, as she watches him confidently navigate the complex, multilingual meeting. A blushing Soo-chi looks at him with newfound admiration, wondering if this skilled man is really the same food delivery guy she first met. 2 hours later, back in Soo-chi's office, the successful meeting has concluded. Her assistant reports Mr. Chatham's team was very satisfied and has been escorted back to their hotel. Soo-chi acknowledges the report and tells her assistant to arrange the follow-up work. Once they are alone, Soo-chi turns to Wang Han and sincerely thanks him for his invaluable help. He smiles warmly, telling her it was a small matter and there is no need for her to be so formal with him. He then sits across from her, playfully asking what reward she plans to give him. A slightly flustered Soo-chi tells him to be serious, reminding him they are in the office. Changing the subject, Wang Han asks if he can take the next morning off for a classmate's wedding. Surprised by his simple request, Soo-chi asks if that's all he wants. She readily approves his request and he gets up to leave. Just before walking out, he asks what she would like for dinner, but she tells him they can talk about it later as she is still busy. As he leaves, Soo-chi looks at the door with disappointment, thinking what a blockhead he is for not asking for a more personal reward. The next day, outside the Soo Group headquarters, Wang Han meets his friend Han Da-chun, who is dressed in a new suit for the wedding. Da-chun nervously asks for his friend's opinion on his outfit. Wang Han gives him a thumbs up and praises him, joking he looks handsome enough to rival famous actors. Despite the compliment, Da-chun admits he is still very nervous. To boost his confidence, Wang Han hands him an expensive-looking watch to put on. As Da-chun fastens the watch, he asks if it's a real Rolex or a good fake. Wang Han confidently assures him it is genuine and that today he needs to look completely convincing. Still in disbelief, Da-chun jokes that if the watch were real, it would have to be worth millions. Wang Han tells his friend to have some confidence, reminding him that today he is Boss Han and needs to act the part. Da-chun is left completely shocked by his friend's comment. Just then, the luxurious Rolls-Royce Phantom that Wang Han had arranged pulls up. Han Da-chun is stunned into silence, stammering the car's name in awe. Overwhelmed, he exclaims how amazing Wang Han is, even jokingly calling him his godfather. A nervous Da-chun says renting the car for a day would cost half his monthly salary and promises to pay Wang Han back with his next paycheck. Wang Han dismisses his friend's worries, telling him to stop being so pathetic and to get in the car. As they drive towards the wedding, Da-chun's nervousness returns. He admits his legs are shaking and worries their old classmate Ding Jing won't even look at him. Wang Han reassures him, joking that when she sees how successful he appears, she'll probably want to run away with him. Wang Han and Han Da-chun arrive at the Taifeng Grand Hotel in a Rolls-Royce. Exiting the car, Da-chun is shocked to see the wedding photo at the entrance. Their classmate, Ding Jing, is marrying a much older man. Da-chun remarks they look more like a grandfather and granddaughter. Wang Han calmly mentions he heard she was marrying an elder from the Su family's company and wonders who it is. A woman's voice then calls out Da-chun's name, asking why they were so late. The woman is their former classmate, Song Qian. She compliments Da-chun on how sharp he looks, causing him to blush. He nervously asks her not to expose his true circumstances. Song Qian agrees and urges them inside, explaining that many former classmates are already waiting upstairs. The three then enter the hotel. Inside the banquet hall, a man greets an older gentleman as Teacher Fang. The teacher recognizes his former student, Feng Jianjie. He reminisces about their class, mentioning the two students who left the biggest impression were Han Da-chun, whom he calls a fool, and Wang Han, a little rascal. Just then, Wang Han, Da-chun, and Song Qian arrive, surprising both Feng Jianjie and the teacher. Teacher Fang immediately recognizes Song Qian, greeting her warmly. Wang Han respectfully asks Boss Han to take a seat. A flustered Da-chun stammers his thanks as he sits. Feng Jianjie asks Song Qian who the distinguished-looking man is. Song Qian reintroduces him as Han Da-chun, which shocks the teacher, who exclaims his name in disbelief. Da-chun confirms his identity and politely greets Teacher Fang, who asks what he's been up to. Wang Han smoothly explains that Boss Han now runs a media company. Impressed, the teacher notes it must be a profitable business and then turns to Wang Han, asking who he is. Wang Han calmly replies that he is now Boss Han's driver. The teacher recognizes him immediately, exclaiming his name. He and Feng Jianjie express disappointment, remarking that Wang Han hasn't done well for himself to end up as Da-chun's driver. Teacher Feng adds that he had high hopes for Wang Han, and of all people, he has fared the worst. Feng Jianjie chimes in that it's not that they look down on drivers, but they had high expectations for him. The groom clears his throat, trying to smooth things over by saying they are all old classmates, and there's no need to compare professions. Wang Han interrupts, changing the subject to ask if anyone knows why another classmate, Zhuo Jing, hasn't arrived. Feng Jianjie explains she's stuck in traffic but will be there soon, adding that she is now a wealthy man's wife whose husband earns millions a year. The teacher is impressed, remarking that their class produced many impressive people. Feng Jianjie then adds with a pointed look that there are also drivers, but Wang Han simply smiles, unfazed. Just then, a glamorous woman in a pink dress arrives, apologizing for being late. Feng Jianjie greets her as Zhuo Jing, and she greets Teacher Fang. The teacher praises her, saying he always knew she would be successful. Zhuo Jing thanks him and then asks about the fool, Han Da-chun. The teacher corrects her, explaining he is now Boss Han with his own company. This news surprises Zhuo Jing. Zhuo Jing bursts into mocking laughter at the idea of Han Da-chun owning a company. She tells everyone to stop listening to the lies, revealing that Da-chun is simply a security guard at her husband's company. This creates confusion, as Feng Jianjie points out that Wang Han had just claimed Da-chun was a business owner and he was his driver. Zhuo Jing condescendingly tells Da-chun that while everyone knows he had a crush on the bride, there was no need to invent a false identity and get Wang Han to lie for him. Embarrassed and angry, Da-chun pleads with her to stop. However, Zhuo Jing cruelly dismisses him, questioning why a fool like him deserves any respect. Wang Han, who has been silent, finally speaks. He coldly interrupts Zhuo Jing's laughter and asks if she has had enough. His menacing tone offers to find her a private place to laugh to her heart's content, a clear threat that silences her. Angered, Zhuo Jing retorts, questioning who he is to talk to her that way, and begins boasting about her husband. Before the argument escalates, the groom stands and raises his glass, proposing a toast to Teacher Fang in honor of their reunion. Everyone raises their glasses. However, as Da-chun takes a sip, he suddenly starts coughing violently, spitting red wine all over a horrified Zhuo Jing. Furious, Zhuo Jing screams at Da-chun, calling him sick and brainless. A panicked Da-chun tries to apologize, insisting it was an accident. She ignores him, declaring her expensive dress, which she claims cost 38,000, is ruined and demands that he pay for it. Da-chun is left stunned by the outrageous demand. A flustered Han Da-chun tells Zhuo Jing it's just a small wine stain and offers to wash the dress for her. Zhuo Jing is disgusted by the offer and furiously repeats her demand for 38,000. Feng Jianji remarks to the table that the amount is nearly Da-chun's entire annual salary, as he only makes 4,000 a month. Just then, Wang Han coolly intervenes. He states that Boss Han is not bothered by such a small sum, and pulling out his phone, he asks Zhuo Jing for her account number to transfer the payment immediately. This prompts Feng Jianji to mock Wang Han, sarcastically asking how much a driver could earn. Unfazed, Wang Han retorts that by working for Da-chun, he earns Feng Jianji's yearly salary in a single month. A moment later, a notification appears on Zhuo Jing's phone, confirming a transfer of 38,000 wen has been received, leaving her surprised. Even after taking the money, Zhuo Jing remains resentful. She snaps at Wang Han, telling him to drop the act and threatens to have the bride's husband fire Da-chun. Then, from a distance, she waves and calls out to her husband. A stout, bald man approaches the table. Zhuo Jing introduces him as her husband, Jinja, and then her classmates. She vaguely explains there was a small parking issue. Her husband then asks what happened and where she parked their Audi.